Tes mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oke, hello guys, welcome back with me Fedelish, your online friend. So ya, hari ini kita bakal Nobar TI lagi. Dan ya, sekarang TI itu posisinya sisa 6 player ya. 6 player. 6 tim. Berarti top 6 yang dimana besok subuh itu bakal grand final. Besok ya. Berarti Senin pagi. Kalau sekarang tuh masih top 6. Masih di semi-final. So ya. Dan harusnya tuh yang lagi main tuh sekarang kalau nggak salah ya Liquid mungkin. Antara Liquid. Ya kita lihat aja lah langsung ya. Sambil baca live chat. Halo Rene, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Wait. Oke. Oh ya, Liquid bener. Liquid versus kalian. Oh sambil makan ya. Makan apa? Makan bihun guys.
But I don't feel like Liquid operate in the same way where if Mike dies in a really dangerous place, they benefit from it. Because what comes to mind is their series versus Spirit yesterday when he was playing Spectre. It looked like that game was theirs,
Di
to be
ratio
honest, but
carry-nya ya. Kemarin cukup mantep sih dia main carry Whisper
they got a good fight, but then they found a pick on Spectre farming on their side of the map near their twin gate. And I just don't feel like Liquid can get away with carry deaths like that in the same way, because Gaiman have operated throughout the entire year taking advantage of space of carry deaths like that, having their win conditions be assigned to different heroes, whereas in Liquid it is Mike who is the win condition.
Well, we're comparing
oh ya,
untuk stats. This is
untuk Toga besok ada ya.
Comparing the two of them. Anything else stick out for you there, Reza, with those stats?
Pindahin ke besok.
I mean, he's as you can see, like Mira was talking about, he's not playing that crucial role in that team because like he's kind of like a playmaker for them, and the ace is like usually the carry type, or like they have way more even split between all of the cores. Like as for Liquid, it's a bit different. It's yeah.
Yeah, that comparison, not the stats one, but that you're talking about how valuable Mickey's deaths are and sort of how okay Gaming Gladiators are with Duratio deaths. Their hero pools are actually quite
sama-sama
similar. So
pakai CK ya max skillnya ya.
But the way that everything else is formed
Luna
around
ngalahin
these is that key that
ngalahin
you're talking
Aoki,
about.
Cok.
The Chaos Knight
GPM-nya,
is similar
what the hell?
to the Spectre, the Weaver, the Sven. What else kind of comes up there? The
Alchemist is the big one, I would say, because Gaming Gladiators, when they played against Nouns, they really did a good job camouflaging their draft, like which heroes are going to go where, because they didn't have the last pick in that series, and also they wanted
Tapi
to
kalau
secure the
Liquid
late
sama
game. They already
Gaimin,
had
aku pegang
Dazzle, they
Liquid
already
sih.
has this Lone Druid, which Ace is very familiar playing from the offlane, so. And 23rd pick, Alchemist, they wanted to secure the late game. We talked about tempo coming out from the Gaming Gladiators, but they also want to have something prepared if the game goes post 40 minutes, but I mean, we've seen a lot of games post 60 minutes at this TI, so they're no strangers to it.
And those 60-minute games, that's where the scaling supports come in. I mean, as this TI has progressed, we've seen the importance of having supports that carry you into the late game and don't just buy utility items like the Willow and Phoenix.
We'll see if any of those come out as our draft
Let's
for
go,
game one is
Liquid.
going to happen now.
Team Liquid versus Gaming Gladiators. Game 1.
All about
Login dulu gak sih? Halo Nima, welcome to
the
the stream.
fabric fixed on Boxy's headset over there for him, Lacoste. And so now we're going to see this draft. We'll see what is going to be hotly contested between these two teams and what's going to be let through. Ancient Apparition, definitely no real surprise there. They want to build themselves up to pick a tanky hero for themselves on the side of Gaming Gladiators, and Liquid love picking AA for Insania.
Yeah, it's very interesting what teams are gonna be leading through, and like what do they have already prepared, because like you need to understand how to beat that hero during the draft and in the game. Like you need to have a plan, like, you know, Purge showed us like how do you go on the triangle, how you block the camps for Bristleback, for example. I know for a fact that Zai is like if they let Bristleback ever through, Zai would be the guy who's like calling, you know, we need to kill this Bristleback 10 times so he doesn't have a game, so he doesn't have that, you know, tankiness ability to be annoying in the game. So I'm really
Final masih lama ya. Aku cuman minat final biasanya. Besok subuh jam 4. Senin jam 4 pagi. Kemarin Dotka, sekarang Dotka. Halo Sky, welcome to stream. Kan lagi ini, lagi TI tahunan ini Sky. Welcome to stream ya Sky. Oh sambil makan ya guys.
And the CK being the aggressive carry we talked about, like Aoi mentioned, he thinks it's the highest value carry of the patch. Can honestly see why. But when you ban this ancient apparition out, you're basically indicating that you want to open with either
Nah,
berstory
ini yang
or
meta-meta
CK,
banyak
so
di ban nih
Liquid
kali
just
ini.
take it out. It makes
Bara
a
nggak
lot of
dilepas,
sense.
nggak
think
kayak game
Weaver's
kemarin,
gonna be the
Cok.
first
Game
big
kemarin
material
Bara
for this
dilepas dan
team
nggak ada yang
because
ngopi
they
kan.
both
Cukup
enjoy
aneh.
it a lot.
Muerta, Weaver, most definitely, because both of these heroes are flexible enough, and if you're not addressing them as carries, you're putting way too much pressure just by first phasing these two heroes. And also the pairing I really like, something that we've seen yesterday quite a lot, was this Grimstroke plus Weaver, where you can't really kill the Swarm, you can't kill the Phantom, it deals ton of damage. Most of these tanky offlaners are melee ones, so two range heroes against them, you do have enough damage, and there's Muerta straight away.
And we almost exclusively saw Weaver yesterday with Grimstroke, I believe. I don't think I saw him being run without it.
I think
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
usually follow up with the Grimstroke for this Fever.
Maybe once, but something interesting.
Azure had one game without it.
Okay.
That was the first one.
Okay. Something interesting about that is new after LGD beat Azure Ray. He was asked about Weaver by Dove, and he said that he doesn't think that you can just pick Weaver and win the draft. He doesn't feel like CK in that sense. He says that if you're picking Weaver, you have to draft around it. It doesn't just auto-win games.
Look, there we go. We talked about it. The Pugna.
Betul, Weaver agak mesti nyocokin sih. Dia bukan carry yang ngikutin tim. Tim yang ngikutin carry.
What I like to see paired with Pugna usually is, so this Pugna can be flexed to mid, which is something very, very cool. I mean, I know that Thompson loves to do it, he does it all the time, but Pugna just really elevates when he's paired with something like a Centaur. And Centaur plus Pugna is one of the strongest lanes that we've seen this TI, and if you can pressure the safe lane to that extent, it opens up so much of the game for your team.
I think the other offlane duo that can pretty much do the same thing is Muerta plus Centaur. Also, the hero pairing feels really good, and also Dawnbreaker plus Tusk. These are my favorite combinations of the offlaners at this TI because it seems unbeatable. You're playing against those lanes, it seems like you're just gonna straight up lose it.
It also feels
Ya,
like
Cok,
when you
Senta
have
strong
Pugna
banget
on the
anjir.
enemy team, you
Strong
need to
banget.
have some kind
Buat
of jump
offline
to,
strong banget, susah
find
menang.
the fights, because otherwise it's gonna be really tough to fight around it. And the heroes are, I would be looking at it's like Earth Spirit, Puck, maybe Ember Spirit, but Ember Spirit is not really in the meta.
Yeah, even Shaker, Kunga, Pango, all of Quinn's hero pool right now, I think it operates very well versus Pugna.
True.
Dark Willow was the ban though for themselves. A little bit worried about that flex potential as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. The flex potential of Dark Willow as a carry makes it so that she can play against Muerta, right? There is something conceptually here where Muerta ultis and Dark Willow just Shadow Realms, and that's a lower cooldown than Muerta's ulti. So she fares very well against Muerta as a carry, but it's also just her ability as a support to do so much damage and enable lanes that you're afraid of too.
The bans are so thorough. Like every single ban of it, like
Yeah,
it just makes so much sense the way I'm looking at it. Like people are just so like they know each other so well that they know like for sure what they're gonna like expect and
Okay,
and
so,
have.
so you're thinking that even off the back of the brew one, the brew ban.
I think so. Yeah.
Why is
like,
that?
The Brewmaster is like it's one of
Brew
those
ngeri
heroes
ya.
that disrupt the fight and like can go on the back line and like find this Pugna and or like find the Muerta, and it's just like a very strong laner as well in this current meta.
And they banned Chen. We talked about this hero being super popular in the last couple of series that Gaming Gladiators did play, which leaves Enchantress in the pool.
Chen tuh nggak
Also,
pernah
you
mati,
have a
Cok, tiap TI,
spell
Cok.
mechanic against the Cripify, so you can focus down those heroes. Muerta doesn't have a problem with that, but other heroes might seem to have throughout the game, and also removing one of the saves from this Pugna could be crucial, so definitely looking for Enchantress inside of Gaming Gladiators.
Also, the Night Stalker is a very
Selalu
good
ada
pickup
Chen
for both
drive
teams as well.
di
I think,
TI.
nggak
Nggak pernah nggak.
showing it way more nowadays because it's one of those
Apalagi
heroes
kalau
that, like,
udah ada
throw
yang namanya
the
tim
whole-
secret
the
ya,
whole fight
ada
and
Papi
get
ya.
killed on top of
Itu udah
supports
pasti
very
Chen
easily.
Gaming ya.
I do like the small rise of Night Stalker that we had yesterday as well. Here we didn't really touch too much on, but he is there. He got picked up in two
Micro
games.
control
I think
dia
Spirit
jago
played it
banget
and,
anjir.
LGD played it.
Yes, they're the two that are.
Yeah, he's really good against all of these heroes that are very
Kalau nggak-
aggressive.
kalau
These,
nggak
Pugnas,
Chen,
Beavers,
Enchan,
Dark Willows,
si Poppy itu
Muertas,
udah
so
pasti
he can
anjir.
get on top of them. And we also, something that Effie mentioned is these supports, they're not buying into support items anymore. They want to be scaling because the games are longer, so you're not going to see those 4 staffs and then Night
Liquid atau
Stalkers
Gaming
shine
po yang
those
bakal lolos.
fights. Pugna, on the other side, he is that type of a hero that doesn't scale as much with
Aku
the
pilih
items,
Liquid,
but
Foreski. By the way, welcome to the stream ya,
those defensive
Foreski ya.
items, those Glimmer Caves, those 4 staffs, so you
Liquid
at
sejauh
least
ini
have
banyak
something
kalah
covered.
sih ya lawan Gaimin.
They really thought
but
about the
Liquid
second pick. I mean, maybe they were debating between the
lebih
Centaur
strong
and
sih.
this Weaver. They didn't want to give either away potentially, but they just placed the higher priority on the Weaver. But
Di TI ini ya.
and if I'm going by what I saw from Azure Ray yesterday and what Niu said, you have to draft around this Weaver. I feel like if you can take away one of its combos, if you can take away the Grim, or you can take away any kind of, you know, tanky frontliner that supports it, like a Centaur, or potentially even an Earth Spirit, then Weaver is
Di
playing
major,
from a
iya di
disadvantage.
major lagi
I like
kurang.
the center for gaming now because it lanes very well against Fever. As soon as you get to Vanguard, it's you kind of
Tapi
like
di TI
become
tahun lalu,
untouchable in that lane.
Liquid lebih
You have to take it away
strong kan
too,
di
right?
sampai final.
Yeah.
But they're
I like
also
their
thinking
position.
about
Liquid
it
tuh
'cause they
di-
probably had
di-
another idea of this
Di TI
map.
selalu
It's
strong.
either Tidehunter or Centaur, right, on that spot.
One of the reasons why I love Centaur so much is because you can protect your Muerta with the Stampede, and you can also run away from Weaver relatively easy, and also Stampede really good against Muerta. You run away,
Kemarin nggak sampai final ya?
disengage, come back into a fight when her ulti is off. So
Kemarin yang final
good call
Secret
there.
ya.
If they take
Secret
the Grim here,
Tundra.
I mean, so Liquid were debating the Centaur for themselves, right? But if they can take the Centaur and the Grim
Pokoknya
away
Liquid
from
cukup
this
strong lah di TI.
Weaver and this Pugna, it just feels
Sering
like the
top-
Weaver pick
top
would
six.
be incorrect here.
Kalau
I
C
think
halo
Ace
Senpapi,
is,
welcome to the stream.
more suitable for them, right? Like it's more of a celery hero and it's left in the pool, and it gives them these auras and like still like push potential for these two heroes to shine.
Yeah, I feel like if you pick the Grim, it's almost showing that the Murata probably will be pos 1 and that you're going to have a different pos 1. It's going to be that Grim because you're right. Celery likes Enchantresses, loves Phoenixes as well for himself.
Phoenix after Weaver?
Phoenix is pretty cool overall, like in this current meta, but Liquid lineup doesn't really have that that beefy course. So there's not a lot of purpose for Phoenix yet. Maybe it's gonna happen, you know, within next picks. But for this time, like Weaver is like one of the best heroes to actually kill the egg as well.
I agree entirely. I think a BKB
Makanya,
Weaver
aneh juga.
just runs at the Phoenix egg and he keeps Geminate attacking. He double attacks the egg. He has the move speed to make it. So if he eggs on a certain part of the fight, he tastes his way towards it.
Well, they want to speed things up on their side. A little bit of extra tower damage coming out. We saw Mickey that his Luna is very fearsome in that graphic. And
Cukup
this
aneh.
also means
Dia
that
pick Phoenix after
position
Weaver.
for Weaver is coming out, so they need something in front. Like these are all relatively squishy heroes.
Gampang
If you
pecah
get
loh
on top
telurnya.
of them, these heroes are gonna die.
I do think flexing the Weaver to 4 was a good idea here because they didn't get the heroes that would have enabled it in the draft to play an explosive kind of game, right? And Luna is a traditional carry that counters the Centaurs and the Tidehunters and the Timber Saws of the offlane. She has really high damage, she out-CSs them, and she provides consistent damage output throughout the game where their
Betul.
HP isn't that much of an issue.
Betul ya,
They
betul.
needed some like low cooldown catch
Kunkka.
against the Centaur
Nice.
because X marks the spot really works well against the Stampede, so that's a good one. I was thinking about, you know, maybe some offlaners like Mars that could pop into the meta.
Mars.
These
Mars udah
heroes
lama
are
nggak
great
lihat ya.
against teams like Team Spirit, but yeah, looking at two heroes from the offlane for Team Liquid, unless they want, I mean, it's
Kunkka.
still a flex pick for them, this Kunkka. They can put it on the offlane, but I'm mostly looking at some of the beefier offlaners like Tidehunter and maybe even
Meh,
Dawnbreaker, just that you
Tidehunter
have that
enggak.
extra heal, and it's a strong lane when paired up with Weaver.
Also, the cool thing about this Kunkka is
Necro.
that he counters the traditional
Necro mid.
Quinn jump heroes that would have made
Necro
Pugna's
mid.
life difficult. So instead,
Sepertinya
they
akan
went for
seru.
the Necrophos.
Supportnya
And
ofensif
having
penuh.
Ryzen
Iya
as
bener.
Kunkka might be
Benar-benar
enough
support
to just
ofensif.
enable this Necro pick to come out in the second phase.
Dan kalau kamu sadari supportnya nggak
This is a
nge-stun.
big one. Necro has been banned
Supportnya
also
dua-duanya nggak
because the way
nge-stun.
they started the group stage
Liquid
was,
belum punya
I
stunner.
believe they were playing against 9 Pandas,
Kamu nggak bisa
or
sebut
Pro,
skill
and
hati
they
Luna stun.
played Necro 2 times in a
Buat
row. This
maksudnya
is
buat
like,
stunner
he's
gitu.
really good
Enggak,
at the
nggak bisa
hero.
dihitung. Masih kurang
You can
stun
still
di
technically
Liquid.
flex this Kunkka to the offlane, but you don't have to
Minimal
reveal your
satunya
cards
lagi
until
nih
Liquid
stun
until
sih.
the very end.
Minimal
When a
but
Kunkka
minimal
got
ini.
flexed to the offlane yesterday versus Bad Boom, they just had their Monkey King follow it around and they countered it. But Liquid are in a position where they don't have to reveal their hand. If they don't want Kunkka to tank this matchup versus Necro, they can throw him on the
Harusnya
offlane,
sih.
but
Iya. Padahal kamu tuh stream ya kom ya?
I think that's that's pretty much mandatory right now, because you want to have some magical damage coming up from the mid lane. Lina has been banned out. I think the other one could be Invoker because of the dispel mechanic. You can caught people off guard during, one of the better heroes overall against Murder.
Ini pasti dia mau carry-carry yang
is this long duration tornado coming out from Invoker where you can
apa namanya?
Yeah,
Yang
sure,
butuh
Invoker's
farm
gonna be
lama
back
hard
here.
carry
I
gitu.
wonder if we're gonna see some unique heroes like Arcborn or Tinker gonna be picked up
Tapi-
like for Nisha
Tapi
this time because it's like
musuh
you could
main
use Necro
Alchemist
Plus.
juga
But
jadi
I'm not
sih si
sure if
Gaimin.
they're, thinking about it or looking
Gaimin
forward.
main Alchemist oke
They
sih.
already have a solid lineup though, so they can pick whatever
Menurutku
they
ya,
want for Nisha.
dia taruh
That
Alchemist
is,
lumayan sih.
Have a good lane against Necro.
I want to circle back around while we're waiting for this last band to talk more about this pose for Weaver. 'Cause you talked to Effie.
Soalnya dia nggak mau lawan late
You need a really
game
good combo, you
si
need a good pairing
Kunkas
for it,
campur
and that's how to
Luna
make
sih.
it work as a pose 1. But now as a pose 4, what is his impact without one of those combos as well?
That's a great question. So I think what Weaver provides to lineups that have Luna are very early rush, right? Because Luna tends to group up with her team.
Oh, early
and
rush.
Weaver provides
Boleh
that
juga ya.
damage reduction with the Swarm. He's also
Iya,
a vision
Swarm.
hero. So when
Swarm
he
itu kasih
encounters
armor
those exact
armor
two
reduction,
background
Cok.
heroes,
Nih. Weaver. Dia punya Swarm itu kasih minus armor. Nah, itu selama dia di Roshan itu bisa gigit banyak, Cok. Minus armornya gede.
in terms of any kind of disable or any kind of save unless you buy the Aghanim Scepter, which is an out of meta item for Weaver, to be honest. But he does a lot in terms of damage amplification and vision.
Gila, waktunya Gaimin udah mau habis, Cok. Di pick
Necro is
apa nih?
left in the pool, so probably Nisha is gonna choose that one
4,
because he
3,
loves the hero.
2.
Every time he has an opportunity.
Bloodseeker.
And that's the hero I was looking for. Oh my god.
Hero
but
early juga
I
nih BS
usually-
nih.
I usually
Di awal-awal
suggest it
udah
against
bisa
Weaver
fight
as a core, but
cecas-cecas.
against Luna it's not as hot, but it's still like it pleases me to see that Durachi is thinking about these aggressive cores and like thinking of
Suaranya kenapa
outside
nih?
of the
Kok ada
box because
ser-ser?
people usually not looking for it.
They ran a healing strat yesterday when they played, and look at the amount of healing that they have. This Necro, Phoenix Sunray, Bloodseeker as well.
Iya.
This is gonna be like, I'm seeing problems for Team Liquid. Their damage output, it's not there. This is position 5 Pugna we're talking about. They might shift Pugna to a mid lane now that there is, Necro in the pool. That Necro has been picked, but yeah. I feel like Gaming Gladiators, that they got whatever they wanted in this one. This is the type of a draft that they expected to come up with, and they got the good heroes.
And a cool
Bisa
aspect of
jadi.
this
Pugna-nya
Bloodseeker
bisa dijadiin mid di
that,
sini.
we didn't touch up on
Nggak
is
jadi
that
Pugna
it's a
support.
hero that can control this Pugna, right? Now,
Sekarang
you mentioned
pilih
earlier that
pos
this hero's
5, Weavernya
stocks
ambil
have
4.
risen up, and how you control Pugna is
Oh,
with
never
that
mind.
backline jump.
Invoker.
A Bloodseeker can rupture him and silence him and just get on top of him because the rest of Gaimin's heroes don't really do that right now. And there's the Invoker that you talked about, Reza.
Yeah, there's an Walker, and I mean this.
Emang
this
MPL
one,
belum
I think,
selesai,
like,
belum
it's
dong
gonna be
sama
able
Aldo
to
besok
push the
finalnya.
Liquids because like there's no really mechanics to like.
Welcome to
get
stream,
all the
ya, Aldo
towers
ya?
easily, so Liquid is gonna be the one team that's pushing Gaming Gladiators this time.
Okay. With seeing all the lineups now, before we saw that last pick, Lacoste, you thought Gaming Gladiators had the better lineup, but who has
Ah,
Exodia
mumpung
out of the
lagi
two teams
nunggu
now?
ininya. Masukin game aku isi air dulu ya,
Because,
biar seru.
they got, all
Kalian
the
taruh
boxes
piring ini
covered
apa?
pretty
Piring
much.
yang
They
habis
have
kumakan.
carry that comes online super fast, and looking forward to see what they're going to do with the Bloodseeker.
Alrighty, we've talked about this draft. We're going to hear some words, though, from the coach of Liquid. It's Blitz and Slacks.
Thank you so much. Yes, my friends, I am here with Blitz Dota. The crowd obviously loving you guys and hoping for your best. How do you feel about that draft so far, boss?
I feel pretty good. I think we got some stuff we wanted. They got some stuff they wanted. Hopefully we don't lose in like 20 minutes.
I hope so as well. Now, Gaming Gladiators, one of the most aggressive teams left in the tournament. They really value those laning stages. Now, what did you guys prioritize in your draft to kind of strip that power away from them?
I think we tried to make sure that we had a lot of flex in our draft, so that's why like Zai's playing our Kunkka and stuff like that, and that's ultimately what brings it all back together.
Absolutely. Luna, not the most successful hero at the tournament so far. Haters gonna hate, but was your team able to pick such a dynamic hero, kind of shake off yesterday's losses?
Yeah.
Okay,
I noticed you're making a lot of Taylor Swift references.
I'm not.
No, I think I honestly forgot the question because I was really just trying to catch those.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
Fantastic.
We'll go over to game one.
Game one.
Masters.
For the final time this season, we're going to have Team Liquid
Team
versus
Liquid.
Gaming Gladiators. It has happened 12 different times this season. This is going to be lucky number 13, I suppose. And it's the first time that these two teams have faced up against each other in elimination
Team
match that
Liquid.
is not the finals.
New territory?
New
Is that what you're
territory.
saying? I mean, personally, I've never seen this match.
Oh, dari
before,
draft
like
ya?
you were saying, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is a crowd
Buat
favorite for
5v5.
sure, as we get our hands back on a major final matchup that has been repeated
Somehow,
so many times. But like you
Gaimin
said,
lebih
never
enak kayaknya.
elimination in a tournament that matters as much as this one right here. It's really going to be for everything. No other matchup between these teams really matters.
Mereka mau pecah, mau fokus telur itu juga cuman support. Tapi pas mau fokus telur, Senta bisa blink, nge-stun, langsung diacak-acak sama Muerta, Necro, dan lain-lain. It's kinda hard, but let's see.
They matched in every single major finals this year, and they matched up against each other in Riyadh, though that was an upper bracket match where Team Liquid.
Tapi kalau aku secara aku ya, lebih suka drafted game.
They finally got there, but can they continue that with elimination on the line, shaking off a loss against Team Spirit especially? I mean, that had to be a bit of a rough one, because not only did Team Spirit in some ways I think prove that they're still the better team,
laning
Team
mid
Liquid,
phase-nya
but they
akan
also managed to do it in
invoker
like
sih harusnya.
comeback fashion. Liquid probably feels like they
Necro
could've
bakal
won that
kesusahan
series, you know?
lawan invoker.
I mean, almost any other team has in recent history, right? I think Spirit are being humble, and they're saying they haven't only played eliminated teams, but damn, they look scary. So if you can compete with them, you're competing with the top 3 at the tournament, and that bodes well for your potential.
Uset Boxy udah setengah ya darahnya.
Both these teams are
Baru juga mulai bang.
Still surprising me, but here we are. Upper bracket for bitches indeed, as they're going to try and prove everybody wrong and seal the deal. I like this draft. I think this draft is very interesting. I think both teams got a lot of what they wanted, as Blitz was mentioning. I think Gaming, they got their Necro counter pick, but they don't get it last year, which means Nisha has an opportunity to respond. I think they have
Punten, halo Airi, welcome to the stream.
Vessel from Invoker, and a lot of physical burst damage coming in later off the bug, and the Luna aura going through in the nighttime. Gotta remember that. You're contesting 6 and 8 and 10-minute power runes against Gaming. You have to bring everybody those runes. You have to be able to fight them. Luna helps you do that with a pretty damn good amount compared to almost any other carry. I expect a lot of clash around the mid lane here, and I expect that have it happen fast,
Necro.
swift, and
Here
strong.
comes Bounty runes out the field. Immediately, Liquid are going to try
Oh,
and battle Gaming
Pugna.
Gladiators, but it's going to be Insania who's looking close
Oh,
to dying
Tofu.
first. Tofu,
Oh,
he barely managed
no.
to live long enough. Holds on so Quinn can claim that coveted first blood. And even Boxy, who does have the Shikushi, yes, but they have the Bloodseeker. They see him, but they can't hit him, at least not yet.
He's just going to have to suicide, though, I think. I don't know if you can play the lane with this little regen. The upside for Liquid, you give Quinn first blood here, but you did drain a lot of mana off him. And
Mati udah Boxy.
Okay, managed to dodge the dead shot, but again, still the vision from the Bloodseeker allows
Damn,
them to claim
Tofu
the
dapat
second kill
2
of the game.
kill,
So
bro.
not only did they get a 2-for-1 there, but they also managed to get the first blood, and they also walked away with even bounty runes. So big win for Gaming Gladiators right out the gate.
Yes, of course.
nice way to start the lane, especially when you have Bloodseeker. Any of these types of trades, you set the equilibrium up in a way where people are already missing regen or they come to lane half HP.
Oh, pos 5
Duraggio is gonna be
Phoenix ya,
very
bukan
happy
pos
about
4
that.
ya.
And this is a lane where he can just dominate, I think. Kunkka's not going to pose too much of a threat on him. I mean, you're building up some attrition
Oh,
with,
biasa lihat
you know,
support
Sidewinner
Phoenix tuh
going
buat
through,
pos
but
4 ya.
Bloodseeker's just going to heal through all of it. So I kind of expect Gaming's laning phase to be incredibly strong here. And I think it's going to become a question of where can Liquid make the moves with their supports, gain some momentum
Ya kan,
back, and hopefully
Necro-nya
get Nisha activated.
tersiksa,
'Cause I think
Cok.
if this Invoker has a really good first 15 minutes, he can take a lot of this early game over. I mean, the mana burn is going to be a problem for Quinn. The Tornado is going to be a problem for the Ghost Shroud. And a fast Vessel in this game to negate a lot of the healing could just win you some of these team fights.
Pokoknya
With the back of,
Necro
like,
bakal
Ghost
nangis
Ship,
dah lawan
Thornstorm
Invoker.
in the mid game, especially with Luna Aura coming through on all of it. It's a very strong 5-man group up from Liquid if they can get it going.
Yeah, Nisha starts off really strong. Gets 4 denies already and a lot of damage onto the Necro. If he can keep that kind of pace, then he'll prevent the Necro from being able to
Nisha ya,
get that
babang
regen.
kidal ya.
But it does become harder over time. They're going to jump on his eye here, hitting their level 2, while the Kunkka is still shy of that. Zai will manage to walk it up. They actually get pretty low here. Boxy's going to take advantage of this. He should easily be able to
dapat
pick up
kill.
at least 1 kill. Celery pops a Fairy Fire. Zai's coming in as well. Can he hit the swing required? He turns back to Duraggio instead. A torrent to the side and catches him. Boxy will now be able to finish him up. Unless Duraggio can somehow keep himself alive from getting last hits, but no. Run down by the
gile.
Shikuchi. Meanwhile, on the other
Nice.
side of things, Tofu picks up yet another kill, but Insania's already
Oh,
back
mati
into
tuh
it, shows
Tofu.
up with the blood grenade. They'll have their revenge perhaps, but
No,
Mickey
no,
off
Luna.
life as he's gonna try and limp away.
Nice.
Ace, dive in the
Jatuh.
tower.
Oh, mati tuh.
But now he gets a little bit of a stun underneath the
Ace
tower.
mati.
What a turnaround. Liquid will make
GG.
a double of that when it looked like for sure it was gonna be a
Boleh,
trade-off
boleh,
one
boleh,
for
boleh.
one.
These are just brawls
Ini
in the
baru
lane,
nih.
man. And
Benar-benar
already we're seeing this
pertumpahan
orange
darah,
work
Cok.
bottom. Pugno with such high move speed, such good attack
Di sini
animation,
dari
just
tadi
kiting
kelas
around.
terus,
This is
Cok.
the type of laning setup you want versus gaming.
Nggak ada kasih
Not
nafas,
giving a
Cok.
head start,
Ini
but
baru
run
nih
away
TI
with
top
what we saw
6 anjir.
yesterday. However, Quinn
Dari
pushing
kemarin
in
terlalu
mid. This is an oppressive
terlalu
laning
itu,
here
Cok.
right here, and we're showing exactly how much you can do with it. Quinn is not afraid to play this hero
Ih, tapi
blind.
Queen-nya
That is a
ngedrive
scary
gini
thought.
ya.
Yeah,
Pokernya nggak dapet XP, Cok.
This is insane pressure right here.
Bro.
He has fully recovered this setup now where he was
Anjir,
low on
malah
CS
Necro
and
yang
low
bikin
on
Fokernya
regen.
nangis ya.
Managed to get a bunch of last hits all in a row, and now he is commanding this lane and will probably continue to do so.
He's gonna have to even TP back. He just got stuck. Remember, this is all thirst for Dyrachyo, which should be winning you this lane as
Boleh
well. So the more
juga
Quinn
sih
wins
ini.
mid, the happier his carry is also gonna be.
Malah
That's why
menang
that kill was
Necro ya.
pretty valuable up top. Really good for Boxy's early
Terusnya
game here.
Necro nangis ya.
I mean, this is an interesting Weaver setup because they didn't want to play a core into
Bisa
the
kan?
counters the gaming had, particularly the Bloodseeker, even the Centaur can be a
On
little bit annoying.
Cooper.
But you put it on support, I like the idea that you have the Luna Aura to back him up in the mid game, right? A lot of bonus damage on a hero that at some point is putting out 2-3 attacks on everybody with Shard, Sakuchi through. Sounds pretty damn good to me.
That'll help him threaten those backline supports. I assume that's what we're looking at for this support Weaver, right? Get to this Phoenix or this Muerta and just try and force them to use their ultimates to defend themselves.
Just cause chaos. If you can ever kill an egg too, yeah, be really happy about that team fight. Still gaming this laning phase. It's 3 lanes going pretty damn well for them. It's been hard to stop this tournament, and that has been one of the biggest problems a lot of teams have faced. Trying to deal with the early pressure. We'll continue to get stronger and stronger here, especially as they get the first set of items.
Oke.
And
I'm
once
thinking
nighttime
about-
falls, right?
Yes,
That's
that
also a
nighttime.
very big point. We have 2 levels of the Lunar Blessing already, so
It's when
you get
Liquid
that.
can strike back.
Oh, udah level 2 Lunar Blessing ya.
And that's what I'm saying, these
Lebih sakit ya deh.
I'd like to see the Pugna and the Weaver combine a bit on the map. Get some like ganks going.
Lunar
especially
Blessing
at
bukan
nighttime,
buat dia doang
enable
ya,
some of the cores.
ngaruh ke tim
Either
juga.
Mickey or
Jadi
Keisha, I
satu
think, is what
hitnya
you're going
nambah
for. I think Zai, he's gonna have
damage-nya
a,
maksimal.
maybe slow game, but he's a cook that doesn't really matter too much.
Bisa
But
plus
you get these
20 ya,
ganks
berarti
going, you're really gonna
bareng
be able
teman
to
hit kan dari plus
bring some of
40 ya.
the CS
Yang macam
advantage
gede
back.
jadi.
Yeah. And Zai was well known for tanking a lot of terrible laning phases back when he was on Secret, right? Like a lot of times they would just leave him out in some pretty rough ones.
Kena slow pun kayak gregetan lihat slow kayak gitu.
Very similar type of hero.
I mean, yeah, it's a Yapsor effect.
No, range scriptnya.
And with that mobility,
Raindrop
I
ya
love
dia.
the fact
Sakit
that,
sih pistolnya si Muerta. Kemarin aku laning lawan Muerta juga kaget anjir, sakit amat tuh pistol.
So maybe he can link up with Insania like you were talking about.
I mean, that's one of the strengths of
Kalian buat
Weaver,
mana
is the
regen
rotation
juga kan
capability.
enak. Gue suka
Like, every
info
one of these
raindrop tuh
points,
mana regennya
just
sih.
at level 1 is powerful in a go-on situation.
Jadi nggak rugi-rugi banget buat beli raindrop. Diserang habis gitu. Ngasih mana juga deh soalnya. Oh, Phoenix ke bawah nih. Phoenix ke bawah, guys. Apakah akan digeng? Oh, PS-nya mati, Cok. Never mind. Berhasil selamat. Oh, Luna. Oh. Oh no, Luna mati.
Boxy's gonna try and trade out on Celery, but Ace is trying to protect his support, staying close by until the dive is ready to go.
Nah.
Celery gets out.
Nggak terjadi trade.
Kind of a trade. Like, would you rather in that situation be straight up dying as the carry and then TP back to lane instantly, or do you feel like Dyrachyo is not too happy about TPing out of the lane and missing so much CS?
I mean, I think Dyrachyo's happy with that. He's not giving a lot of XP to Zai. It's the better of the outcome, especially when the Phoenix made the first move.
These are going to be in some trouble. He's hit with the silence, and that's enough. Lock him down with the Reaper Sight underneath those ghosts. And while Zai is being run down by Dyrachyo as he made his way back to lane pretty quickly, thanks in part to those phase boots.
This mid lane, it's just been all Quinn. I'm surprised with how well he's done in this matchup. I mean, this is a matchup where Invoker generally has done okay, or at least okay enough that he can get into the point in the mid game where skills are really good versus Necro.
Makanya, Cok.
This is a wide lead to open up, and of course,
Ini malah menang lane banget, anjir.
Get the gang going, translate that pressure into experience for their
Si
supports.
Necro-nya. Boleh juga si Quinn.
Hitting full stride here, 3 points in the aura. So this is when Boxy's pretty strong on the map. Even Insania getting these extra right clicks in it does hurt when you have low armor heroes.
Got him with the bugs, pulled him back in, but missed the torrent timing
Iya,
there
torrentnya
on the
miss.
side.
Kalau torrentnya dapet kayaknya
Once
mati
again,
deh di
Doracio
ratio
takes some
tadi.
damage, but he will be able to heal up a decent amount with CS directly under the tower.
You're gonna rotate your supports off the safe lane. Again, it's like you rotate 3 to kill Duracho, and if you're not, you gotta create the pressure somewhere else. Seems like you're giving Celery a lot of room on the map right now as he's just lingering bottom. He's just waiting to see if Mickey shows here again.
Quid knows
They'll
there's
bounce.
a ward up there, but missed it barely off that sentry placement.
Now Duracho is starting to feel the pressure. So this is where the trade-off comes through, right? You're gonna sit on the bottom lane with your supports. In theory, Duracho is not gonna get as much. How long does Mickey want to sit down here? Do you want to bait the dive with another box rotation? Nisha can also counter-gank these plays. It's the strength of Quaswelx at this point in the game. Liquid should be happy to take these defensive-oriented fights.
Yeah, they are diving in so damn deep.
Oh,
In fact, they're still back there. Ace just feeling like
udah
they should
Vanguard,
stay
my
guard.
friend.
17
Susah
magic
juga
wand
ada
charges
Vanguard.
he's built up.
He's just
Udah
chilling.
tank.
Smart not to
Vanguard
force it
plus
there.
ring of
Liquid
protection
are
ya.
pretty damn ready. You do not want to give Nisha some big turnaround kill in this game, right? Because that's going to give him the earn charges. Then suddenly
Oh.
he can go into the Midas or the Vessel, whichever one he opts for. Ghost
Ya,
ship used.
udah ghost ship nggak mati.
Duracho's still just walking off the pain. He's been left to the wolves.
Sangat
Tough
disayangkan, Cok.
trade-off. I mean, the big question here is, can you accelerate your Luna across the Bloodseeker?
Pokernya lagi
Get
OTW
ancient stacks up.
Vessel,
That's another route you can go here. If you're Liquid, just play a defensive game, get massive stacks up.
sedangkan
Put
Necronya
Mickey in a
OTW
position where he's the number
travel,
one
iya travel
leading
benar.
network in the game.
Biar
We
bisa
saw him
acak-acak
carry
lane
some
lainnya.
crazy games with Luna this tournament. Definitely not out of the question. It's a hero that can stand your ground with Butterfly Satanic timing, plus that shard in the late game. You could put Gaming in a position where suddenly they're the ones lacking the damage. Here comes
Mungkin
Celery.
kejar Atos habis ini.
Ghostwalk goes out, but they do have detection already laid down from the sentry. He's going to try and duck
Yah,
away into the trees.
yah,
Dodge the
pistolnya
deck shot, cuts down a
miss.
tree to be able to cut a path away to freedom. They're gonna have to
Pistolnya
pop the
miss.
CP to make sure they do
Kalau
not
pistolnya
get
nggak
caught
miss,
here on their way
lumayan
out.
tuh, dapat lagi.
Another kind of poke attempt, another
Sangat
attempt.
disayangkan,
Proc
Cok.
instantly responds.
Banyak yang disayangkan
So
dia dari
ready to
tadi.
take into these fights. I think he almost wishes they would dive. Like, please give me the cleanup opportunity with how hard I'm hitting right now.
Nah ini udah unkillable sih buat
And this clock will hit 10.
Sentanya.
So now Gaming,
Mungkin
they wanna
butuh
quote-unquote
Fokker
go for the Necro
buat
and
kill,
Centaur. I mean, the opportunity is going to be there.
karena ada earn juga kan.
But Liquid, they're just holding the wall, holding it steady, farming it up. The question is Nisha going to go for this full vessel? Is he just going to go for a Midas and try and scale? Like, how does he feel the pace this game is going?
Oh,
Dive
Kunkka
makes
ikut
the first
datang.
move with a boat.
Berempat
Should be enough
malah.
damage here.
A lot of heroes,
Bro.
but Ace also has a lot of HP, and Gaming Gladiators are coming
Anjir,
in force.
tanky
Beautiful
banget,
hits
Cok.
on two. Zai still chasing, but the rest
Ah,
of his
nah,
team is
Kunkka
backed away.
die.
Now that he's been hit with the rupture. Caught in place.
Dipacul,
and
Kunkka
Quinn, he sees his
dipacul.
opportunity to get at least one kill out of this one. Immediate Reaper sight put onto the Kunkka to get that stack, and they'll call it there. Good enough for them. One kill for no trade-off.
Okay, I thought they had way more damage, but there's no like early swarm hit on
Gila.
the Centaur, and he just walks it off. 1600 HP in the early game, way too much. Without the extra spell damage from Invoker willing to make that rotation. I mean, you're not going to
Iya, makanya butuh Invoker yang tadi aku bilang. Karena dia juga punya earn kan, kalian cari charge.
during all this mess that was happening bottom. So even if these towers go out, you're trading the map. It will open up some space for Mickey later off, you know, triangle rotation into that top lane. They have some room to play with here as game continues to get slowed down, which if you're Liquid, you're probably happy with. You know, if Gaming don't beat you in 20 minutes, then all of a sudden,
Oke, ada suara stuck, nggak tahu stuck dari mana. Oh, dari ini triangle-nya hijau.
that's where they've struggled.
Considering the pace they took yesterday, when you're talking about the Spirit Vessel versus Hand of Midas, I immediately was like, please go hand Spirit Vessel. Don't go Hand of Midas, because we saw the way that got punished with Nouns.
Right. It's just about how you feel this game's gonna go. And it's an instinct. Pure instinct read. Quinn will go for the bots first on the Necro, so we've seen him do this. I want to say almost every game here. I think it's just a map mobility thing. Keep the farm up, be able to join these plays, continue to get the Reaper.
Apakah Phoenix-nya akan mati?
Does make him a bit
EMP
susceptible.
burns out Celery, but Phoenix operates without mana.
And the siege will begin. The Pugna siege.
Yeah, they already got that top tower earlier. We didn't really mention it.
Sulit sih, sulit
Now
sih.
that bottom tower is going to die for Game of Gladiators. They're evening things out.
Gak ada perlawanan, Cok.
Mid tower is
Lunanya
under
mau nggak
assault.
mau farming ke jungle kan.
It cost him some time on Duracho, who he suffered in that no, of course, because he got kicked off that top lane. You went for the trade, and this is where Mickey is going to start to pull ahead of him.
Tapi carry Lunanya lebih kaya, Cok, daripada BS.
Try and disrupt.
Jauh
farming pattern
worldnya.
here? That's a big question.
What is your timing that is it like Blink Dagger on the Centaur? Ace is pretty close to it.
Karena junglingnya juga lebih cepetan ini sih ya, Luna.
What's your damage fall?
Udah MOM soalnya, kedengeran tuh tadi.
Supports in that smoke, it's probably going to be a bit obvious. It's hard to bring the Necro in there. And the thing is, the Necro also wants damage to come out first. So if you get some early sustain or healing on Liquid, they have the Pugna for that reason. I can see the burst not necessarily being that easy in this type of environment.
Sure.
Boxinya juga jadi dapat free farm
Especially
di
given the
bawah sih.
mobility of some of the Liquid heroes. They just like stomp and then straight up egg, then you might be able to just run away from all that. Reset.
That's why the calling is going to be a very vital spell for all these gangs.
Rupture and Reaper Sight is a deadly combo for anybody caught out like Zai is. He's going to use the boat almost immediately. See if he can get enough heals. There is going to be that boat buff to be able to help him out. They're going to pop the Supernova. They go for the Reaper Sight kill onto the Pugna instead. Zai for last.
Zai.
Have to dive him underneath the tower. Tarachu's pretty sped up here. Mickey's trying to help him out.
Die, Zai. Damn. Pistolnya miss mulu Tofu.
And now Nisha starts putting some damage back onto Gaming Gladiators with Boxy coming in from behind.
Pistolnya miss mulu anjir.
But they're fighting into the Necrophos. It's going to be pretty tough with all that sustain. So they opt not to try and break Gaming Gladiators there. Losing 2 heroes.
Caught a little too deep, but there's just no damage turnaround at this point in the game, right? You're still missing the vessel. You don't even have the charges. And Mickey, he's gone for the farming Luna build here, which you can't blame him for. I mean, this is standard, but no Eclipse that's coming out in some crazy turnaround. So right now, it's Gaming's opportunity to make.
I love this for Gaming Gladiators. Keep the pace up. You caught him out with 2 heroes dead. They probably keep it out the lane, and Nisha is going to be caught alone with no response, and they will quickly take that tower as a result of that pickoff.
Ace dictating the pace of this game right now.
Daimin.
A free lane, a free tower, and he has
Daimin
a very
owning
fast
sih
blink
sini.
Vanguard that instantly went to work. We'll take another tier 1 off the map with the group up.
Udah dapat ini lagi Maelstrom.
It's going to be a problem to
BS
at this point in the game. Which is way too tanky, especially with Sunray behind him. You have to fight into Muerta spells, which have been problematic for a lot of teams until you get, debuff immunity and BKBs or something. That's a far way down the road. Yeah, late mail for Zai is going to be nice in terms of running in and tanking. It's also going to be pretty good versus the Rupture that has been going on
Item evil lah. Oke sih, udah ada movement, ada mana.
That'll give you some fighting power.
Bisa buat X mark juga.
takes pole position here.
Yeah, he does. Barely over the Centaur. Ace, once again, he's getting so much farm out of every single one of his laning phases. It is doing so much for Gaming Gladiators. I feel like it's the biggest reason why they're able to take the pace, the super fast pace that they beat out everybody else at this tournament with.
They want to go on him. This is the tankiest hero on the map. They finally have the vessel.
Oh.
This one's prompting this, and yeah, there's the damage, right? This helps by a huge
amount.
Suddenly you're back on the
Akhirnya nyolong satu ya. Perlawanan dikit nih, perlawanan dikit nih. Masih jauh sih dari Midas sih.
Get a lot of vision. Boxy, Swarm on 2. They have some magic damage throw around. Tofu's gonna have some problems with that.
Yeah, he's gone.
Nice.
Couple Gemini will clean him up. Early medallion for Boxy, giving you some extra minus armor.
And as you get those kills, that'll turn into a solar crest. So the minus armor is really ramping up with this Luna damage. This 15 to 20 minute window is pretty dangerous for Gaming Gladiators.
I mean, that's the big question. Is Liquid happy just going ultra late with this Luna with all the buffs they have behind him? Remember, this is going to be a Luna with a Pugna behind him, a boat rum,
Luna ya.
around him, and potentially a
Lunanya belum keculik lagi nih masalahnya nih. Free farm banget.
Pretty much only the Luna, the Gyro, and the Medusa, and 2 of those are not in the meta.
Mereka perlu stop farmingnya si Luna sih. Kalau emang pengen benar-benar ngebantai musuhnya. Ini udah mulai manta dia.
Especially with the build-up you go for now with the shards, the Satanic, the Butterfly, you just become insanely tanky if you can't get the initial burst damage out.
At the same time, I feel like
gila, langsung ulti dia.
Where they've got 2 big percentage-based damage dealers on Gaming Gladiators. Tofu, he'll deal with that war. Tornado is going to catch a mid-stampede. A bit unfortunate there, but it looks like they're going to try and catch the better stall. They got him from behind. Ace shows up, and Insania, there's no way he could do enough heals to outdo that damage from Gaming Gladiators. They will both die.
Every time Liquid starts to push back, it's Ace coming in, shutting them down with another 2-man stomp.
Haze-nya nggak diambil tuh.
Reaper stack for Quinn as well. He's already up to 4.
Nggak kelihatan tadi kayaknya Haze-nya.
Get to that like 10 territory, right? The hero just becomes an abomination of Dota with Ag's heart plus extra regen stacks.
Lah, nggak ke stack loh.
Yeah, you may have Spirit Vessel, but you don't have that much anti-heal.
And now Dyrachyo starting to pick up the aggression as we expect from him, just getting on the Liquid side of the map. Not really afraid of the jump here because what is the jump? I mean, it's going to be X. That's it.
Langsung short ya dia.
It's simply more of a counter punch lineup, right?
Nggak neko-neko dia, nggak nunggu. Aku mau short free gitu. Kalau kayak aku kan, ogah aja, uli aja. Mending free gak sih gitu kan. Dari Tormentor. Oh nggak jadi Ewol ya, tadi aku lihat mau Ewol deh. Langsung kalah sebenarnya.
You just fall behind and farm. Yeah. And his net worth.
Tuh kirain tadi si Necronya mau Ewol. Kalau nggak salah tadi sempet Q Ewol deh. Ternyata cuma beli win list-nya doang ya.
It does delay it even more. And now it is gaming taking the smoke to you as they want to get Quinn involved yet again with this Necro. Doesn't even have the Reaper up. Just wants to abuse the shard while Dyrachyo is cleaning up some ancients.
Feels like Gaming Gladiators rarely miss on their smokes, at least when it comes to these lower bracket games. They've had a clean run. 6 games in a row they've won. But this one will miss as Liquid do manage to get through the portal in time.
6-12.
Just leave their ops up there. They have pretty good wards to smoke back to in the top lane. They can switch the map up again.
Dude, they are just targeting Nisha so hard. He shows up again. Insania's behind him with the heals, but it's just not enough, man. Way too much damage. And again, it means Insania because he couldn't heal up his core enough. His core dies, and so
and this was Liquid responding. They brought Mickey, they brought Zai, they brought Boxy to this bottom lane to try and turn this. You talked about their lineup being a great defensive turnaround lineup. I mean, if you're not there, then you're just wasting even more time. Because once more Ace finds the opening, they clean it up with a Reaper kill, stack number 5, and that heart is almost completed here for Quinn.
Oh,
he is keeping pace with a Max or a Slave Luna, who's had some ancients.
You've got some serious damage problems now that that pipe is introduced. With a heart completed on Quinn as well.
Itu belum taros loh. Tadi regionnya berapa itu? Necro? Necro punya region berapa tadi?
A situation where your EHP just outpaces enemy damage and you drive it down a lane. And if you don't have outspam, if you don't have capability to take the fight, you run and
get that heart recipe.
That's a big one. I mean, you gotta go.
Feels so good.
Right?
Do you see it? Does he see it?
Oh,
he sees it. He's gonna go for it. Does manage to get it. So no heart just yet for Quinn. That will buy. I'm not even sure if it buys him any time because I feel like Gaming Gladiators can still do whatever they want.
I mean, it's a lot of effective net worth off the map, right?
Sure.
It's a big courier.
Iya, Cok. Gak ada taras.
That's probably the happiest Liquid fans have been in this audience for a while.
Lihat itu 40 gak sih regionnya?
Having a lot more fun in the road to TI than TI itself so far.
Liquid,
maybe they could change 2,000 net worth lead for Gaming Gladiators, so it's not like they're falling that far behind. It's just the fact that all 3 cores on Gaming Gladiators are looking strong.
And of course, a single fight can just open up this game for Liquid, right? If they get a good team fight where Mika gets to stand his ground with everybody behind him in the formation they want, where Gaming jump him and he survives, you turn around with level 2 Eclipse, which is now up, and you translate that into a Roshan, all of a sudden this game looks completely different. That is always in the cards if you take a bad fight, especially with Ags on Zai. It's a pretty fast Torrent Storm for an offlane Kunkka.
Oh no, Boxy.
Love the fact he's carrying his own dust.
Oh.
Straight back into the silence of the blood rites.
Balik ke situ, bro.
Absolute death sentence.
Look at all this deep vision that Gaming Gladiators has up too.
Yeah, they even have the cheeky tier 2 ward bottom, which, you know, I'm still debating whether this ward is actually supposed to do this, but hey, it's in the game, why not use it?
Definitely one of the most valuable.
Tier 2-nya digratisin udah.
Open up the
Diklasin.
almost no defense when you have this option, you just see everything.
Yeah, you get
udah no 40 mending torment ya.
Support or something sitting in the bottom part of the tower, you have that ward up on the top part, you see everybody that could TP in.
It's going to be Tormentor for Liquid, it's going to try and push Mickey towards his BKB. That's going to be the big go time for Liquid. You have BKB on Mickey plus this Torrent Storm, that's your team fight. It's all coming together. If you can fight behind the Luna,
tapi nggak hancur juga, Cok.
The debuff immunity, you're going to be really happy in that situation because it is a lot of magical burst coming out on Gaming. Yeah. You just got to pray you can hold your ground.
Piracio-nya BKB.
is
Terus
definitely a
force
small
BK
win here,
ngap.
even better if they can get the egg
Oh,
in
pecah
time. It looks
telur.
like they've got it no problem. Oh, ace! It was a good attempt. If he hit Zai too, there was a chance for the Phoenix to survive.
Another
But
X and
now,
yeah, he got him.
yeah, they're going to get him off the vision from the Sunstrike. He gets him off the X.
Yah,
Pull him back
yah,
in.
kunkanya.
Mickey pushed back by the dead
Mistoren.
shot, but Ace,
Ah,
he's
tapi
gonna be left
modar
alone.
sih.
Gaming Gladiators cutting their losses, and I think it's a smart play.
Tapi Mistoren.
Catch them out there, and they accept that.
That was a nice attempt at the stop. If that hits Zai, you maybe get something out of that engagement, but it's very deep, especially when Duracio had to TP out of the top off the BKB, so you know the Bloodseeker's not connecting to that fight. That's just a
OTW
green light for
butter
Miko to join it. Gets the cleanup. This will push him towards that BKB, flying out right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have it though.
Yeah, where is it?
He has pushed that tower without actually having that one. He's going to be in some serious trouble unless his turret can stop the Reaper
No
side, but
steal.
Quinn is way too tanky. He's not dying to this, and he does bring down Mickey. The BKB only works if you get it out of your stash and into your inventory.
That is a big timing to give up right there. And another big Reaper kill to give away. Quinn's regen just starting to get out of control. When he's
Iya,
under
Cok.
that Sunray with hard plus all
Regennya
stats,
berapa
plus
anjir sekarang?
140. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't see you ever winning this next
140?
round unless you get him in an isolated situation with the vessel on top of everything else. And that means the front line's going to be very strong here. Zai, he's going to take a poke at it. Oh, he's thinking about it.
Once again, trying to pull heroes out of position. Gaming Gladiators are not afraid of fighting under this. They have a high ground war.
Yeah, he does. He wants anybody but Quinn right here.
Yule Scepter to hold Zai in place. Quinn, Spirit Vessel put onto him. They have the Torrent Storm, but he gets away thanks to the shard. But they do manage to pick off that support. Toku goes down, and they back away. They check for high ground vision. It's not there. Duracio, he's actually cut in from behind. Zai's already so low. The boat's coming in trying to help him out, but I don't think Liquid can really fight this anymore. Too many heroes from Gaming Gladiators, and yeah, they're going to be losing
Wah,
two.
terobrak-abrik, Cok.
Spree for Quinn. The damage is absolutely untouchable. Duracio, his aggression is very off potentially.
Oh,
Here as
di
he's going
Ratio.
in so deep. Oh no, that's too much, Duracio. They will maybe
Overcommit
still catch
kamu di
Nisha.
Ratio.
Yes, the rupture holds him in place. Maybe he feels that's worth it. Maybe he's not the real carry. After all, Quinn is the one dictating the strength
Iya,
of Gaming
Cok.
Gladiator
Quinn.
in these fights.
A little bit of a
Tuh lihat tuh
Duracio
regennya
draw. I
Quinn.
mean, you gotta
Bener
have a
lagi
little
nih,
bit of
harusnya di
everything, right?
inspect
Just
deh.
too far with the
Anjir,
BKB,
nggak pernah
not
di inspect
respecting
itu.
the Luna buyback. Not reading the timer there. Mickey just gets a free cleanup.
Also not respecting the shard pickup of the Luna. That does add some
Yes.
extra damage when you are in melee range of that Luna. It's dangerous.
That type of fight overextension is probably what Liquid are looking for in general, right? Because their run-up burst is not great into the Sunray, into Necro Heal. You're going to be fighting into a Calling. But if you can bait Gaming into an extended fight like that afterwards, suddenly that turnaround can be very swift, very painful. Especially once the BKBs are down. So that's like Gaming have to think about how far do you
Gila,
chase these scenarios.
dua musuhnya
Come
taras
up and
anjir.
give Mickey a really good fight,
Tuh,
'cause it really is
Regen
all coming down to the
126
Sunray.
anjir.
Yeah.
And he stand his ground, output the damage, get good eclipses off.
Ikuzo Alina, welcome to the stream.
Sometimes these team fights can be a mess, and it's hard to
Necro too
decipher
strong,
what exactly is going on. I think it's clear what Gaming
Tapi itu
Gladiators
sih yang
want
gak suka
out
dari
of their
Necro.
team fight, right? Jump in on somebody, burst them down. What is an
Kalau yang
ideal
sekarang ya?
team fight look for Liquid though?
Ya Pacul dapat regen.
Somehow save that or
Cuman
get
ya bagusan yang
BKBs
dulu
off to
sih.
get the support,
Respon
right?
time-nya
Take the Ward out,
ditambah.
take the Phoenix out, or force an early egg and kite it. That's the situation where you can draw Gaming out in a long extended fight because the supports are dead. Suddenly the Necro's not as tanky. Suddenly your go attempt with Mickey
Tuh,
manning
dua
up
orang
isn't
taras,
necessarily
Cok. Mau nggak mau
putting
ada
him in
yang
a
bikin
position where he's stuck in the
Shiva
calling
sih.
after his BKB
Atau
goes
si
down.
Lunanya
It's about kiting it,
Skati.
right? Find the supports, kite the fight out,
Tapi kayaknya
extend it
Kunka
as
bakal
long as
bikin
you
Shiva
can,
sih,
and then
Kunka.
you're in a pretty okay situation. That's why Gaming want the burst here. They want to jump
Oh.
with Ace, get a Reaper kill on a big core, and set the fight up for Duracio. Even if that hero does not die
Abis
initially,
BKB
the Reaper,
mungkin
you're gonna put the
Shiva
Bloodseeker
harusnya
in a
deh.
position where he's thirsted so far up, he might just clean the fight up anyway.
Anjir, how to kill Necro anjir. Darahnya plus 122 tuh aja regennya anjir. Bruh.
Tornado, EMP,
Apalagi
Ice
bis
Wall,
skill.
all these
Habis
good
skill kan
bullets
stack
are
max.
huge. You just gotta recreate that gap.
140 lah atau 150 regennya itu anjir. Brr. Itu dia belum bikin Saints
Man,
loh.
he is far in this game.
Dia bikin Saints kayak nambah lagi cow anjir.
I mean, Quinn is, he's shown he's willing to play this hero in basically any game versus any matchup.
Skillnya terampli.
Why it's looked pretty damn good. 9-0.
Mungkin nanti dia bikin Saints kayak
Big streak if
Necronya.
Liquid can collect it as well.
I think Liquid are recognizing the fact that a tough fight is coming their way. They're trying to cut creep waves. You can see Boxy's playing in deep while Zai's using some X marks the spot shenanigans.
They don't want to give up this Roshan. That's the problem, right? Like, this is a great Roshan for Liquid with Solar Crest Swarm if you can get in there. You're giving up
Roshan
position on
musuhnya.
it. It's going to be an egg Roshan contest now. This
Uh-huh.
is pretty damn difficult because your opportunity to find supports on the backline and start on them is
Wah,
very limited around the
diwarin nih. Ini kalau menang Liquid, turn back-nya gede banget. Gila. Wah. Gila. Turn back ya. Gila. Gokil.
Cost them a massive fight.
Never clump blind
Gokil.
in the Roshan pit. If you don't expect it, you should have, because Zai just gets a 3-man torn into the boat and cleans them all up here.
Bro.
Storm. What a read, what a move from Liquid. That is not an easy
Gokil.
They just believed they had it, and hey, they did. Even gobbled an Aegis at the end on Mickey.
Mike.
You can't ask for any
Bro.
better here, honestly. Everything lines up. You even got like
That's
everybody
huge,
stuck in this
man.
meteor trying to run out of the pit in the direction on top of an ice wall. Nisha just cleans house.
I think the funny part is that Quinn pops the Ghost Shroud, but then that just leaves Duraccio and Ace getting shredded by Glaives. It just bounces between the two of them.
There was no getting out of that the second that torrent hits.
Ooh.
Great timing for the Butterfly. Part of that, that'll heal up Mickey. So now we've got a little bit of sustain options here as well, but the Necrophos isn't here quite yet. Gaming Gladiators may have jumped the gun, but they do have the Supernova well positioned. Liquid has to
Okay.
retreat, but the Rupture is preventing Mickey from doing so, and the Necrophos is coming soon. Quinn's going to be here. They've got to start retreating a bit.
You have a second life on Mickey, but that's it. Butterfly did get delivered though.
Oke.
Damn strong
Ahan.
right now. Level 20 talent as well.
He's going to take down to pretty much nothing as the Coco Rum wears off, and they have the vision of this too. They got him outside of that thirst vision, but Gaming Gladiators
Oh
have
no,
enough
dikejar.
of a lead to know where they're generally at. Box is going to try and run interference while Mickey goes for the escape and they get out.
Escape,
They had
brother.
vision on that high ground. Quinn was so close to being able to get that Reaper's Size stun in.
He didn't Death Seeker it.
Oh,
Maybe they
yeah.
couldn't
Oh,
get the
bikin
cap
Lotus
code properly
necronya.
with Stampede and everything, but that was very close to Mickey getting caught. They're lucky to get out of there. Gotta respect this thirst and how low you get, right? That type of fight, it goes
OTW
good for Liquid
Satanic.
because they get everybody in there during the duration of the bow, torrent storm, and the BKB for Mickey, and they just
mulai
run it
menarik
all
nih
up.
Macet.
Nisha also just got to sit there in his BKB and
Oh
right
tadi
everybody.
bener-bener
You get this
terobrak-abrik
chase
banget
situation
cok
where
sama
the right
Gladiator.
That's a very different story.
Boleh juga Liquid.
Formation means a
Eh
lot
boleh
for
juga.
Liquid right now. With an Aegis,
Tapi sangat disayangkan Nisha-nya kayak
did not expect that
kurang
at this
impact-nya di
point.
sini.
Oh, this is interesting. Boxy, they gave him all the farm that's coming in.
Jadi
bottom lane.
mirip-mirip
He's
support
building a
gitu
Lincoln.
jadinya.
So they're going to try and protect their Luna. Even more buff ups. You say, you know, you've got so much to put on this Luna. You start putting some item upgrades in there like Lincoln's. That's that would help
Deep,
do a lot to
too
protect
deep, Necro.
him. Quinn, he just jumps in so deep there. The Eclipse is going to be
Iya.
doing a lot of damage to Meteor on
Loh,
top of
bisa
that.
full lagi ngap tiba-tiba ngap.
Mickey aiming to finish off
Udah
that tower. The
gila
Reaper
ngap.
Sight's gonna go off, but Mickey on his BKB, and Quinn is
Udah
getting burned down
gila
here.
ngap.
They couldn't even get through the Aegis. And over 7,000 rupees. They're just diving after Mickey, but again, he has the extra life. Even if they succeeded in that, it was still a failed plan
Damn,
for Gaming
bro.
Gladiators right outside of their own base.
And Ace left wondering, guys, on the initiation, what the hell are we doing here? It's just it's too much Ubis, right? You think you're too tanky, you think you have too much regen. But the BKB timings and the vessels doing work here, and now they're gonna drag
Phoenix
you back in
die.
gaming.
Full celery out of position.
Ya.
Game is crumbling for
He
them
comes back
very
down
Okay,
with
nice.
Tornado into the sunstrike.
GG udah.
Before he could use the
Bercomeback cok.
supernova.
Boleh
All it
boleh
takes is
Liquid.
one bad torrent to ruin your day here. As Zai has just turned this game around, and now all of a sudden you're facing
Gokil.
down the barrel of a Luna with Aegis, a Butterfly,
Gokil,
Grova
gokil,
looking for
gokil.
that Satanic, and taking your axe.
Oh mau bikin
And
ini
this
dia.
is where that
Mau bikin
alacrity starts to go to
kataklysm.
work. All of a sudden, Nisha, he's a second damage source. He can make Mickey even more powerful.
Oh,
you have to think about the
Satanic.
Glimmer on the Reaper. You have to think about the BKP on the Reaper. Not so straightforward anymore. This is where this ball
Langsung
lineup
lah high
strikes
ground.
really
Mumpung
hard.
masih ada Aegis.
And the
High
problem's
ground
gonna be
lagi.
is Aegis
Mega
expires
langsung
in a
malah
minute.
ini.
Liquid can get a lot in that minute of time.
Gak punya glyph soalnya.
Expires, he picks up a Satanic. So even if that second life is gone in 50 seconds, he will have
Queen
additional
Who.
second life next to Satanic.
You gotta wear through this. You're looking down the second lane potentially.
Oh,
Mickey's
Tofu
just
die.
taking names right here, plus Sunstrikes.
Oh, manta dodge.
Stops Ace entirely from getting that initiation. They're going to keep the pressure up. with the
Ayo
barracks
pecahin
being revealed.
mati
They're gonna try
nih.
and burn out Mickey from a distance, but Insania
Biar
can keep him healed up.
Aegisnya
Even if
mati,
there are
Cok.
no heroes to lifesteal off of. And they're actually just going to be able to walk away. There is a period of time here. The Aegis expires,
Ryzen.
but Gaming Gladiators don't have their full squad.
Don't have any smokes either.
Yeah.
No
Tinggal
punch available
bawah,
here.
anjir,
Every
ter-comeback,
2 sets
Cok.
to Liquid, they just walk it off.
Bro, ini semua gara-gara war yang di Roshan, anjir.
Cam accelerated off these last few fights.
Langsung balik
He's in
tangan gitu,
prime
Cok.
position now, and, I mean, this just felt
Sama
very
ini sih,
casual, right?
overcommit
You can
sih dia
the
sih.
bait here. I mean, Quinn is
Tiba-tiba
incredibly
nge-dive,
sneaky with
anjir.
Ghost Shroud Sunray coming through. Ace is here, but you're just in an awkward position because it didn't start with you going on a court and bursting them, and you had Aegis the whole time, so even if that happens, you're going to get stuck in a awkward engagement. And at this point, I mean, Darachio's trying to clean up something that there's nothing to clean up there. And yeah, what the hell are we doing, guys?
Hey, we've all been there in that moment. I think everybody in this stadium.
Ya,
recognizes
baru mau
those
MKB sininya.
Just a
Bloodseeker-nya.
bad plan
Udah
for
keburu
Gaming
N, Cok.
Gladiators, which is surprising to me because I would've thought
Biasa kalau
Liquid
delusional gitu, dikira masih keras. Tiba-tiba nge-dive anjir tadi. Mending abis gitu dia bisa langsung cepet-cepet blink kayak pakai blink dagger. Ini kagak anjir. Oh, Silver Age buat ini Senta ya. Ini juga bagus sih, kena cross sih.
Just a question of how much more you can get, right? Because now if you get this next Roshan and you're able to push that last lane, you might just close this game out before it gets into any type of ultra late game situation.
Liquid to turn this game around. Let's take a listen to what their
Man, bro.
I'm running a dangerous way, but fuck it.
But fuck it.
The boss of this game.
You are the boss of this gym.
Go, go.
Wise words from a team, but fuck it. Yeah, that's an attitude to be able to take for this game because Liquid are in full control of this. I don't think Gaming Gladiators can really take a straight up fight against them anymore. But we'll see whether or not that actually comes to fruition here. Nisha, he's trying to find a pick off.
Tapi tadi Fokernya kalah sama Necro loh, Will. Dikit kaget jujur.
Darachio holds it for now. He actually is running back into them. He wants to be able to play around this high ground area.
And it'll be a smoke from Gaming, so they're going to take this fight. What they're looking for is a big core kill, burst it on the jump from Ace into the Reaper, even through the saves. You got to remember, there's a full Linken's on Boxy. He can throw this out to block a Reaper or Rupture. There's not much else to pop it here, and it might be something Gaming are not ready for. If you don't find this Weaver, he's going to protect the core on the front line, especially with Glimmer and the suck coming out from Insania on the back.
Big wrap around, but Boxy, he ruins
No, smoke-nya dipecahin sama Boxy. Gokil Boxy, boleh. Ya, TP pulang deh.
Close call, but everybody does get away safely.
That was not a high ground you're willing to go up if you're Gaming here, especially with two.
Udah sih, tinggal high ground gak sih? Apa nunggu Roshan? Roshannya bentar lagi sih. Tinggal semenit lagi tuh.
Looking at a wisdom rune. I mean, Tofu wants it, but
no way you're getting. Oh, really? They're gonna try for it.
What? Masih mau nyoba?
It's not there anymore. Dead shot to try and cover his retreat, but Sai has the vision thanks to the
Wow.
storm. He's gonna be able to catch him on the side here. The opposite side of
Cukup
the
maksa loh ya.
with some of the range damage. Sunstrike coming in. He knows
Actually cukup maksa loh, masih mau ambil.
and Liquid is more than happy with that.
really good bait by Sai.
Cukup maksa loh, masih mau ambil XP rune.
Egg off some really small plays from Liquid gives him another little advantage here. Again, this is all setting up for next Roshan. There's no way you're pushing high ground without an Aegis on the Luna versus a burst-oriented lineup.
Jadi mau nggak mau kepaksa buang telur kan?
Changes
Cok,
a lot as well. Now you have
apaan
the
itu,
Linken
Cok?
save plus an ag save to deal with rupture damage, to deal with Reaper sight damage.
Timnya emang doyan dive anjir.
How much can Ace do, right? He's
Loh, kok pulang? Nggak dive lagi. Jadi ini Joro Major 3 kali. Cok, what the fuck? Itu barusan apa banget ya? Ah. Oh my god, mati nih. Senta mati nih. Bye bye Senta. Oh no Senta. Adios. Oh, Dirachio. Oh, Dirachio-nya yang mati. What the fuck?
Looks like somebody must have Oh, screen bug. Well, at least it wasn't Duraccio.
Yeah.
No excuses there.
Pause and look for him, but he ain't there. And that was very fast. He is instantly gone.
What the fuck?
I feel like Duraccio's read of where the Liquid heroes are in these fights.
Udah alasan fuck.
Right? He's just been getting in very deep into these melee ranges.
Duraccio tiba-tiba hilang aja, anjir, gak ada apa-apa. Perasaan yang diincer sih ini, anjir. Let's go, Liquid.
And the Liquid fans will fill out
Let's
the
go,
pause with a
Liquid.
chant as they can sense the end is nigh for this
Let's
game
go,
one.
Liquid.
In a great position, whether this pick
Let's
off
go,
of the
Liquid.
Bloodseeker does it for them and they straight up go for the high ground from here, they're likely to still catch ace as they've got them dead to rights in so many different ways. The X marks the spot, the torrent to pull
Ah,
it
udah
back in.
GG.
Yeah.
GG, GGN. GGN, who needs Roshan? Who needs Roshan? Fuck this game. Let's end, let's end. Loh, kok takut? Loh.
That'll secure Roche for them. That was your Roche right there. Just gone in the blink of an eye here.
They're respecting the fact that Gaming Gladiators could have buyback. Better to just play for Roshan. Of course, we know they actually don't. So Liquid could have ended the game right there, at least gotten Megas. But they're going to play it very disciplined. Get the Aegis and cheese.
Assume there's buybacks here.
Yeah.
Don't know where the gold
Biar
is.
nggak sesumbar kayak gaming gladiator.
Full slotted pretty much.
Gila. Ini Luna
Just let him go high ground and throw every buff you have on him. It's not a
OP
bad
bet
strat
OP
here.
anjir ya. Kalau buat lawan melee kayak BS gitu. BS mau hit dia malah dia yang mati, Cok.
This torrent storm and the chaos in the fight. We're talking about the control that Liquid has when it's on a straight 5-on-5 when the BKBs go down. If you don't get that burst and shorten the extension of that fight, Zai's
Oh,
gonna take it over.
Queen.
This is the problem with Kunkka.
Oh no, Queen. Tidak. Oh no, GG my friend. Hahaha.
But he does have buyback. So he's going to have to use this for some desperate final hold from Gaming Gladiators. They can't afford any pickoffs. But if they can get a pickoff on Boxy, that would help delay things a little bit. The Lincolns, though, it's going to prevent the rupture.
Udah nggak ada rupture, my friend.
Now that means Rupture is on cooldown when this push comes in, and Mickey is approaching
55 seconds.
He is fully slotted out here.
I mean,
Gak ada rupture, my friend.
5,300 gold. He is buying another item.
Ah,
He doesn't know what the hell he
GG.
wants in this game. I mean, it's got to be BKB.
Glyph for what, man? Glyph for nothing lah.
They're going to wait for the initiation, the attempt to jump from Ace once again. A man to dodge.
Manta dodge.
And they really
Oh, Senta dead lah.
pulled out from the tidal wave. Quinn's in trouble, but he does manage to use his shard to get out from the side. Still, though, buildings are exposed. You can reset all you want. Your buildings are still going to be in some trouble here.
Masih ada Satanic, my friend. It's okay.
To full heal him. Nothing is going to stop Mickey from claiming the Megas.
Can keep going here if you're Liquid. Can reset, gain some resources as well.
Yoi, Puknanya nyedot dulu dong, Puknanya.
From Quinn did not have it for that fight.
Di sini ada Hattlesnya Kaimin ya.
Physical damage to the outputs is pretty intense.
And part of the problem is how do you get through the saves now? Like Boxy's itemization in this game with the
Let's
Lincoln's
go,
Axe is
Liquid.
closing in. You have the Glimmer Cape. You have another Lincoln's on Nisha as well. So this is double Lincolns that can go through against Reaper, Rupture with, like we were saying, not a lot to pop it beforehand. And these are long cast animation spells that you can honestly hit them pretty
Let's go,
reliably
Liquid.
if you're just looking only at that and not worrying about anything else here. Block potential is very high.
Belum pernah se-hit ini.
Final push will come. Once more, rally around your Luna. Let him do the work. Let the Glaives do the work.
Oh, udah deh.
That is so
End
good
deh.
being able to siege down tier 4s with those bouncing glaives. Getting pretty low already
Tuh,
off
dua.
that bit of burst. See if they can get him again. The man
Gila.
dodges Mickey.
Boleh juga Mika dari tadi ngedodge stun. Grand final besok. Iya betul. PD final udah mulai. Yoi, ini final. Grand final besok jam 4.
They need to be able to slow down Liquid, but Liquid actually going to turn underneath the Supernova, though. That one is going to be a little bit sticky, and Quinn jumps forward, takes his opportunity to the Reaper side, but no! The save comes out just in time, back to full he goes. He gets the cheese up, and
Satanic,
now
my
he's
friend.
ready to rumble.
Wow, what a time lapse
How
time.
much
Just
is-
when you think you're gonna get a Reaper kill after all the BKBs and the Glimmers are down. No, Boxy is waiting for you.
No.
Picks up that
Right
Aghanim
back
Scepter
against
just in time for
Yeah, that was literally just
Udah nggak ada skill lagi.
And they'll get another buyback out of gaming here. Ace, the next to pay the price. 2 cores on cooldown for 5 minutes here. Did take your Aegis, did take your BKB.
Final push is coming in. Let's take a quick listen in on
Udah
Liquid.
nggak ada skill lagi buat defend Gaimin.
I'm just tipping. I'm just tipping. Just one.
Titisan Artizi. Dia main tadi. Makan cheese dia. Makanya dia drop.
Mickey understands his
Siapa aja yang masih
strength.
survive
Just
ini
wants to
dua,
run in.
Gaimin Gladiator,
Protect him at all
Liquid,
costs, and that's what Liquid did there in that
LGD,
push.
Azure, Titan, Titan. Ini Bad Boom sama Team Spirit.
Full 6 slots, double BKB, double Satanic, double Manta dodge.
Bad Boom kan ya? Bukan VP. Ya Bad Boom.
Right now,
Tinggal 6. Udah top 6 ini.
Even the BKB on cooldown. But Liquid are a bit hesitant.
Cheese bisa kasih makan kayak Mango? Enggak.
waiting for the call.
Waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, perhaps.
Di ulti Weaver kayaknya. Sama makan cheese habis itu.
Waiting for another tormentor. Why not?
Might as well take away
Jadi,
those resources
jadi habis
away
udah
from
di ulti
Game
Weaver
Gladiators.
masih agak low, langsung
But
makan
after
cheese
all,
lagi.
they're in no position to,
Kemarin Gaimin menang berarti ya, betul.
be rushing things too much. They can take their
2-0.
time if they need to. Now we have the EMP pull-in, so not only are you dealing with the constant torn storms, the tidal wave pushing you back, but the EMP is also dragging you away, out of position constantly.
Udah Huawei ini wah.
To see that attempt there, though, always the Death Seeker ready to go for Quinn.
Oh tapi udah full skill lagi loh musuhnya loh.
Create a situation where you force Ace to jump, and then Mickey's gonna have a good fight.
There it is, pull him out of position, hit him with the nullifier, see if they can get that BKB out of him, but Quinn doesn't hit the button.
Nih nggak ada niatan bikin skadi.
But they are taking damage on their tier 4s. The Mega start streaming in.
Oh udah, bye bye.
Cataclysm, beautiful setup. That's gonna be Ace going down with no fire.
Iya udah bye bye.
And Mickey sees his opportunity now to be able to hit the tier 4s. The Gaming Gladiators back away. The throne is going to be a
Oh, bro, gila itu Tron.
No contest whatsoever. They can take
Anjir,
down
tadi lu lihat gak damage Luna ke BS anjir, itu mantul-mantul sama tower cok, sama Tron, tot, gila sakit banget cok.
Necrophos look for a lot of the game. He doesn't even get a Reaper off in that last fight. Luna just outputting way too much damage for Dyrachyo to deal with.
Mantulnya sakit bet sakit anjir. Udah nggak mau lanjut lagi bos, kita tarik hehehe.
And that was all she wrote, right? There's just no coming back from that point because all of a sudden the paradigm gets flipped. You're the ones who lack the damage.
Itu sekarat kiri iya cok. Itu dari full HP loh. Mantul-mantul motor gila.
You need a Necro that needs damage to come in. You need a Bloodseeker that needs damage to come in. And the Centaur can't do it for you. This Pugna is causing you a lot of problems on the back line.
Nih, Luna ya, kita baca ya. Bonusnya berapa? Damage reduction 35%. Ada talentnya kalau nggak salah. No, berarti kurang lebih 75% cok. 75% anjir.
Now, since they've been here, they've managed a 2-0 through all of this one.
Ada
But
talent iya ya
now
tadi.
they're one game away from being knocked out of the international. And they're gonna
Level
have
15
to
kayaknya. Ih, 10. Moonclave tadi. Ini 10.
They will find my blade sharp and cruel.
Jadi 73% itu damage-nya anjir. Mantap ya tadi Lunanya. Iya, buat dispel ini juga kan. Buat dispel silence sama manta dodge juga tadi. CK lompat stun di dodge terus cok sama Lunanya pakai manta.
Feels great. Somebody was T-Gunner was already making a stat about like liquid win rate without like Matu on the panel and with Matu on the panel like 0%. So like I mean this feels great. Let's go liquid.
73% kalau cuma iya, 73% justru gede cok. 73 itu udah gede banget cok. Orang mantulnya secepat apa anjir. Ingat ya, pas udah mantul dia udah mulai ngehit lagi. Ada pantulan baru anjir. Habis itu si Queen Ghost Form. Jadi ini cuma Senta sama Blood kena bantu. Iya cok.
even before the game, I felt like Quinn looked a little nervous.
Ingat loh, pas dia mantul itu mulai dapat hit baru aja gitu.
Good, strong mental team, which is why they've had such consistent success.
Tapi BKB udah susah kena target sih. Tetep aja sih tadi sih. Tetep susah sih. Cuman ini nih, ini yang bikin dia turn back tadi anjir. Di war ini anjir. Kalau tadi benar-benar kalah banget, udah kena storm.
People are like not. I mean, I think all the pros know this, but like when you take Roshan, it's about controlling the high ground. Like gaming gladiators, they sort of lost focus for a bit. They had 5 heroes
mantulnya 2 orang, iya cok.
And I don't know, it's just such a free fight for Liquid. They had no one scouting the pit. They had no one like tapping the fight with buyback. I'm not too sure what happened in their calls, but I think they're letting their emotions sort of get a hold of them. They're not like thinking about a.
Nih, lihat nih, BB nih, EBS. Wuh, gila, cok. Itu BS gak ada rasa anjir. Ya gak ada harga diri anjir tuh BS. 3 orang kena gosip huge bro. Iya, abis kena gosip ada aganimnya Kunka cok. Itu sih mas persen, aduh Queen tolol banget lu. Jadi ratio ya.
Liquid played very well. We talked about gaming gladiators mistakes, but I
Wah,
think
gila,
only a team with very strong mental endurance could have come back that game. And honestly, it was the little things around the map even
Itu yang di
before
Tron
that
sih,
version.
kacau sih.
I mean, the laning stage didn't go the way they wanted it to. The early
BS-nya nggak bisa main anjir.
looked very hard to control, but Luna was farming the entire time.
Nah, ulti
Luna
Bane.
was not shut down. She was in the triangle. She was in both of her ancients. Gaimin did not play on that side of the map, and there were some really key pickoffs that happened, I believe, in the bot lane around minute 20. So I think Nisha and Voker forced the BKB TP from Bloodseeker in the top lane, and then Phoenix had a really aggressive dive, and then Zai just cleaned it up. Right? They got the kill on Phoenix, they got the X on Centaur, and they were finding the kills wherever they could, even before that Roche fight.
The difference in the space that both of their carries were given, and something we talked about too, a difference in win conditions between the two teams. But we're going to break it down a little bit further. It is going to be Purge on the sideline.
Thank you. Yeah, the crucial fight of this game was that Roche fight. So I wanted to show you guys some of the crucial things that led up to that moment, because that was an uncharacteristic mistake for Gaming Gladiators to be initiated on like that. So if we take a look at the clips here, it's normal to set up for Roshan with an Observer Ward. Now this ward is very important. Keep an eye on that and keep that in your mind here. Celery comes into D ward. They push out the creep waves. And over on the bottom side of the map, they even see Invoker teleporting away. So they know that Liquid's going to defend this, but crucially, he doesn't actually have a BKB yet until after he TPs. So they don't know that he's got BKB. They probably think they're going to be able to fight. And Boxy's doing Weaver things on the right side. He's putting an Observer Ward down. They see where Gladiators are. They know they're in the Roche area. He's going to cut the next creep wave. So it's just very, very obvious to Liquid that's going to happen. So we see them basically smoke into approach to land the combo, which was a torrent first, followed by a boat.
Harusnya Necro juga nggak ikut hit guys.
Properly. And the reason is because, take a look at this Observer Ward here. This is the vision for Gladiators. This is what they see. They see him throw the boat, but they don't see him throw the torrent. So they just don't get a reaction time. And the reason for this was this Observer Ward vision. Look at how much it covers. It only covers this little edge right here. If they instead place that ward like here instead, the vision would be something like this. Then they would have caught them at an earlier time period. They would have been able to stampede, split apart, but instead it just gets them being caught by Liquid and losing the fight, and Liquid gets back in the game.
Who would have thought just that small amount, millimeters between where you place a ward could have been enough to change this game for you. We can talk about it a little bit more because there's more to the game than just that Roche fight.
Kalau observasi itu benar sih, infonya lebih dapat.
But first, Saxon Tsunami also want to have a little bit of screen time.
It's us and a bunch of people in the crowd right now. How we doing?
LGD. Berarti gaming tolol ya, saya setuju. Haters buat haters anjir. Haters buat haters anjir.
Can we get the Let's Go Liquid, please, my friends?
Let's get it out of our system. Let's go Liquid.
Dia ngomong Let's Go Liquid di kumpulan LGD anjir. Dia ngomong Let's Go Liquid di kumpulan LGD anjir. Kan dongo. Itu jelas-jelas samping dia baju LGD. Itu aja posternya LGD Azure semua anjir.
ideas for what we as a crowd can scream at Gaming Gladiators to get them excited?
That's obvious.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's go, go, go!
I mean, that was okay.
Loh, itu memuji
I have some ideas. All right,
gaming
all right. Let's try this
gladiator.
one out. Can you hold up my microphone right here? All right, let's check this out. Oh. Die! No.
Stop trying to sneak liquid
Here we go. DR Doraccio! DR Doraccio is here! DR Doraccio! DR Doraccio is here! Now, yeah, that could work. And if he's like not doing good, you can always continue the song, you know? He has no farm. He has no TP. This Harry is...
No, wait, that's enough.
Okay, all right.
Di roasting.
I do like the DR
Di roasting.
I can't spell tsunami, but maybe our panel can. Panel, how do you spell words? Back to you.
What sort of question is that? To be fair, I thought he was just going to take the Let's Go Liquid one, and he was just going to go Let's Go Gaming. That's what I thought he was just
Let's go, go, go.
I mean, that sounded better.
You like the Let's Go, go, go a little bit more?
I mean, most definitely Slacks. I'm sorry.
I mean, who had the better cheer though overall? The Let's Go Liquid is just nice, stock standard.
I mean, I love Liquid, though I'm ultimate bias here. I can't really speak an ill word of him.
Readjusting. Well,
Yoi lah, dulu kan pernah menang ya mati ya.
That well, if you know much about the org, but we have a video for you. It's going to fill in all the missing pieces of information you might have about Liquid.
I think the tier that hurt the most was probably TI-10, mostly because I feel like there were a couple plays in that last series that just like really regret.
And Puppy is going to get the disruption off, gets stuck inside the bramble, pops the Ghost Scepter preemptively, but he's going to die shortly after. Great curse. Yep, that's a huge curse onto 3 heroes as Team Secret get RP from Collapse, and the right clicks are there from Yatoro.
Yatoro.
Ultra kill.
Rampage.
Rampage at TI-10. Absolutely.
We felt that we were good and that we could go all the way.
No. No, Sai.
And we got beat, and it's hard to take anything out of that besides ambition to get even better.
Oh.
They pop the cheese on Jazz, but without a Terror Blade, there's really nothing left for Talent. They're going to call it here. GG, Team Liquid.
To be a TI winner, I think a lot of things have to fall into place. I'd like to think a lot of it has to do with mindset and belief. That you get to a point in the tournament where all of a sudden you have such like undying faith in your ideas that you kind of just go with it. Because then you escape all the, what if they do this? What if they do this? We have to counter this. They're gonna play this, and instead you're just like, oh, they're giving me this. It's free game,
It's a free game,
we'll win. I think that's something that OG proved.
Yeah.
That kind of when they got their things, they're just cruising. That's when you're really there, and I think everyone's kind of trying to throughout the tournament trying to get to that point where you figure out a couple of heroes that just really click for you, and once you have that, you're sailing. You put a lot of time and effort into it, but I don't really think you at any point deserve to win it. So if I'm deserving or not, I think it would mostly just be because I've been doing this a long time. Looking back at what I've done throughout the years, it would be nice to kind of get the last one in and be able to call
myself the winner. Oh, Team Liquid.
I'm not gonna lie, pretty emotional piece about Zai there. He's always made it so close, but never actually in the grand final for himself. So this is it. He's in the lower bracket, but it could potentially happen for himself. It all starts with this series going in a way of a win for themselves. Game 1 was it. And do you think that they've hit that state now, Owie? They gave Mickey Luna, and that was it. That was we got this hero, and now we can win this game.
Well, I actually have a question for Matu.
Oh, okay.
Because you're in Liquid's head a lot. You played with them last year. So this game, I feel like they had a good strat coming in. They tried to shut down Gaimin's offlane. They did that pretty successfully. But I would still say that Gaimin sort of reached like a winning position this game, and Liquid had to clutch it.
I mean, I also feel like that. I felt like gaming got everything they wanted for the first 20 minutes, and after that, like, I mean, they threw the game. They didn't play good. They played quite literally shit. So if I were gaming, I would just run it back with the same ideas, and I think like if they just like get their heads straight, they're gonna win the next game.
Do you think Liquid would want to change though? Because even though they won this game, I don't know if I'd be as comfortable. Like I feel like they clutched a win that they didn't necessarily deserve.
You're right.
You're right.
There's nothing left to say about that.
Would you want to change like Liquid strategy though?
I mean, I think they should come up with something that would, I mean, it's hard to say, right? It's like they have their own idea, and I'm not quite sure if this was their idea of like not quite doing well on lanes, and after like when our heroes come online, we're gonna win the game anyway type of thing. So.
Do you have an answer for your question, Aoi? Like if you were in the
I have no idea.
Ngeri mikir.
I don't know.
Iya, Cok.
But you're not sure if your strategy was correct. I think you probably want to switch it up a bit anyways so that gaming can't learn. But, you know, who knows?
I mean, in that sense, maybe they could just address the hero that they felt put them in that losing position in the first place if their laning wasn't atrocious. Maybe the Necro first. Most teams didn't let it through. Maybe getting that Necro on 18 for Gaming Gladiators caught them off guard, and if they
langsung masuk
just
zone
think
Mickey.
about the potential threats of these cheese heroes
Mickey,
coming in,
Mickey.
they can stick to the Luna.
Nisha tadi kurang
Maybe
mainnya.
it was a win that they didn't necessarily deserve for Liquid just because of how well the early game went for Gaming Gladiators, but they were still able to stay
Berarti ini
dominant in
Liquid
that
ada dua
lane
mantan
part, and I kinda
secret
wanna
ya?
focus on that
Zai
before we get to
sama
the game 2 draft.
Zai sama
Because they
Nisha ya?
weren't giving any space.
Anjir, teh celup dulu nggak?
Still was doing a lot of
Sariwangi
work.
kan?
He even got picked off. He even got caught out. So what exactly was it about Liquid's late game that made it really impossible for Gaming to get back in?
I think first I should say like deserve was probably the wrong word. Like
That's
they
right.
obviously
Wih,
played
ketawa
well.
coy Queen coy.
We all use the wrong words.
Tapi combo Torrent SS di akhir gila sih. Iya, yang di Roshan kan?
I'm not too sure, Matthew. What do you think? Like
Centaur langsung hilang.
Oh, I mean,
yang di akhir ya, yang di Tron ya.
Let's say we replace
Iya.
Blitz with you, Matu, and you're in the Liquid booth now.
Tapi si Mickey-nya gacor. Dia selalu manta dodge stun-nya Senta, Cok. Jadi Sentanya malah seolah-olah yang ngasih badan diri dia sendiri aja. Yang di Tron, Roshan juga game changing juga, iya, bener banget.
I think saying something like, okay, the draft or the early game might not have gone that well anyways, but we still managed to clutch it. This game we're even gonna have a more robust draft, and the game will go even more smooth, give them some confidence. I think that would go really far for Liquid, because and these teams they played each other a lot this year.
Yeah.
And other than I think Riyadh, like it has mostly gone Gamen's way.
You know, they've matched up 12 times throughout the I think it's one of the biggest matchups that any two teams have had in one calendar year of competitive Dota. So it's a massive matchup for them, and you're right. It is normally going game.
Nisha kayak nggak main jodoh dari 35-15.
It's going to be a hard reset. But Effie, do you have any ideas for hero
Boxy sih.
changes, band changes?
Boxy.
I mean,
Huge
if
banget
I
dari
were to
tadi.
look at hero changes for Gaimin, I
Bukain
thought
mapnya,
everything
pecahin
but the
smoke
Bloodseeker looked
musuhnya,
fine, 'cause Bloodseeker didn't give them that
ngebunuh-bunuhin
game
kurir
safety
musuhnya.
blanket. Earlier you asked Aoi
Tadi kan
why you thought
tarasnya
Liquid
si
remained so dominant
siapa
in the
namanya?
late game. It's just 'cause their heroes
Tarasnya
scaled
si
better,
Necro
and they were at the point
delay
where they had the
2
map
menit
control, they
gara-gara
had their
kurirnya
solutions to
dibunuh.
Necro, and Bloodseeker fell off. So if you can you can still play aggressive while also having late game security. That's what carries like Luna give you. So I would bench the Bloodseeker.
Yeah. I had that one down as well. It's like, Bloodseeker, is there a reason we're not seeing it? And maybe this game is a really good example. Marta, you said you're here for the good hero, bad hero? Or are you putting Bloodseeker?
Bad hero.
Bad
so
hero.
Don't pick it again.
No,
on either team.
Boxy sejak dulu main pos 3 juga playmaker
there's
banget,
a
iya.
reason why it's not picked very often. They're trying to find solutions for some heroes in Liquid's lineup. I mean, they're hyper focusing on the lanes first of all. They see like
Makanya kan seingetku dulu Boxy pos 3 deh. Kok support sekarang?
For Bloodseeker, and hopefully they're gonna scale off just a good early game, but they just completely like whiffed it. You know, that Roshan was atrocious. Like, this is not supposed to ever happen in a pro Dota game that you go Roshan like that. Someone has to be scouting the smoke and popping the smoke, run out of pit, and then take the fight. And they just got blind torrented by on three people. Unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal, and we're going to see if they're going to bench it, what lessons they've learned for that game 1, and what's going to let through in game 2 draft.
Ding 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 ding.
Team Liquid versus
Let me gladiator.
Game 2.
Game 2.
Now we can get to the nitty gritty of the drafts, coining bad heroes, good heroes, as Marta likes to put it. Pugna, where do we want to put him? And is he now a first phase ban worthy hero?
Omega good.
Omega good?
Yeah, more Pugna, more Luna. Is Mickey like undefeated on Luna? Let's see more of that.
Okay.
That's what I like. I want undefeated heroes of my boys, yeah?
I think Liquid's idea this series is going to be shutting down the Gladiators off lane. I think Pugna, as Matthew said, Pugna and Luna, they're probably like the strongest safe laners, right? Like I don't think anything really matches Pugna in lane. He's just really fast, he hits hard, has a good nuke. I think we saw last game, like when I saw them get the double kill onto Ace and Tofu, that's when I thought the game was like starting to go well for Liquid. Obviously, Gladiators made some really good rotations through the gate and
Yang di ban
that lane, but I think their plan
Gaimin offline semua ya.
I just want to see Nisha have a good game. Like he had a very big mid
Takut
diff,
mereka
as we like to sell.
sama hero-hero yang OP ini.
They picked in
Thank you, Matsu.
Yeah. Just to make sure everyone understands. Yeah, they picked Invoker in the Necrophos and he just like completely got stomped on that lane. They can fix that, they can maybe bridge the early game better.
Let's be fair to him.
Iya, masalahnya kocaknya dia pick, pas pick Invoker tuh buat necro tapi malah kalah lane aja. Kalahnya kalah storm aja. Bukan kalah biasa. Kalah ke bantai. Bukan kalah dikit.
But he was able to come back after the mid diff, you know, have the impact on the Invoker, Matu.
I never doubt my boy Nisha. Best player in the world. Let's go.
Let's go.
This is a Liquid plant on the panel.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, Pukna lagi. Pick Pukna lagi dia. Secure Pukna deh.
I have been very neutral.
Well, not anymore, not anymore. Okay, I'm coining that you're allowed to be biased towards Gaming Gladiator.
Should I be the Gaming cheerleader?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I find go Quinn.
Quinn.
Let's go. Get
amazing, amazing.
I mean, I think that honestly, Gaimin are a great team, but I do wonder. Curtis was talking about earlier how he felt that the game was uncharacteristic of them. He thought that their body language coming out was very disappointed. And the thing is, when it comes to Gaimin versus Liquid, up until the Riyadh Masters, Gaimin were always in a winning position, or they felt like they had their number. Starting off a elimination series, one game down, I wonder how that's going to affect them mentally, because we haven't seen Gaimin in a lot of positions where they have to recover from situations like this, right? It's usually Liquid who are on the back end.
Yep.
I think I'm pretty happy with how Gaimin are approaching this game, though. I think it's very easy to lose confidence in what I would say is their best strat, the Murta. After you lose a game, they see the Pugna, they think that, I would think from their perspective, like they would even think they would do better in this offlane this time if they got someone like a Murta Centaur versus the
Muerta
Pugna.
lagi ya.
And something else that I think is interesting for Liquid is I
Muerta
think that last game
lagi.
they felt like it was awkward that they couldn't ban the Necrophos in the second phase because they wanted to ban the Chen. But this time they've actually opted to ban the Chen earlier so that they're more free on the second phase to ban a hero good against the cores in the second phase. I like this approach a lot because especially if you're going to first pick a support, you want to focus your bans on the core slots.
Yoi.
It's good that they don't overthink it. They're quite literally sticking to their guns right now.
Yang perlu di ban kalau mid paling mungkin
was
ini.
going great, like last game.
Do you think Liquid are going to go back for
Lina?
that Weaver? Or are they hoping to maybe put Boxy on something he's a
Perlu
little bit
ban
more
Lina
comfortable
sih,
with? That's not to
kayaknya
say he's not
Gaimin.
comfortable on the Weaver, but we
Somehow.
have seen him do a lot more on other pos for heroes, and that Weaver was supposed to go to Mickey and sort of fell apart. And they
Lina
recovered
sama
it well.
Pukna tuh
I would personally think
cukup
they should
magic
go for a different route.
banget.
I think that if you pick this Weaver,
Gue
you start
cukup benci
committing on
kayak
winning the lane on the Weaver.
berapa
It was a
menit
really
awal
good
tuh udah
matchup
bisa
for
ngerom
Phoenix, and I
enak.
think they had idea of putting a
Puknanya
potentially
skill 2
safe
udah
lane,
ke slow,
having a
langsung
strong lane there. But I
di
think,
skill sama Lina, mana
Weaver's
Lina
gonna
kan
make
jadi
their
dapat
post lane
spell
a bit awkward. I think Boxy's a lot
amplification-nya
better when he
gede.
can help his team move around the map, and I think Weaver's
Tapi
more
Weavernya
of a
ngeselin
solo
sih.
hero.
Also, they did end
Ah,
up
Phoenix
trading
lagi.
the Weaver for the Centaur on Gaimin, so I don't think
Artinya
that
sama
trade
lagi
worked
ya?
out for the favor of the Centaur. So if you just take this Weaver out at this stage, it opens you up to not have to consider the Centaur the way that you did in the
Muerta
last game.
Phoenix
So now
lagi.
you can just even go for a potential double support opening with the Phoenix, which is still a really great hero for Gaimin. We know it's a Celery specialty. It gives them team fight. It gives them map
Kenapa
control. They
mereka
just
demen banget
fumbled on
Muerta
it a little
Phoenix?
bit.
We're going to see what Liquid are going to pick up for themselves, and we've talked about all these changes, all the different ban orders and what it leaves open for them now. So, Ari, what would you like to see? Actually, no. Marta, what would you like to see?
I just wanna see
Enchantress.
this, Phoenix like answered like directly, no like roundabouts about it. I want something that kills.
Mau
the
main
egg,
full slow ya
some
berarti.
Heroes that just don't care about the egg. Liquid's last loss, like last
Kunka
series
lagi
loss,
kah?
they lost
Kunka
against
bagus
Phoenix,
sih.
They had 0 answers, and this hero is so contested that you really need to answer this support hero. Otherwise,
Kunka
the game
Enchan
will
oke gak sih?
naturally just crumble.
Di lanin.
Yeah, we
Cuma
often
bisa
see
main itu
teams
soalnya.
neglect to not so much address the egg because they're busy
Oh, Luna lagi,
trying to create
damn.
synergy in their draft, and they do regret it. I feel like Luna is enough of a solution. I mean, Matsu said run back the Luna. Mike owned on it, very 100% win rate, so here we are, but it's a good BKB carrier. It can focus on the egg. Like natural agility items are also bought for this hero. On the side of Gamon, they also had the Muerta Phoenix backline, right? We talked about how Pugna is addressed through heroes that jump on it.
Luna
So
Pugna
now
gak
you have
sih?
these two
Enchan
potential
Kunka
backline supports with
enak.
no frontliner to get on top of this Pugna.
Ah,
That really needs to be
Lon.
solved.
Alone Druid, Matu, I see your eyes. There's a glint.
Yeah, they're glowing. I love this hero. I'm known for this hero. It always gets me excited that somebody's practicing this hero I'm playing, because it's definitely not the most played. It's somewhere down there with the Chen. I mean, definitely Liquid having the Pugna and Luna, like just what I like wanted. Maybe they heard me. That makes me happy too. But this is one of the Ace's best heroes. Gaming thrives through the lanes, and it really fits the picture how they want to play. And I'm a little worried for Liquid, honestly.
How does it fare versus the Pugna and Enchantress supports? Like, how do you think Lone Druid deals with them when they're pushing towers? He can just run his bear into it?
Yeah, he
Angle.
they don't really have any relation.
Buat si ini ya.
With his,
Buat Queen.
he hates stuns, but these heroes don't really stun. They're
Queen
just there
pengko mulu anjir.
supporting their boys, so it's looking good.
Aoi, you've had a little bit of time to think about this draft, so how are you liking the matchups of them so far?
I think the Lone Druid pick's pretty good. I think that Enchantress, he wants to sort of come for a winning lane. When you win your lane on this hero, you get to like go into the enemy triangle, start pressuring both mid and the safe lane. But Lone Druid's a hero that can put a lot of pressure on your carry, so you feel like you have to babysit him a lot more. I also think that this Pangler pick, Gaming Gladiators Classic, they'll just see like 2 supports that don't really mess with his game. And I think they'll have a really good time on Gladiators.
Again, cuma bisa main itu soalnya.
All they need is like for the safe lane to be stable, which I'm not too sure like how this Pugna versus Phoenix matchup
Kunka
goes.
ya kan? Kunka
I
enak.
haven't seen it that much, but I'd assume like it's sort of whatever lane for both sides. And yeah, good Kunka pick. I feel like every time I see this hero and he has a decent lane, the hero is Unreal Imbus, so we'll see how it goes in the team fights.
And X is a super valuable spell here versus the Pangolier versus the
Terus sih.
Phoenix.
Perlu ban Spectre sih, Liquid.
Quinn does get his Pango. It is that backline jump to address this Pugna, make sure that he's not sustaining his cores. What happened in the last draft actually was they preemptively picked the Kunkka so that the Earth Spirit, Earth Shaker, Pango options didn't look that good. But they just went for the Pugna here as the Pango here as
Gara-gara kemarin ya, draft kemarinnya si Gaimin ya.
with the backline, but Kunkka solves it very well. The Torrent Storm is also just an excellent spell versus Lone Druid. It makes it so the bear has a very difficult time hitting heroes. Matu, you mentioned it doesn't like stuns. Does it like being pushed up in the air for the entirety of the game?
I totally agree. If I were a mid laner, I had a Kunkka, I see these 4 heroes, I think easy game, guys. Just go next. Like, job well done.
That's simple, huh? That's simple.
It looks amazing. Like, you can't just deny it. It's like
It is a pretty good Phoenix game though, right? Like I feel like Phoenix is one of the only heroes where when Kunkka presses Torrent Storm, you don't have to panic, you don't have to spam all your BKBs. If you get a good egg off, like you might be able to weather out the storm. I think this game, a lot of it is going to depend on Liquid safe lane, like how does Enchantress and Luna do. If they're able to free up the Ench a bit more and she's able to roam onto this Pangolier, I feel like they could have a lot of pressure on mid. It's very rare that you see like Gladiators
mereka
in a
pikir
position where
Kunka mid
they're
ya?
the one who's going to be forced to do things on mid, and they don't have the best supports in my opinion to respond to this pressure.
So how are we feeling about the Muerta flex to safe lane still, and then you just
Malah aku
respond with
pikir
more
dia
active
mau
support
pikul
to
di
absolve
Lina
some
mid.
of the Enchantress
Si
pressure?
Liquid nih.
It could happen, but I think most likely you should take a hero that's easier to leave alone. I think in
Lina
your
bagus
Ryzen
ya sih
game,
di
there should
sini.
be like a lot of fighting with this Kunkka
Kalian
and
buat
Pangolier
pecahin
mid. The
telur
runes are
gitu.
really important. So if you have a Morta in the safe lane, I think she's sort of easy to rotate on. I think they'll end up picking like a melee hero that makes the lane a bit more stable and they can leave it alone. Also, using like the very last pick on the support, like you have to get a lot of value out of the support, or like they have to have less
Itu
stuff
coachnya
against the
Gaimin
core
mirip
flex.
Sam
I think
Smith anjir.
probably won't happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Mirip banget sama Sam Smith anjir.
amazing. You're Like he's super good against Luna, super good against Kunkka, and Pugna, no cares. But I think gaming's biggest problem this game will be that they don't get ran over. Like if they don't get ran over, they have a fighting chance. So Morta carry doesn't quite fit that picture because
Udah ban Spectre, pick Lina, Liquid, gas.
Like the ultimate hard carry of hard carries.
So if Alec gets taken out, you don't want to run back the Bloodseeker. CK is never
Yang Smith-nya yang dulu apa yang sekarang yang dulu yang masih kurus.
Carry can you put on this safe lane for Gaiman? I mean, Spectre is an option when you're
Oh,
looking at like,
Tede.
squishy heroes
Oh,
in the
Tide.
backline, but the Tide Hunter comes out, so you can't Spectre anymore. So that's one of the only good options, also taken out.
I don't really want to see them pick it, but I know they've ran Lifestealer in situations like this. Like just someone who's going to sit there independently. I think the lane can be sort of not good versus Tide, like he's going to out-farm you a bit, but I could actually see them picking it.
I mean, that hero is on my good bad hero list.
Yeah?
I'm not quite sure, you know, it's somewhere in the middle. I'm leaning towards a bad hero.
Well, I have a more important question though. How many good heroes and bad heroes are on each side right now?
Like each side?
Yeah.
I feel like Liquid...
Just way like good.
Liquid has 3 good heroes.
Three good
Tide and
heroes.
not good heroes.
Okay.
Gaming alone would obviously good hero. Phoenix good hero. Morta good hero.
Is like Londra like a double good hero, or like how does that?
Yeah, just double it.
Okay.
Well, for the sake of it. So
Just double the overall score.
Gaming has 4 good heroes right now. Tango is not one of them.
Not two. Void, is that a good hero? Faceless versus a Tide Hunter? Do you hate it?
It could be a thing. I would like something like really faster hero, like faster paced hero.
Faster
What's
pace.
left in the pool right now with the Alchemist, Terrorblade taken out? The Spectre, I feel, is not really a solution versus a Tide Hunter.
I feel like Curtis is more like qualified for this question, having coached Tundra.
I honestly, without
like
the,
just
without
being
the
amazing.
heroes,
Jagger?
without the heroes, I can't function. But honestly,
Jagger menang lawan tapi ada counter. Nah,
can hold the safe
that's
versus
bad.
Tide Hunter. Like I just don't want them to feel like they're collapsing to this pressure.
Dia mau yang
Generally,
fast
the picks
pace
of Tide Hunter, traditional like Ursa, Slark.
Ursa.
These heroes,
Ursa seems
Tide Hunter
nice.
doesn't have a bad lane, and they have a Pugna as well versus Phoenix. So I feel like they're a bit sus right now. I think you just need to pick something that's stable in the lane that will sit there and allow you to go pressure.
Oh,
mid,
Razor.
and mid. Oh.
That's a fast hero. Let's go. I like that.
I mean, for sure, this hero has eventual pressure on the Tide Hunter. Like, if you find that you can leave him alone, you think that they won't rotate on him, I could see the Razor work out really well.
He's a bad hero, but he's really...
It's a bad hero?
Yeah, he's a bad... or let's say he's a bad hero, but he looks amazing this game. To be fair, you know?
This
bad
is a
heroes,
really good Razor game.
Yeah, it's like bad heroes can turn into amazing heroes given the right game.
And I think if we see the re-emergence of the old school like BKB refresher build on this Razor, they could play on a very early timing and they could handle the threat of the Luna, and he can outfight the Kunkka with the Torrent Storm and the boat debuff. But he's going to have to make sure to just win that lane. If the safe lane loses in any way, if there's any kind of sneaky twin gate rotation, it could be scary for a Gaiman.
Lone-nya sih.
Alrighty.
Lone
Well,
serem
we're
gitu.
at our drafts now. Thank you guys so much for all of your information for the good, bad hero rankings. But we're going to hear from the Gaming Gladiators coach himself.
Hello, everybody. I am here with CY from Gaming Gladiators. Give it up for the boys!
Ya kan? Agak mirip kan?
You see this, sir? I have
Mirip kan
questions
sama
here.
Sam Smith kan?
They're all gone after I see that last pick Razor going down to the end of the reserve time. As Matu said on the panel, garbage hero, but pretty good this game. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I feel pretty good about it. Like, sometimes you can't fix, like, it's a good lane against Tide, also historically. Sometimes you can't fix these kind of problems with bad heroes. So I think Razor is an okay hero. It's not an OP hero by any means, but if Tide has a really bad game, I think it's pretty good for us.
All right, as Trent likes to say in the back, whenever he sees you pick Lone Druid, this is our they don't want to lose hero. Is that how you guys are kind of feeling in this draft?
Lone Druid is just kind of like, Ace feels it. He feels he's going to own with it, so we trust him.
Okay, well, I'm sure the team trusts themselves very much as well. This might be the last time that we get to talk to you. I hope not, though. So any words out there? I'm not, come on, I'm just saying. Any words out there to the fans?
This won't be the last time.
It better not be. Let's go.
Better not be.
As we take it with our casters.
It better not be.
I hope it won't be the last time we see CY.
Menyapa dengan tidur halo Kizu, welcome to the stream.
Shame to see the most dominant team of this season go down in a 0-2 fashion, right, Avery?
It depends who you ask, but I tend to agree, yeah.
I think the Liquid fans behind
What?
me wouldn't mind.
What the fuck did I see?
Liquid fans in this arena right now, so they would definitely.
Hey, Hunters, you mess with my hero? Hey, what the fuck? Wait. I need to see this. Why AM by M? The fuck? No. Ini tidak bisa membuat saya tidur dengan tenang, Cok. Offline AM? What the fuck?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. The seeds of fortune.
Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lawannya nggak ada magic-magicnya. What?
Radiant's middle tower is taking a drubbing.
Huh?
Boy,
You
Dire's
mess with
bottom
my
tower
hero, my friend?
is taking a beating.
The fuck is this? I don't accept this.
Clear sailing now.
Malah numbal.
Are you even trying?
Oh, okay. Report scam stream. Wait, yeah, wait. Nggak ada ini. What the fuck is this, man?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bro.
For Liquid to play going into that like 5 to 10 minute mark. If they get a lot of XP on Ace here, I
Udah
can see
2-0
what they
aja,
can
Cok.
get out, particularly off a rotation from the Pangolier mid. If Quinn gets some runes, it's going to help accelerate these side lanes a lot. That's normally what they look to do with the Pango.
Tuh, sekarang Kunka nggak main bottle anjir.
If he dodges the torrent, he gets the second water rune. So that is a big buff for him. Almost losing his courier, but it's
Udah
fine.
2-2. Reward streamer.
Does mean he misses out on one CS there, but probably worth it, seeing as the Kunkka versus melee matchup is usually a bit of a game of sustain.
Okay, surely if Gaming go out, not that I'm cursing them.
No, of course not. Got a little bit of fight in top lane first.
If he goes out on Pango of all heroes,
you know, Quinn.
Problem is, who die?
Yeah, I can assure everybody I will never let him live that down personally. It'll be interesting to watch, but so far
Yang
he's
mati
doing quite well.
deracuk sama Phoenix. Oh. Lah, satu lane dong.
Public humiliation may be too much to bear.
Never underestimate it. He's looking to punish Nisha for the lack of regen. Damn, this is where you wish you could just like roam mid early, but these silings are way too important as Zai getting pushed back again. He's had to buy his own salve. So he's getting a lot of regen abused on this lane, and while that lane looked great for them at the start, this is where that Razor matchup just becomes incredibly painful as you try and get to a ring of health. Boots first. I mean, it's great for dealing with the, not feeding away kills to the Razor. It's not great for staying on the lane.
The Racuk.
So Liquid running into some regen problems on these lanes as the war of attrition heats up. Gaming starting to strike back.
You know, I want to talk about the versatility of roles here for Liquid. They, you talked about the Pugna, they swapped it between 4 and 5 this game, but also the Kunkka, right? 3 position for Zai last game, now running mid.
Lol dikasih 2 tango.
That gives Liquid,
Dracuk dikasih 2 tango langsung anjir.
that kind of versatility in the draft. Do you
Lol
feel like it gave
Phoenix.
them an edge somewhere?
But I think it's what Blitz talked about. Like the versatility helps you the most in the draft, right? You get to hold these flexes till later, and you can see more lane setups. You're not going to get punished in matchups as hard. You make sure you're winning at least 1.5 or 2 out of the 3 lanes, so you don't get run over. I think that's a big core component that Liquid had to figure out over the course of the year playing against Gaming and all.
Bentar lagi expired lagi tanggonya. Lagi tiba-tiba dikasih Nobar TI lo, halo, accessible, welcome to the stream.
So if you go even in that phase as Liquid and you get into that mid game like we saw last time.
Tadi Owe nonton ini lo. Ini punya match siapa lo? Lu lihat ini anti match lo. One live stream besok ya. Lu lihat ini anti match lo.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Damn, bro. Baru punya lo.
Oh, they will rue this
Wouldn't
day.
be surprised to see them try and get a cheeky kill with this boat.
And Quinn, even if he does get it off from
Looking for it just out of range. Be decent tower damage. And again, 6-minute power.
Oh,
no way
bye-bye Queen.
pull him back in with the Decrepify, healthy amount of burst magic damage. They need the physical swing in from Nisha, and that's going to be denied for the Fire Spirits for now. Nisha can't get swing in.
No,
And
Queen
thanks to
masih hidup
Tofu
anjir.
making his rotation out makes things a little awkward for Liquid.
Quinn just has no resources here. This is a 3-man rotation for Gaming without any mana.
Hari ini
on the
plus
Pango.
1
You just
minus
can't take
lo,
the fight.
belum main lo.
It'll be Arcane Rune into Nisha's pocket, a very nice one to pick up here.
Tadi siang internet error lo, Owe tidur lah.
He will maybe die for it. No, the Lotus is actually what keeps him alive here. Ace also has to rotate back because Boxy was cutting through the river with the other support of Insania.
This is where that solo matchup just, it's a nightmare, right? There's not many carries you can stand one-on-one against Lone Druid. You need a very specific one. And even in these situations, he can get his XP and eventually retreat the jungle. He's going to be happy. But I do expect both these silence to kind of open up for Gaming over the next few minutes here. This 5 to 10 period is where they become a big nuisance unless you're bringing numbers to combat it. We see Zai, he's still continuing to struggle in this Razor matchup. I mean, he's just hoping he has some ancient stacks or something to fall back on at this point. It's not going to be one of those high lanes where you get a hammer and just start beating down the tower. This
First
will be the
rotation coming out from Liquid, double supports, but at the same time from behind, there is going to be this Pango showing up. If they can finish off Duraccio, it'd be worth it, but they can't quite get him. He's hidden away into the trees.
No.
Duraccio's out of sight, and now Zai gets bumped back. He goes for Insania instead, an easier kill for sure, and Duraccio is the one to claim the turnaround kill.
It's just such a hard kill. Even with all the supports coming bottom for Liquid, this race is way too tanky. I do like the idea though, right? You want to bail out these side lanes in the one-on-one matchup by just bringing numbers, outnumber the core, create a situation where if you get the big kill on these tanky boys, you get so much XP back.
Yeah, so they make a move bottom, and if that doesn't work, make the move on top with Nisha. And Ace doesn't have level 6, so he's pretty squishy once caught by some disables.
This is exactly what you want to do.
Dapat core punya lo.
You can leave the lane. Now you can leave Mickey top for some solo XP. He'll catch back up, right? And suddenly he doesn't have this lone Drew pestering him or pushing the tower. Meanwhile, you can just get Boxy room mid. I like these rotations from Liquid. It's giving their cores a lot more breathing room in this early game. And nullifying what Gaming want to do, which is isolate the one-on-ones here.
It does come at a cost, though, because it means they give up control of the power roots, right? And Quinn...
Hayya, Razor open ulti buat apa lo?
Other ones, like an Arcane Room, but it is still something to note that Quinn's rotation is going to be all the more powerful.
Yeah, but look at this. Ace round 2.
Ace hit his level 6, but chose not to level up his ultimate. He's doing a lot of damage. He has to back away. 1 versus 3. Now they know the rotation is coming in from Quinn. He's to get it with the swashbuckle. Oh, clips Nisha, not quite finishing up Mickey.
Buat nge-farm lo.
Instead, deep in though,
Courier spotted, and they know Nisha is still trying to get out of here. Unfortunately, he's just a bit too quick for Quinn.
Muradi.
Dead shot almost hit Mickey as well.
Lone route-nya Muradi, Cok. Kenapa Radi?
Into a route on the safe lane. Gaming, they read that pretty damn well. The move from Liquid, if you get another kill on Ace there, he has no resummon. He's completely out of the game for a minute. So that is a lone druid you have to protect. You have to smoke them. Make sure Ace can get this tower early. This is the game plan. Let him bulldoze every objective on the map, uncontested, because the Tide Hunter is too poor to contest. If you set that situation up for Ace, he's probably going to run away with it. That's what they're trying to create as the Pine Cone will send a siege shot.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. It is.
You waited all year to hear that one, yeah. Maybe.
Dreams do come true here at TI.
Sometimes.
Nighttime is about to finish up, so that, a little bit of strength they get from the Luna is about to go away. Gaming Gladiators also probably feeling pretty confident with the Pango pretty well on.
Look at these stacks down here. This is an unconventional place to have this many stacks.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I mean, you wish you were an Alchemist right here, but look at another round.
There is plenty of stacks.
Ratio.
Liquid jungle, their triangle, they also have some, which is something Zai is probably going to need. Or maybe not Zai at all. Maybe Nisha's going to take it, speed along to that Aghanim step. They're not taking a pit stop for the blade mail, which we've seen so much of. Why do you think that is?
It's just not a great blade mail, right? You can't really reflect anything into this Pango that reliably. The lone druid doesn't care. The bear's just healing. The Razor one's okay, but Razor's a fast BKB hero, so it's not necessarily that good for that long in the early game. I kind of agree here. It doesn't strike me as a blade mail game, but it is just a well-rounded hero, or well-rounded item on the hero. Fast Torrent Storm could be interesting. You're not going to buy BKB on lone druid. And if you catch the Pango, he also doesn't buy one. So in theory, this Torrent Storm can do some work in the early fights, help you defend towers against the lone druid push as well. It's also an item that can sometimes catch the backline, right? You're looking at a Morta Phoenix lineup. If you can catch these two supports back there and take them out of the fight, even with a single Torrent.
Oh, they cut it just before the Rolling Thunder gets off, but still, saved by the silence from Tofu, and they could still try and chase down Nisha here. Hit him with the dead shot, push him into the bear. The phase boots chasing after him, slow him down, immediately got entangled, but he did have that illusion rune. Quickly dispels that. Rolling Thunder on its way, the big ball. It's Nisha once, twice. Ravage though on the side though. No follow up to this Rolling Thunder.
Pangonya.
He left alone now as he's caught in the
Bye-bye Pango Queen.
forever, and he's pulled back into his death.
Aduh, dapat 2 core, Cok.
See, he's just going to push up here and give him the vision and maybe just
Dapat
push him
2
to the
core,
tower.
coy.
That's how much firepower they have, but that is a well-used Ravage from Zai. Very happy to clean up Ace with his start right. He gets the best start for Gaming, gets the kill with the worst start from Liquid. It's a massive golden XP swing here. And again, Gaming just overextending a little bit. They thought they were the ones that connecting, but Liquid are happy to bring everybody to these tower defense fights, particularly for this tier 1 mid. Because if Gaming get that tower, it opens up a lot of the map for the lone druid to
Free
occupy.
tower.
He makes that rotation and it fails. Ace gets shut down again on a big objective.
Oh, 2-0 loh.
You have the Luna and the Kunkka leading the pack, which is exactly where you want to be. Ready to take the defensive fights, continue
Capek-capek ditolong malah menyerahkan nyawa Crybaby. Oh, Crybaby.
do it game 1, right? And that was with a much worse start. Here he's leading already pretty early in the game. He has Mask of Madness, he has stacks waiting for him.
I like that. Uses his own illusions to cut the midway, pull it to himself in a safer part of the
Actually,
map.
aku nggak paham sih kenapa sih
Try and catch him with this 3-man smoke of Gaming
Lone
Gladiators.
Moradi.
Still no defusal on the Pango.
I don't think it's a good item.
A little limited. You get stuck in these long fights versus the boat run, right? That's been one of the biggest problems here. Like, how are you dealing with the damage? Game 1, you had a Reaper to just cut through it before it did its work, but here, this is a very deep smoke, very important smoke for Gaming if they can hit this. They are a little too slow.
Oh, Mickey might walk back into
Or
it
are they?
here.
The greed.
Perfect opportunity. Mask of Madness
Ah,
coming up, but
Mike.
cannot get
Wrong
far
move,
away
Mike.
in time. The dead shot.
Tadi Mike-nya udah bener, coba mundur itu.
Not even needing the Rolling Thunder to hit a few times. And Dyrachyo already made this rotation
Menyiapkan
over,
ini,
so
what the
kinda
fuck?
similar to the move that
Aku
Liquid
ya.
did earlier with Zai. They came in with Ravage. They immediately pushed the tower. It looks like Gaming Gladiators can exert some pressure of their own.
Patience pays off there. Mickey just wanted one more Ancient stack, and I'll pay the price. Also, I think the itemization on Gaming, it's interesting, because you went this Midas on Dyrachyo. Yeah. So this is, you know,
Ah, no, Queen.
early fights. Another boat on Quinn with Decrepit.
Why you fit Queen?
See you later.
There's a good reason for the Torrent Storm there as well, I guess. When you have a Pugna amping up magic damage, that Torrent Storm can actually do a lot.
turning this hero into a burst hero. Yeah.
Where you fit Queen.
On the Razor, and they're
The
going
fuck Queen?
Radiance on the Lone Druid for Ace.
Okay.
So this is a classic bear build going back to, what is it, TI3, TI4. It's very good at the farm acceleration. It'll clear a lot of the map.
Iya itu dulu kan yang bagus. Lon
It's okay
Pradik.
in the fight here too, right? The one downside is you get like a fast pipe on Zai or something, you're going to mitigate some of it. We'll see what they decide to do with the timing, because that's going to be a big one for gaming. You get this Radiance on the Lone Druid, you want to take the fights
Tapi emang bagus sih sini
and
Radit.
get that going, as well as just clearing out more of the map. That tier 1 being up for Liquid is still a big deal. We'll see how much.
I don't know. Aku kurang suka aja dibikin Radit di sini.
Putting everything into this bear and hoping it wins them that big fight with the Radiance burn. Also, AoE miss chance for the egg.
Yeah.
Never bad. The old Kuroki Radiance coming into play here.
He's going to get that Radiance pretty damn quickly. Liquid seem more than content. I mean, they're probably looking at this as a repeat of
William dukung siapa?
where they just sit back eventually. That Luna is
Wilmut
gonna get
ya,
to a
Wilmut.
point where she can carry the game, but it does feel like Gaming
Wilmut.
Gladiators, with the itemization you pointed out, they're definitely playing to scale better than they did in Game 1, right?
Yeah, a bit more security. That's what I feel about it. Like, this is not just all in. Now, they can hit that really strong timing push around the BKB on Razor and the Radiance.
Oh,
on
mati
Drew,
nih
but
Rajor.
it's not like they completely fall off after that. As double damage on Nisha, prompting a
Dukung
Liquid
Nick
smoke
mah.
for the Razor down here with the duo that has bursted cores the whole game.
Wilmut.
Gonna be an awkward angle.
Oh, di Ratio die. Bye-bye.
Magic damage coming in, it's too much.
Man, this single combination between the decrep and all the magic damage, very effective, very efficient.
Punch
on the map,
Wilmut.
not committing numbers for these ganks. Look for Mickey mid, get some mana burn. Quinn again diving very deep.
Rolling Thunder gets off, but he's already at half health.
Quinn?
He's going to have to run away, especially with Nisha showing himself on a double damage. Nice dead shot to keep him away. They want to make sure the X marks the spot, doesn't hit that Pango, and get him pulled back after the Rolling Thunder. Instead it hits Celery, but he immediately pops the Supernova, and they're actually kind of in a bad position here. The Torrent Storm does well. That's going to help. Dead shot.
Oh,
Puts
no.
him back into the silence. Quinn's trying to limp away. That double damage is dangerous, but he doesn't have the attack speed to get the swing in.
They got tier 2, I think.
Makes a backswing, beautiful calling around the egg. That combination is deadly with the attack speed slow and Radiance
That's fine,
right on time.
I guess.
16 minutes here. This is really damn fast. They gave him so much ancient priority around that triangle. It's go time for Ace. He needs to take this game over in the next few minutes.
Oh, the sentry in the corner. Boxy, no doubt he doesn't know exactly where that ward is. He's going to try and get out of the way, but the Plasma Field nicks him, and the Radiance will burn him down.
And that's a 3x streak, so more gold into Ace's pocket. Already back up to 1,000 directly after that reveal. That's just not a fight Liquid were willing to take, because the Tidehunter was also taking a tier 2 bottom.
Oh, wow.
Zai is your biggest team fight presence right now with Blink, Meteor, Hammer, Ravage. He took a tier 2 bottom. He's really happy about that. You get it for free, but
Yes,
not if you're giving
that's
it
why.
on the river at the same time. And remember, a lot
Itu
of this game
bagus
to me is
dapat
about
tier double.
the Lone Druid pace
Ah,
versus
fuck.
like Tidehunter
Blink.
taking the fights.
Blink gets disabled. He is
Oh.
tanky, though. Making his way back to the tier 2. Nisha's here on top of that one. He's going to throw it.
Oh!
What a hit! What a big with the follow-up of the Boney. Isn't enough burst damage, though. It's not quite enough. They need a little bit more. The heals start coming in on Nisha. They prioritize keeping people alive while Zai jumps forward to try and finish up this bear. And the bigger bear, Quinn, rolling interception, trying to stop these heroes from pushing in, but they kill the bear and the big one, and they both go down together. Gaming Gladiators will lose both their supports and this Lone Druid that they have funneled so much gold into.
That was your big Lone Druid Radiance fight, and it went horribly wrong as Zai just ravages your entire team into the boat in the Torrent Storm. Look at the damage output from this Kunkka right now. You were asking what that
Gila,
Torrent Storm
tadi
can do. That
ravage-nya
is
bagus
exactly what
banget.
it can do. Send you back to your fountain packing.
Ravage-nya
As the
cakep banget,
damage
Cok.
is just ramping up way too fast here for Liquid, and normally this is where gaming, they'd have a bunch of sustain, they'd have a Sunray, they'd have this big Lone Druid who's healing off, dealing damage to
Nih,
heroes.
Ravage-nya cakep banget anjir.
The sustain is not nearly enough right now as you just walk into a hammer. This hammer also hit on 3 plus a bear, by the way. That is some insane value coming out from Zai, who just walks it off and says, all right, team, I set the plate. Come and feast.
I love the fact that he jumps back in. Bold, knowing the fact that, you know, once he hits him with that anchor smash on the Lone Druid, it really doesn't do
Gol
that much
ombak sama kapal.
to the Tidehunter anyway.
Ih, Cok.
Another reason to go this Radiance build, right? Then maybe you don't care about the Anchor Smash as much. You have a bunch of bonus damage on the bear, and you get this burn going through.
Yep.
It's one of those matchups that's been played for a very long time. So far, I feel like Zai is doing so much with the start he's had to deal with. He's paid it back already. Itemization Early blink, doing some work. As Gaming will continue to look for this BKB
2-0 sih kayaknya sih.
just man up in the fight. You know, that fight might be
Razornya udah nggak main.
is able to commit there, be in that engagement. And
Harusnya dia shining di awal.
it's just how Razor functions. You need BKB to go into this fight. Otherwise, you're just stuck on the Torrent Storm with everybody else.
Gaming Gladiators not shying away from aggression, though. Now that the Ravage Zon's cooldown, they continue to play on the same part of the map that they're trying that last fight into.
Ini gimana ya, mau main cepet tapi laningnya kalah.
They're still quite strong at fighting around Ace.
Support Phoenix sih, iya.
A defensive egg, baiting some Liquid heroes in, you get a calling around it, somebody gets dead shotted, somebody else is rooted or ward. There's a lot of teamfight disruption pre-BKB that Liquid has to deal with, particularly on their two big beefy frontliners. This Sunray plus the Radiance burn, it's gonna
Oh, udah Ravage lagi, Ravage udah up lagi.
and the mana burn. This was a smart push, and you're still looking for Roshan in this game. That's the biggest objective for Gaming to throw on this type of group up push lineup. When you take that and what you do with it, vital to your game plan here as the Liquid ball continues to grow. And of course, Mikke is just having a free-for-all on these Ancients, man. He's continuing to climb the levels. Level 16 on this Luna right now, 3 ahead of the next on Gaming. That is the power of Ancient camps and stacking them.
Yeah, that one death early on. The only kind of action he's really had to worry about Duracho again. This is the second time in this series that he's picked up his BKB and immediately has to use it defensively.
It's just not what you want.
Sayang banget ya.
Trying to jump onto Quinn once again. The X stops the rolling thunder. The burst magic damage is so good against this Mango. They have just enough disables and just enough magic damage to finish him off.
That was perfectly executed. You cannot ask for any better
Gila.
next Torrent.
Lagi-lagi Queen mati lagi ya. Sayang banget sih, 9 second BKB-nya kepake buat defensif gitu. Sayang banget. 9 second BKB loh. BKB yang anget-angetnya loh. Sayang banget sih.
And Liquid, it felt like that Ravage fight earlier. Gaming Gladiators, if they don't lose that fight, they take a tier 2. Maybe they could take the Roshan after taking that tier 2, but now it's switched over to the Radiant side here, and Liquid had that lane pushed in. They're going to take full advantage of it, and Gaming Gladiators, they know what's going on, but with Quinn dead, they just can't get there in time, not with their full force.
Not a Roshan you wanted to give up if you're gaming with this lone true timing. One Mikke is happy to take a bit easier this time, claiming that Aegis.
Pick early strat tapi early-nya nggak nge-storm sisa sih. Kalah sih Gaming sih. Udah all in sampai ready juga kan.
Unfortunate bit of RNG there. I think Gaming Gladiators would have definitely wanted the Phoenix.
Kayak Radi tuh mesti buat ngebantu banget, Cok. Mana lawannya Luna? Iya.
Start taking more tier 2 towers. We'll see how bold they are when it comes to hitting the early high ground.
Salah satu fast farmer. Betul, fast banget, Cok. Nobar film apa ini, Bang? Film Fast and Furious ini. Halo Holland, welcome to stream. Oh, Zootopia ini, Zootopia. Banyak animalnya nih. Ke-7, 63%. Furian Furious. Di lens ya. Di lens bagus sih, di lens. Buat kabut ya. Oh. Udah gak bisa ngapa-ngapain, Cok. Gak ada perlawanan balik buat defense saat.
It is all the more dangerous once your tier 3 is down and you start getting those bouncing glaives into play.
Iya. Oh, Diracio. Oh. Oh, Kunkah keluarkan skillmu. Oh, nggak sempat keluar ombak-ombaknya.
He's going to come back and there's nobody left alive. No support whatsoever of Liquid. They are absolutely going to be losing 4 here. And absolutely nothing claimed on the side of Liquid. What a
Kunkahnya sih. Kunkahnya nggak ada BKB. Iya. Kunkahnya nggak ada BKB sih.
I mean, Nisha just beat
Langsung
you
kena
far
wipe
out,
out anjir
Ended
Will.
up in their base almost on the high ground.
Ada pot, ada masih bisa comeback, masih bisa comeback.
There's a single 4-staff on Liquid, that's pretty much it. And you don't have a BKB on Kunkka, so you can't just man up in the front line and all this AoE control. Especially when that bear just starts running at you.
That is a nasty combo, though. The calling on top of the harpoon, so Nisha really just couldn't get much off there.
I mean, he has Arcane Rune here, so he's like, I want to fight, but yeah, Harpoon
Iya.
drags him in there, he can't even move. That just sets the whole fight up. I thought this Rolling Thunder was a bit early, but of course, no BKB, you can just fully commit, and then you're all clumped
Got a
on the choke
BKB,
point.
so
Just a disaster on the back line for Box. He can't reposition. That's just an easy fight cleanup for the Pangolier with an Ags delivered at the right time in this game, giving you the extra damage. And all of a
item
sudden,
Kunkka sekarang emang apa aja?
That's like
lot
a
of wind out of
4K
your
network
sails.
swing.
Yeah,
That
was
is
big. Gaming have a lead, in fact, at this point right now. 1K up after that failed push attempt.
Yeah.
That's a big one to give away. This is a lineup that, remember, Gaming were itemizing and building to scale. This is a Razor that can be 5-6 slot in this game and be a massive threat. And you're still playing pretty much a
Razor
4
6
damage
slot,
lineup if you're Liquid.
big
It's
threat.
all in on
You
the
sure?
So
You
if you
sure,
have
buddy?
anti-carry heroes in this Razor, in this
Luna
Warrior
6
throwing
slot lah.
out, Pangolier disarm you, whatever it is.
Masa sih?
Not as easy as last game for Mickey to just 1v5 here.
We've also hit, I think, one of the
Masa
biggest,
Razor 6 slot big threat?
spikes when it comes to lone druid power. 25 minutes.
Luna 6 slot gak sih yang big threat mah? Bagi mereka?
With double the effectiveness, you get a huge boost in armor for yourself and your bear. That Luna is not going to be able to deal with the bear nearly as well as she was just 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Things are aligning really well for Ace. I mean, he is still gigantic in this game, right? In the
Hero mana yang 6 slot nggak threat? Tapi kalau late game Luna versus apa namanya? Lawan Razor 6 slot menang Luna gak sih? Oh, gak ada yang go. Ayo, Blink Ravage, ayo. Dot damage. Iya sih. Oh no, Mickey. Oh shit, man.
The carry of Liquid is dead for 60 seconds, and they're on the run now. 2 dead. Game and Gladiators.
Harpunnya boleh sih. Harpunnya impactnya gede sih di sini sih.
Man, sometimes Ace's positioning on these team fights, he just comes out of nowhere. You don't expect him. He just cleans it up. You think you're okay. You get in one bad trade, and suddenly Luna off the map for 50 seconds here. Another fight where Mickey just doesn't get to show the true power of his hero right now with full Hurricane Pike BKB Eclipse. Just gets the damage pumped into Dyrachyo, and I mean, Dyrachyo doesn't care, right?
Comeback
He knows he has
history
other
yoi.
resources in this lineup. As long as he soaks up the Luna BKB.
Tapi dari tadi belum war Ravage ini sih, Poriski. Masih bisa sih.
When was the last one, right? It feels like that Ravage
Iya,
was the last time
Ravage udah lama banget.
Yep. We haven't seen one for a while, and the opening just hasn't been there.
Belum
I mean, you don't get that kind of hard initiation. We saw
Gatekeeper nah, men. Belum war Ravage tuh, sampai dimention nama casternya tuh. High-groundnya GG kuat sih. Sama-sama kuat sih high-groundnya. Goku LGD menuju masa depan gak menghilang. Dan kalau mau main lama udah jelas beruang lebih kuat. Masa sih? Main lama bukannya Luna lebih kuat ya? Lon bukannya hero early ya?
He's incredibly tanky in these engagements.
Yeah, 2 Wraith Bands before that fight. After it, he's now got 4.
Demi jet po.
Big armor upgrade. 27 armor now on the bear, and his hero has 25. So
Menurutku Lon itu hero yang kalau nggak nge-stomp kurang. Beruang gede po, potensinya kan 12 slot. Ah iya sih. Gede banget sih, lumayan sih. Tapi butuh duit juga ngap gitu-gitu ngap. 12 slot bukan nggak pakai duit ngap. Ada taruhannya kagak bang? Taruhan apaan cok? Oh push nih, high ground. Langsung di klik. Oh tapi dari ini ya, dipotong creepnya.
Gaming, they're smoked. They wanted the flank, wanted the backstab that push from Liquid. You know if they get on the back line, they're happy with the fight. You take this Pugna and Ench out. Duracho, he is just gonna run in. He does not give a damn. Or does he?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Telur. Oh Duracho. Alah war 5 ini. Udah game 3 ini.
Liquid, another aggressive engagement
Udah nih
from
game
them,
5 ini.
another utter disaster.
Game 5, game 3.
They don't need the Razor to hit high ground. The
Game
Bear
3
is
ini.
coming to clean house.
Udah.
Oh, he's coming. That is just a clump that you did not want to have happen there. You're stuck in the calling, stuck in the Sunray, stuck in the A.
Jadi taruhan tim yang menang, mana ada cok juda-judi.
Choke points have been a nightmare for Liquid.
Belum lagi Razor kalau udah dapat item winning condition. Malah aku sebenarnya nggak begitu suka Razor sih di mau di draft apapun. Aku nggak merasa Razor tuh perlu di pick gitu aja. Entah kenapa ya, aku nggak pernah ngerasa oh ini Razor cocok di draft ini, nggak pernah aja. Apa mungkin karena aku jarang main Razor aja? Main sih bisa, main juga pernah, tapi nggak begitu terpikirkan gitu, kecuali disuruh pick gitu. Atau waktu itu sempet meta banget, nah itu baru pick gitu. Udah mulai susah nih Liquid. Iya, ini barusan war 5 lawan 5 nya kalah cowok. Mereka dapat high ground loh padahal loh. Tapi tim Spirit yang terkuat ya sekarang. Iya, tim Spirit. So, sejauh ini belum terkalahkan. Cuman kalah sekali kemarin di lawan VP. Lawan VP kalah 1 kali doang. Setelah itu 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 anjir. Tim Spirit.
This is why this type of lineup for gaming scales a lot harder into the late game than the previous one.
OTW sekali lonnya. Tebel-tebel udah ini. Mau dibunuh pakai apa, Cok? Statusnya tebel anjir.
And potentially 2 bears if Ace can stay alive, but so far they have not been close to jumping him and killing him.
Role-nya Razor offline sekarang, Bo. Offline offensif. Nah, masalahnya ini Razor core, Razor carry. Itu lone yang offline justru. Ini safe lane Razor. Di Ratio safe lane.
It seems like Gaming Gladiators are aware of this situation. They are going to be pushing it.
It's all on Zai. You need a good rabbit jump on support.
And he gets the creep initiation. It's just the Phoenix and maybe that low druid.
Oh shit.
Now comes the Rolling Thunder. Yeah, the A dies, but are you going to be able to fight this one? Once again, they're trying to kite out this BKB of Mickey. Dorachio's in deep though, wanting to make use of this Aegis. Clear space for Preston.
That's huge. That's huge, my friend. That's huge. Oh, Ace mati kah? Oh, Mike. Gila, disedotin boxy terus, Cok. Oh shit. Ih, padahal tadi udah bagus banget. Nishanya nggak mau bikin BKB ya? Kenapa ya?
I mean, honestly, a pretty damn good fight for Liquid.
Iya.
Back off the Celery Phoenix. Egg went off, so that engagement started off pretty rough. You have to
tapi ujungnya beruang yang farming kan, iya.
And yeah, you get the Aegis off the Duracho, so you limit.
Tapi networknya sama sih sekarang.
Ace going down as well. Big pickup there. He did not have a resummon to take the longer end of that fight. And you got to remember, you're down to 10 or 12k going into this, right? It's just all Kunkka in that engagement. Torrent Storm did mad work.
Problem's going to be is this fight, the end result is not good enough for Liquid to change the narrative of this game. Gaming Gladiators are still going to hold a pretty decent lead here and still have pretty good map control off of just having enough heroes up. Duracho, I mean, great Torrent Storm, better Tidal Wave. I mean, that was a sick combination.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn also gets cheese off there, right? If he gets maybe hit by one more of those torrents and goes down.
Gila, itu kalau dia ulti loan-nya 3.900, Cok. Itu baru loan-nya anjir. Dia nge-hit loan 3.900, masih ada beruang yang nge-hit-hitin anjir.
we're not at the Roche in time. You'd rather fight here than at your base, right?
Yeah.
Tapi udah mulai kelihatan sih. Liquid masih bisa menang.
So even if you do lose that fight, it's not going to be able to take your buildings immediately. All they lost was a tier 2, but Gaming Gladiators still have the 13k gold
buat
lead, and
beruang
now
ya.
they have the Aya Scotty. They didn't have that one in the last team fight. That bear has become significantly tankier and much worse for the Luna to deal with.
Got 5,000 HP with 26 armor here.
Oh yeah.
He's going to harpoon you, he's going to slow you, he's going to provide the mischance. This is the lone druid problem right now. Do you try and
Lone-nya kalau bash udah nggak bisa dihitung nggak sih? Besok udah grand final ya? Betul. Senin jam 4.
We're still looking for the next item for Mickey, by the way. This has been about 10 to 12 minutes. He's trying to build this butterfly. He is struggling.
Yeah, he is. At this
Nanti nih jam 6 ya. LGD lawan Team Spirit.
Gaming Gladiators pretty quickly. Butterfly is here though, so they have a window perhaps where the evasion can come into play.
Need to make sure the positioning is on point here when you jump with the Ravage, because the chain stun limitation is also something that's hurting Liquid on these goes. Like we saw there, they got Mega off, because what's your chain stun off Zai's jump? It's potentially a Torrent if you can line it up, and a Lucent Beam. That's it.
Well, there's a little bit more chance of chaining that stuns with a refresher done for the Kunkka. So we're going to have double Torrent Storms going on.
That's one way to control the fight. If you get to the other side
Refresher.
of the BKB, there's not much else outside of the Rolling Thunder, of course. That's going to save these heroes in double Torrent Storm. Cannot underestimate it, but you need
Butter
to make
versus
sure Mickey
butter
is
nih.
up, right? You need to align the control with the damage here for Liquid. Protect Mickey, get him to a point in the fight where the Torrent Storm and the Ravage are controlling.
Dia tidak memilih untuk mengcounter butter musuh, tapi lebih kayak fuck it. Lu butter, owe butter. Ayo kita ngadu mischance.
Of course, if you can find the supports, that's a big ticket as well. Taking this Mortar or Phoenix out of the fight opens it up a lot, especially when you know Celery does not have buyback here for 4 more minutes.
Kurang lebih gitu ya. Oh, mau fight di bawah nih. Mau diserang dari belakang, cok.
Nisha shows on a D-ward off the gate, so Gaming are aware Liquid are in the...
Sebelum menyerang di nambah lagi missions.
Triple 4-staff for Liquid, so they have some kiting potential.
Yes.
Gonna need it.
If they know that, hey, hit the high ground really, really quickly, and you can get some buildings before they can TP back in time. The range bear is the first to fall.
Just let the bear do the dirty
Oh,
work
bear.
here. Yep.
Oh, bear.
The bear
Bear?
is perhaps expendable. Though it does give up 300 gold. They've got a second one. This is a little bit of a dangerous point, though. Worst part would be losing your bear a second time, and then there goes 20,000 of your net worth.
Iya.
Can't siege. Upside of taking that fight outside the Roche pit as well, right? You got rid of this Mega Aegis period that would have caused you some high ground potential.
Gas fight gak sih?
We should mention, however, that Tofu
Gas fight gak sih?
full BKB, so he has started his path towards true 4th core status.
Gas fight gak sih? Itu masalahnya supportnya Liquid juga enak buat ngebunuh beruang sih, si Enchantress ya.
Having a carry Morta in your pocket, not too shabby.
Certainly helps.
Free hit beruang gitu.
He's like 2k behind Zai here.
Zai, who's about to complete a Shiva's here pretty soon, so.
Oh, Shiva,
Get some,
nice.
attack speed slow on their own side.
It's a very valuable Shiva's game. He's gonna buy out for it. Martyr's played as well. Tide very tanky right now,
Oh,
but
Lunanya nggak jadi satanik, cok. Dia pilih Silver Edge. Beruang lawan Luna Shirt menang siapa ya? Karena ada evasion.
How do you feel like this Razor scales? I'm looking at that level 25 talent.
I don't know.
That looks so scared. He starts taking away attack speed too.
I think he's scaling like a beast in this game. Yeah. There is not a lot to deter him. If your Luna were ahead and can
Susah sih Lunanya sih.
like Daedalus, Refresher,
Berarti Luna ini lawan Retro Ruang iya.
you can take that type of fight right with multiple 4-staffs kiting out the
Dia nggak jadi ini gara-gara ada Skadi sih kayaknya sih. Ataniknya tuh. Kayak nggak guna nanti dia. Ujungnya kan dia digaruk-garukin terus sama si beruang. Lifestealnya nggak maksimal. Makanya makin late makin susah di PSD tim Liquid.
And both these frontliners, they just need better items to be able to sustain the damage. So you're not ever reflecting Link in this game.
Wih, santai bro. Kamu melupakan ini. Kamu melupakan the power of ini, Enchantress. Panah-panah pelangi, bro. Sakit, cok. Warna-warna pelangi, cok. Santai. Percaya dengan damage dari pelangi-pelangi ini. Mana lagi bete, iya cok. Mana lagi bete sih sakit anjir.
Which it looks like they don't want to do without Roshan, that it's going to be that Rosh contest, right?
Yeah. Almost feels like Liquid are going to have to bank on a fast Roshan. Otherwise, that MKB could be done before the Roshan actually spawns. It's got 4K in the bank right now. Third Rosh, it actually spawns instantly for them. So
is going bottom.
Terus nanti Muerta berubah jadi core juga. Wah, iya sih. Makanya nih support dua-duanya jadi core aja nanti. Enchant sama Muerta.
They don't have it on Dyrachyo. They don't have it on either support. So there's some jump burst potential from Liquid. Take advantage of the lack of buybacks right now if they want to take the gamble.
There is a double damage on Dyrachyo.
Yeah, there's also that looming in the bottle right now. And he's just ninja gearing in.
Oh shit, man. That mean hammer.
Seeing if they can chase him down, slow him down, pull him back in as much as possible. They're trying to reset. He did manage to get a blink away. So they are really resetting off this one. The refresh immediately put to use. Dyrachyo, he's
it's a man fight.
One fight against Mickey.
Oh, Mickey?
No
Mickey?
problems there whatsoever.
What
and
the
he doesn't
hell?
give a damn about your water park ride, Mr. Kunka. He's going to fight through this one. Oh, the rap's coming out. He's going to maybe be alive.
Oh no, man.
Still up. The last little bit of damage coming out from Insania is not going to be enough.
Ah,
Dyrachyo
GG.
this time.
GG.
He mans up
Game
this
3.
time. He challenges Team
GG.
Liquid, and he is the one left still standing in the end.
Puts Mickey in the dirt with that second BKB.
The winning condition itemnya Razor po. Lebih ke Lunanya sih. Lunanya nggak tahu ngapain sih. Nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain, kasihan Lunanya. Aku lihat tadi nggak berkutik, cok.
They don't have the buybacks. I think they're just hoping Gaming Gladiators don't actually go for the throw.
Not even close to buybacks. This is a game 2 win for sure here. We're going to get a game 3 between these two teams. An absolute beauty of a series right now.
Tapi iya sih, Razor juga udah refresh orb ya.
Very similar setup in terms of
buat ultinya ya. Ultinya 2 sih, perih buat perih sih. Apalagi emang perih sih. Liquid Razor. Oh agaknya minus apa ya? Razor.
From the underscape,
Strike to different unit. And striking building. Oh no, never mind. Oh ada armor reduction dah. Ada armor reduction. Imagine dia refresher kan. 1 detik dia udah minus 4 armor, Cok. Sakit banget tadi meskipun iya. Soalnya minus armor terus kan. Proc. Strike intervalnya 0,5. Berarti setiap sedetik 2 kali kan. 4 armor, Cok. Kurang per detik. Dia tadi hit 5 detik. 20 armor hilang anjir.
Wrong. They tend to go,
Sama,
okay, let's just pick a little more scale, play it a little more conservative, play to our wheelhouse. Maybe this third game is going to go the distance, so we don't want to fall behind in that regard. Both teams have failed with that tempo push, right? So that's something that's going to be in the back of your mind. But again, we are seeing some of these tempo heroes come out and played in a scale way like the Lone Druid for Ace this game. So it's not necessarily about the heroes, it's about when you're taking these objectives, how you're taking them, and making sure you're disciplined about it.
Well, we can leave the rest of the analysis to the brilliant minds on panel heading into game 3.
I'll make sure that I ask them all the questions about why Gaming Gladiators won this game number 2 and why we're seeing a game at number 3 in this series. Matu, you wanted the Pugner and the Luna for Liquid. They ran a similar strat to what they had in game 1, and that was a win, but it didn't work for game 2.
It looked good until it didn't. So, got Aegis, tried to push high ground bottom, didn't quite work out. I mean, that was terrible. Nothing else to say about that. It's like, you tried, you failed. I feel like you shouldn't close out games like this in this patch. Like you should take the advantage, retain it, farm the map more than the enemy does, and then when you're absolutely certain you can take it, you take it.
What was a factor of that uncertainty, Aoi, that they couldn't close out that high ground push and that it failed so miserably?
I'm not too sure if they didn't know that Quinn hit his level 15 in eggs timing, but I think that was just sort of them pushing into Gladiator's strongest timing. I think even if they didn't go high ground there, like Gladiators were going to look around the map for a fight, and it just happened that Liquid sort of gifted it to them.
That is a bit unfortunate, and from that timing, so Liquid being set behind, was there just no space for them left in the rest of the game, Effie?
I think the fights afterwards for Liquid just went unfortunately. Like this one that's playing right now, they ravaged the Razor, but they couldn't quite kill him before he could BKB and turn the fight.
Yep.
Like, if they managed to burst Duracio here, it might have looked very different for Liquid. They could have won it, but they just fell short on the damage. And later on, we saw that there was this one fight where Luna's BKB got forced before they could actually engage in any kind of fighting. So they chased Luna into the high ground. There's a beautiful wraparound by Ace, and Gaimin just found the good fights when it looked really bad for them.
I want to talk more on the Razor because Marty, you.
Nice. Wih, Miposhka lagi main, Miposhka. Wih, ada miracle, ada miracle. Ada miracle. Nanti Azure lawan Peplum abis ini. Seru-seru sih. Lumayan kok po Razor, nggak jelek-jelek amat, nggak bagus-bagus amat. Juga mungkin mirip Jagger patch sekarang. Iya sih. Jagger agak kurang sih malah menurutku. Ya biasa aja sih. Nggak jelek banget.
Getting burst on in these fights, he was BKBing, using the Satanic, refreshing, BKBing Satanic again. Like it became a very big hurdle for Liquid to burst down this Liquid because every time they want to take the fight, they have to commit all of Enchantress's mana pool. They have to commit the Luna BKB. Kanka does the, the bulk of the team fighting.
Anjir, Mike 0610 cok.
Razor just outlasted all of that.
Is this what you wanted to see, Aoi, for game number 2 in Gaming Gladiators? You're a little bit worried about how they were looking at the end of game 1 and walking into the booth for game 2.
No, for sure. I think it shows the resilience that they've shown all year. That's why they won all the majors and all these tournaments. I think something that really interests me right now is I feel like in game 1, Gladiators sort of had this game and they sort of threw it away. Game 2, Liquid sort of had this game, they threw it away. And it shows that like the amount of pressure on these teams at this type of tournament, sometimes it makes you do things that you look back on and you're like, oh, what was I doing? But it happens. It happens all the times, even to the best teams. And that's what really excites me for game 3.
I'm excited for it as well. Marty, do you want to talk about the Lone Druid, Ace's Lone Druid? Do you want to hype it up a little bit more?
Of course, Lone Druid, best hero ever. I have no bias. I never played that hero myself. Double good, as I said before the game, and it turned out to be triple good, quadruple. I mean, just bring
keep
it on.
It on. Just keep multiplying it.
Exactly.
Adios, hasta la vista, Tour Gaming dulu. Oke, aku ya thank you udah mampir ya.
Seen in the game number 3, but before we get there, Gaming Gladiators, they clawed
Selamat
a win.
turu kamu ya.
I will raise my enemies.
Nih, Razor aku main berapa kali doang.
I enter the fray.
Cuma 21 game, 9 win, 12 losses, cok. Emang nggak begitu kepikiran buat main ini, cok. Kira kayak prospeknya kurang gitu. Ini main Razor mid ya. Anjir, mid lane yang kulawan udah imo, cok. Ku tinggal bentar sudah imo ya dia ya. Mati di King. Terus aku solo kill dia. Solo kill SF. Kejar Ewu. BKB. Albert. Raffle. Easy game. Pevlane nggak main anjir. Ini kayaknya pas aku rank ancient deh. Pas masih nge-spam mid. Sekarang lagi nge-spam safe lane sih. Safe lane semua hero-nya. Cuman kadang main mid. Kayak kemarin nih Kunka, Pango. Jarang tapi ya. Terus Zeus, Odi. Zeus, Primal SF. Ember. Storm. Wind Ranger, Rubik. to close it out.
It does feel surreal in a way. For me, actually making it there now is an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything else.
Gaimin Gladiator.
The trials and tribulations of lower bracket, but
Tofu.
also late game Dota there. I remember this game. We listened into their comms as well, and originally, pre the 40-minute mark, it was Gaming Gladiator saying, focus on the heroes, don't worry about objectives. That's not really going to win us the game in the long run. And then it stretches out to almost 70 minutes, and they're like, all right, let's just focus only objectives. And that's the change, that's the shift when it does get to that late game Dota, Owie.
Yeah, I think what Gaming Gladiators have done really well, like every time we hear the comms, is they're really good at identifying their win condition. I think we saw versus maybe Nouns it was when they're pushing out bottom. Quinn was just saying, oh, they need to run into us. We just need to stick as a ball. They're really good at talking about it before it happens, which leaves them more room for communication of fights to do the right thing.
Talking, that's the key point here, and I know two people that love to talk. It's Slacks and Tsunami with the crowd.
Hello, thank you so much, guys. Hello, how are y'all doing after that game? Game 3? Fantastic, and we have a wonderful opportunity here. We actually got a chance to talk to the
My
real
boy.
Team Liquid about that game. They're letting us listen to their comms right now. In fact, we have an interview with Nisha talking to Insania. Nisha, any words to Insania to cheer him up after that series?
In Game 3, we're going to hear Liquid are doing it.
That's the most words I've ever heard Nisha speak in my life.
Oh my God, Nisha, your camera presence has brought up so
This is
much.
incredible charisma that we're witnessing right now. Insania, you're here. You're supporting the entire team. What are you saying right now?
We can do it, boys.
Interesting. A little bit more feminine than I remember Aiden looking, but I
It's so
respect it.
real. It's just like him. Boxy, what are you feeling, bud?
My friends, I believe we need to ban the bear.
Oh, very smart. Zai, do you agree?
Crush your enemies.
Wow, don't show that camera angle. This is real. All right, go ahead.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you and hear the lamentation of their women.
Wow. Nick, fine. Any last words, please?
Hero apa aja ya yang belum di-pick di TA ini?
Okay, take it easy. That is not
Jagger
good
carry
team
gak sih?
chemistry. I
Kamu
don't know.
nggak lihat Jagger dari kemarin?
Seem a little bit combative here, but everyone loved the inside the pod segment.
I don't know.
So we're getting
Kamu
inside
belum
the
lihat
head
Jagger
right
gak sih?
now.
Apa ada? Cuman aku nggak nonton.
All right, guys. Well, before we get into that final game, can we let
Anti-match juga nggak ada nggak sih?
out on in this arena?
AM ada, nah baru aku bilang tadi kayaknya AM nggak ada deh.
They seem pretty excited out here.
Slardar,
Pretty
Mars.
excited. Back to you.
Aku belum lihat. Aku belum lihat Mars. Slardar ada. Mars belum. Iya Slardar kayaknya ada deh tadi kemarin. Apa aku ketuker sama rank? Void Spirit? No, kayaknya nggak. Void Spirit ada deh seingatku. Nggak tahu, kalau kamu nanya aku keingetnya ketuker-tuker. Lihat dari sini aja ya. Nih, kita lihat dari sini ya. Oke. Oke, kita belum melihat Juger ya. Dan Void Spirit ya. Oke. Saya masih belum melihat Juger dan Void Spirit dan Mars dan Slardar. Belum ada. Belum ada. Tekis juga. Tekis ya. Tekis belum. Belum ada. Mana lagi ya? Kocak kepencet. No. Oh. Lagi jeda dulu ini bang turnamennya ya, istirahat dulu dong. Ada, tapi ada ember ya, ada emberan walaupun kebantai anjir. 1-6 what the fuck bro, get some help ember 1-6 what the fuck. Kamu carry tumpang menang ini anjir. 1-0-6 bisa menang. Rizky, apa ini 1-0 menang anjir. Ke carry sama offline anjir. Ke carry sama offline anjir. Ini TI Apa-apaan ini. Yup, kita belum lihat Jagger, Slardar dan ini ya. Belum ada, cok. Nggak ada ya. Sun King juga nggak ada tadi Sun King. Napas dulu, casternya minum dulu. Caster dari tadi masih ngomong gitu. Kan kadang dia abis itu malah jadi ngomong terus deh. Tadi ada sempat lihat Sun King kok. Emang gak kelihatan ya? Tadi perasaan ada. Apa aku salah lihat? Tadi perasaan ada Sun King. Nah tuh, ada tuh. Tuh si 33. Ada Sun King. Masih belum melihat Slardar. Jaker juga belum lihat. Placement. Bro, ada yang pick Void Spirit sama Slardar sama sekali. Coba cek di website Po kali aja ada yang ngasih info. Anjir, pindah lagi dong. Malas buka-buka lagi. Tuh, masih tidak ada Void Spirit ya. Padahal di rank Void Spirit masih dimainin perasaan. Sejelek itu ya buat turni ya. At least kita lihat Nikes. Troll, kita lihat troll. Kita lihat Enigma. Cok, kita nggak menemukan ini ya, Void Spirit ya. Void Spirit padahal nggak jelek gak sih? Malahan waktu itu pas dia jadi universal yang OP, banyak yang bikin dia jadi damage. Cuman jeleknya mungkin karena ini kali, Poriski. Void Spirit tuh harus main nyolong player gitu. Sedangkan kalau turni kan lebih terstruktur ya. Jadi lebih nge-stick gitu. Backupnya cepat. Kalau rank kan ya gitu. Tuh, kita nggak melihat Slardar. Tapi kalau Slardar aku paham sih kenapa nggak ada yang mau pick. Karena Senta itu opsi yang lebih bagus daripada Slardar buat sekarang. Soalnya Senta itu kan blink stun tuh masih tebel ya. Sedangkan Slardar blink stun kalau nggak mati dia mati. Kalau musuhnya nggak mati dia mati. Tapi ultinya Slardar wadidaw.
And he has nothing going on. I mean, maybe sometimes, but this is not the case for Konka. We're talking about. It's a normal hero, after all, so...
Balanced, you would say?
Balanced? I mean, Dota generally is balanced when it comes to TI. Konka, it's like... It's a good hero.
But only by like 5 or 10%?
No, I mean, there's only two definites.
Oh,
it's a bad
there's
hero
nothing
or
in
it's a
between.
good hero. Obviously,
There's
no,
double
like...
It's only one.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe it was like a sliding scale.
We used to be pro players, so like this is what we know that the audience doesn't. It's good or bad?
Kinda. There is no in between.
We'll get in the inside of the ex-pro player minds over there. With these bans, nothing is being
lagi
changed up
bagus
at
sih.
all, actually. They're running it back
Aku
for
suka AA.
They are in a position though where Dazzle is still in the pool.
AA pick bagus sih. Dari kemarin aku turni dari kemarin aku rank AA bagus sih. Banyak pun aku sama kemarin. Oh, dia pick Pukna lagi. Demen ya Pukna ya. Nih. Oh. Kalau nggak salah di game ini kalah ini. Di ini AA kalau nggak salah. Nope. Salah inget. Deus. Bro, where's my AA? Bro, AA mana? Ini makin aku kaya sih, Poriski. Anjay. Nih, ini yang bisa aku pamerin Poriski. Unit 13 sudah PT, WB, Battle Fury, Corrosion 1 aja. Unit 13. Bro, look at this carry, bro. Abaddon, Deka, Leon, Mipo, Shaman, Timber. Ignore hero, iya ya, tahu. Karena bukan ancaman ini. Unplayed hero, Abaddon, AM, PK, Draw, Huskar, Leon, Mars, Mipo, Shaman, Lardar, Timber, Tinker, Ursa, Wyvern. Iya, Timber, Timber sih. Aku nggak pernah lihat Timber main lagi,
Yeah, exactly. Like
bahkan di public games pun nggak pernah lihat lagi aku.
Ace has to win his lane. There's no...
Which has happened like every single lane though, right?
Exactly, that's funny. Gaming, like normally in Dota, you can't win 3 lanes. You have to make sacrifices. And most you
Bener-bener nggak pernah lihat Timber main lagi.
Gaming always tries to win every single lane, and then they just play off of that.
Striving for perfection, you know, win all 3 lanes. Hopefully the game is easy from then on out. Do you think that that's what they were contemplating then for that first pick? Do we go Murata or do we try and pick up a stable ace hero that is going to have a really good time in lane and they're going to have to try really hard to counter in draft?
I sort of feel like they feel like the Morta Force is the strongest laner. So if you're going to go in with this philosophy of ace needs to win his lane, you should feel like, oh, if Mortis is the strongest laner, there's no reason for us not to pick this hero. We think it's going to give us the most stable lane. We think it gives us the best chance of winning the lane. Why would we not take this hero?
I'm sure they were debating it, you know, like the conditions to have a good game. Are we going to run it 3rd time again? I felt like they could have won the first game, but Liquid did. Liquid could have won the second game, but Gaming did. And they're like, oh, I mean, let's give it a chance. Let's just keep the pick same and let's play better Dota. That's what I like.
It's the most confusing when it's sort of like that too. Like you're not too sure if you should be changing something because the games are like a bit wonky. And you can't learn on the spot because you don't have access to the replays after the game. You have 15 minutes between each game. You need to reset, you know, use a washroom, maybe eat a banana, whatever. You don't have time to actually do real analysis of what happened. You just have to go with your gut.
I love eating bananas.
I know.
Is that what you were doing in your 15-minute break?
Partly, yeah.
Probably.
Just half a banana and I'm ready to
Weaver.
Yeah?
Yeah, sugar like decreases the amount stress affects you. So you need something with a little bit of sugar.
That's it, you had bananas on hand. Well, Effie, all the way down there, you've been a little bit quiet. The Lone Druid, it's getting banned out. It's getting a little bit of focus. And the Faceless Void you brought up as a potential last pick for Game 2, and now it's making its way in bans for Game 3.
I mean, it makes sense that the Void got banned out here because I think they were taking a while just to talk about this banning phase, because if they were going to run back the Phoenix, that Void wouldn't have been banned out, right? But they decided to go for the Weaver themselves, which now you have two strong support into carry flexes in this Weaver and this Muerta. And Zero got ignored in the last game, but it still fits into that hyper-aggressive game when we talk about. But now that the Centaur is taken away, which was a potential with the Muerta, or it could have been the Phoenix opener with that Muerta, the Centaur Pugna is one of the strongest lanings you can have in this patch, and I do not think you can put a Muerta carry versus it. But that is the trade-off. Like in the game 1, we saw them trade the Centaur for the Weaver. It didn't work out for Gaiman, but we'll see if it works out this time.
Something that sort of surprises me, I think, has Train been ignored like all 3 games?
No, he did get banned in Game 1.
Okay,
and then he got banned in the second phase for Game 2.
Okay, well that hero's open. I think the Muerta versus Centaur, that matchup, I sort of agree with you. Like Centaur has a lot of threat on him, especially if someone starts taking the gate. But I have seen some angles or Centaur where like you go for like an overwhelming lane versus him, like some Muerta Tuskar, maybe a Muerta Train. I think that actually could be something they can look at if they want to end up running this Muerta carry. I think it's just a bit awkward if the... Because I'm not too sure where Weaver's going, because I think you should probably not put him as carry versus Centaur. He's very reliant on winning the lane. But then you have to put the Muerta carry.
Centaur lawan Weaver, CS pun susah, my friend. Berarti Void Spirit udah ada yang ngepick po.
Support duo. I mean, you could pick something like a Grimstroke to enable this Weaver on lane and potentially play for kills onto the Centaur. Like that could be a potential option for sure. But I just feel like Pugna plus Centaur, no matter who
Mungkin pas di ini.
they are gonna find ways to pressure that.
Mungkin pas di group stage.
I like that they picked the Skywrath. I think the Pugna 4 for Liquid, it doesn't do enough for them. Like it works really well for some teams. I think like VP for
Itu nggak dihitung dari qualif kan?
Well. Same for Batboom. But I think for Boxy, like
qualif kan yang udah lama banget itu.
Pugna's a very static 4. You'll look at the lane, you'll maybe look at some stacks, you may check the rune, but you don't have any real kill threat on your ganks. You don't really like
Tapi
make
tadi
the
kita
plays.
nggak
I
nemu
think
loh Void
Boxy's
Spirit.
important to Liquid in that sense.
Right King.
It also gives you damage to kill the Muerta, right? And now you have a silence to potentially deal with the Weaver, and you can just chain into the Centaur
Right
stun.
King.
You can look for
Dari
mini
group stage,
plays around the
group
map
stage
that don't
memang.
necessarily involve these 5-man team fights.
If this is an offlane Wraith King, then this fits the description that you were talking about, Aoi, of how Ace likes to play.
I think it's still like flex a bit. Like the Wraith King can go to carry as well, but honestly, I wasn't even thinking of the offlane Wraith King. I think, yeah, that would be pretty good for them here.
I mean, the lane would be rough for him on safe lane. I feel like Centaur Sky might just over-harass him and he can't really farm.
It'll be really depend on your first wave, right? Like if you get the Skeletons going, like the Skywrath is really easy to kill, but I think like Centaur Skywrath is one of the strongest lanes in Dota. It's not easy to just go in casually. You need to have like either an equally strong lane or sort of like a plan about how you're going to cheese the first levels.
I'm super worried for this Sky Mage. Like, in paper it's good, but I feel like in the game, like, they need some real, like, protectors, like policemen, that stop the criminals from entering Skywrath mages and Pugna's territory here. Like, you need, like, just like
the security guards, the
security
big
guard,
bodyguards.
exactly what we have
Especially
here all around.
This Weaver, right? Like it doesn't matter if it's support or core. Like this Weaver's gonna look to get on your backline this game. I think one thing that really helps is the Centaur Stampede. I've always liked playing these squishy range supports on the Centaur. It feels like it's so easy to position in a fight. But I can really see a game where there's like a very thin line between like having a lot of impact in the fight and you're just too far up trying to have
Furion baru dia bilang.
I was actually wondering why they would go for the Skywrath Mage instead of the Phoenix, which also seemed to be a popular hero this series, because I feel like Phoenix plus Centaur can accomplish similar things, but maybe they are just scared of Weaver's ability to pressure Phoenix early on.
I think the Phoenix is not quite the same like boxy type hero, that's why. Like I think on another team I can really see that Phoenix as well, but I think he really wants the ability to move towards mid and impact that matchup. And we can see like the lanes are sort of set for game, I think. Like some Weaver plus Furion and Muerta plus Wraith King, but honestly, they can still make adjustments to their lineup if they think that the matchups aren't good.
Do you think the Nature's Prophet is better on 5 just because Murta's a better 4, or Weaver's a better 4, or is it because Nature's Prophet on a 5 offers more to the map and the rotations?
I think it depends on the team. Do you have any idea, Matu?
Not really, no.
I think there are like teams that play more for the safe lane, and you have the Fear on 4, and you can really snowball that.
Okay.
Like the 4 Fear on, I think it's a bit less committal when you rotate mid because offlaners are more like set for being left alone.
Yep.
But some teams, I mean, my team was one of them. Like we really liked it on 5, for example, because we felt like you could like pressure into the lanes that you wanted to pressure more, which is usually our offlane. I think something I'm not too sure they're going to consider is like if they can like flex their lineup to put this Morta carry against Terribly.
Line-up-nya agak
That's one of the
kurang.
best matchups in the game when I mean Terribly does nothing to
Aku
Morta.
kurang
You just
suka
kill him with
semuanya
freelance.
draftnya.
I'm just wondering how can they do it though? Like are you gonna Weaver Morta lane? Maybe like Weaver 4, Wraith King 3, Fear on 5?
I guess you can't do it.
It's like a scary lane, like Murta Furion versus Skyra Centaur, right?
I don't think you're ever running a Furion mid here. That's
Oh, for sure not Furion.
Yeah,
Like
it's like,
Furion
it has to be a Queen hero last pick.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this Nature's Prophet, honestly. This hero has really fallen out of favor, and I guess when you look at heroes like Skywrath Mage and Pugna, you think that you can punish them very easy on with a TP into Sprout rotations regardless of where you're laned, but
Dan
I
jangan
think
Furion
the best
carry.
is if Liquid picks some kind of jump hero on this mid lane for Nisha, something that can punish this Nature's Prophet, which I hope he does. The Earth Spirit gets found out, the Kunkka gets found out, but heroes in that archetype, then Furion just doesn't really provide that much for Gaiman's draft, so it feels like they're just all in on getting these early kills, or maybe they're kind of boxed in later to just playing for pushing lanes and trying to play them up with their Weaver, their Wraith King Skeletons, Furion cutting waves, but to be honest, I don't like this Furion pick. I feel like it threw a wedge into the draft a little bit.
Looking at the last phase of bans between the two teams, Kunkka taken out now, Earth Spirit taken
bingung
out,
nih Liquid.
Necro. Any other big Quinn heroes that are sticking out that Liquid really need to be careful of?
Quinn heroes?
Yeah.
Oh, Pangalier's out.
Yep, Pengo, Necro.
A lot of them have been taken out. I feel like we're gonna see some wild picks here. I'm hoping Dazzle is banned, unfortunately.
TA. Talk.
Okay. So TA straight into a TA ban straight into a puck pick for Liquid.
The mid pick is not easy here, I think, because they have so much magic bursts on Liquid. Like, you can't pick any of these. I mean, DK's not really a hero in the meta right now, but the example versus puck that you think of.
I mean, you could see it here because it's objectively
work
just
here?
looks good. Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah. I feel like they need a tanky dude that goes in and does damage like all the other mid heroes.
For sure, you need some fight start here.
Yeah.
I mean, this puck pick throws a wedge in a lot of Gaiman's potential last picks, because Pango would have been a great pick versus the backline heroes of Liquid. It also would have been a way to
Void Spirit baru dibilang nih Poriski.
And this Void Spirit is a Quinn specialty hero from the days of old. The hero has fallen off, but in a sense it provides the same
Baru
burst that you need against
dibilang.
the Sky and the Pugna. It can also pressure the TV early on with rotations, but I mean,
Muncul
traditionally,
juga
Pango
ya.
also counters
Yoi.
the Spirit heroes. It does counter
Baru
Void Spirit.
dibilang.
We'll see though.
What are you guys laying with these two drafts now?
Wait, are we CR dulu?
I honestly feel like it's really hard for Gaiman to scale into Liquid. I feel like this Terrible is going to have a really free game, and unless like Gaiman do super on the lane, which they can, I think it'll be hard for them.
All right, look, Mato, I already know that you're going to go for Liquid, so instead of asking your opinions, we'll let Blitz speak for himself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with the Blitz from Team Liquid. Give it up, crowd. Come on, please. Blitz, it's been one hell of a journey throughout the entire year, and we've come to this moment, of course, a Game 3 between you and Gaming Gladiators. I mean, this is how it always works out, but I do want to talk about your guys' confidence. There's a lot of flex picks happening, Muertas, Weavers, things like that, but your draft, this one, especially this game, very locked into what everyone's going to do. Is that confidence in yourselves, or is that confidence against the enemy?
No, we have a lot of confidence in ourselves. I mean, obviously, Gladiators has had our number in finals, but this ain't the finals, so I mean, I think it's going to go pretty well.
Apakah
I
menang?
just don't like making definitive statements, and I don't want to like lock in and say, oh, we're going to smash these guys, because I mean, I like them too, and I think they're good people, and there's no hate between either of our teams, even though we see each other in the finals all the time. So.
All right, and as you've noticed, you have a lot of fans out there in the arena, so I did want to give you an opportunity to say something to the Liquid fans.
Void Spirit-nya itu agak risky gitu loh Poriski. Emang dia bisa ngebunuh Sky dengan cepat, tapi kalau dia nggak bisa bunuh Sky, dia yang mati, Cok. Langsung di silence di ini itu anjir. Susah juga sih.
A bunch of friends in there
Iya gak sih?
that I hope win.
Kayak Slar dari ya.
Regardless, you know, there's a lot of family and friends to us, a lot of management here too, just to support us. I mean, I think we're super lucky, regardless of what happens.
Absolutely, and we are lucky to see that.
Kalau maju nggak kill dia yang kena kill, iya.
The 37th time in games that these two teams will match up against each other, and it's the last one of the season. 21-15 is the current score to the favor of Gaming Gladiators, but like Blitz said, this is no finals.
It is definitely not, and that means it's going to
Dia
be
lawannya
a
juga
grudge
pak
match.
sih,
It's gonna get down
Poriski.
and dirty, no way around
Jadi kayak
it.
di
Neither of
coil
these teams
udah
is
kayak
gonna
orang
wanna
dongo
leave
aja
this
gitu
tournament
hero-nya, ya
handle.
guys.
So, I'm looking towards a long game, some action, some pace, and of course, the jaws of defeat. Who can manage to escape them in this lower bracket elimination match?
Yeah, because we heard from panel, we heard backstage, we've been talking about it. Game 1 and Game 2, that was not the best form of either one of these teams. The TI pressure cooker, man, it definitely gets to people, and these teams have both slipped up and lost control of the game when they had it firmly in hand. And we'll see whether or not
Anunya nggak bisa di full screen, po. Nope. Di sini nggak bisa. Biarin lah, nggak apa-apa. Aku pakai dari sini aja. Oh no. Mickey.
Nice little positioning by Liquid.
Gila.
5 heroes to a rune can almost never go wrong, and I'm surprised we don't see teams do it more, because when you split up, you are given a chance for that first blood. It'll go straight into Mickey's pocket. We talked after game 2, what are these teams going to go to? I thought they were going to scales harder than a Terrorblader, right? This is one of the ultimate late game heroes. You have Puck to back it off. Back it up. A lot of pick-off damage between the two supports in terms of magical burst. And I kind of agree, like, the scale looks difficult for gaming. However, we have seen Weaver just decimate heroes in the late game, right? This is not the same Weaver you're used to seeing. With the talents, with the shard, these Geminate hits come out, you get crits on them, anybody disappears. And of course, a Void Spirit for Quinn. One of his signature heroes, and a hero he goes back to in crunch time when everything is on the line.
Deadshot gonna try to tear him away. Ace does manage to pick up that bounty rune. It is going to be a split. So we're going to see a situation here where, yeah, you gave up first blood if you're Gaming Gladiators, but they also found one of the observer wards, and they still managed to go 2-2 on bounty runes. So a relatively even start, particularly since Nisha wasn't the one to claim the last hit. That would certainly change how this matchup goes between Void Spirit and Puck.
This is a very non-one-sided matchup. It's very skill-based. If you give Nisha first blood here, he definitely would probably run away with it. But now, Quinn has a decent shot to just win this lane. This is a matchup that he's played 1,000 times, I can guarantee it. He's very used to it. Had the block advantage to such a degree, it got under the tower though, so it's going to push it right back into Nisha. We'll give him level 2 advantage, but I'm pretty curious to see how this plays out over the long run, because I would think Quinn can win it a little bit, but Void Spirit's just not a hero that's been in the meta recently at all. This is a hero that fell off very hard, got nerfed very hard. These Spirit Brothers are getting hit left, right, and center. He's like one of the last ones standing at this point as Ember has vacated the premises.
Terbully ya landingnya.
He used to scale very hard, so this could be a Void Spirit that gets to 60 minutes, can do some work, and yeah, Furion struggling on this bottom lane. I mean, we saw the panel talk about these side lanes for Liquid, right? They are very strong, particularly around those level 2 and 3 timings. If you don't cheese the early waves, as AUI said, these guys are probably just going to out-regen you, particularly the Skywrath Centaur lane that has been a struggle for Celery early, though he is surviving it. Of course, you had a little XP advantage off the first blood. Those things make a big difference over the long run.
I want to go back to this mid matchup just because I think the story between these two is pretty interesting. Nisha, for the longest time throughout his career, he's been heralded as the best player in the world. Maybe he still is that, maybe he's not. But Quinn has been rising. His stock is incredibly high right now due to Gaming Gladiators' performance throughout the year, and he's long been heralded as one of the best laners, first in North America, and then the rest of the world. He's proved it this year. So going up against Nisha, I think, is a little special for him. And a chance to be able to take the throne away from the current best mid in the world.
He's also talked about it. Playing in Europe this year gave him the confidence to go against these players and rise to that occasion, and we're seeing it here. The lane going Quinn's way in a matchup he's very comfortable with. 13, 14, and 3 to the 8-0 on Nisha. So he's taking it early. This is what you want to see in this matchup. Be able to contest those power moves later on and deny the tempo away from Nisha. on maybe the slightly stronger
Weaver-nya
here. I mean, if Puck gets a really good game here, there's not a
dapat
lot to
charge
stop him, right?
terus ya.
Cause problems for Duracho in the fight. Ace can't guarantee have the lockdown for him with a Wraith Fire Blast. It's just not the best stun in the world.
Yeah, the calling can sometimes be a little bit hard to hit. Dead shot's unreliable.
Yeah, I mean, the calling might be their best tool to deal with him if he runs out of, you know, Blink Johnson and everything, but this is a good Puck scaling game if it goes really late. Both these mids can have crazy impact down the road if they get there with the true 5 to 6 slots.
Good use of the calling to block out heroes from being able to grab that Lotus.
Still, we're seeing Ace struggle up here, man. That first blood did work for Mickey, and I mean, Liquid are continuing to abuse him on the lane here. Wraith King, not the strongest level 1 and 2 hero. You're really looking for that 3 to 5, and you really want to get kills or good lane pressure out of the skeletons. Just hasn't happened for Ace so far.
Oh no, Zyle.
In trouble here. He gets one last stomp off before he goes.
Minus armornya ya.
Double range, both level 3 to the level 2s on
Double range sama ada minus armor.
Getting out XP down here, and I mean, this is a very strong lane of its own. Gaming decided to meet this aggressive lane with even
Minus
more
armor dari Blackstone sama Swarm punya.
to just go on you, slay you, send you back to the fountain before the Vanguard can come out on Zai.
Soalnya si Sentanya tuh kan nggak punya armor ya, base armor.
Yeah, Centaur starts with 0 armor, so the physical damage of Weaver is actually kind of a problem here. Picks up the water rune away from Nisha. Quinn continuing to have Nisha's number.
Box?
Looks like they're going to go for this Furion kill and get it, but it's going to be a trade-off. Boxy gives up his own life, and Duracho is going to be happier for it as he puts the damage back onto Zai as he tries to get out of the way. Ring of Health is picked up, and he's got a healing sound, so he'll be able to stay in lane healthy. But Duracho takes away part of that healing cell.
Extra Geminate point as well. Opted not for Sakuchi cooldown. Just packing the raw damage into Zai here and taking advantage of early Falcon Blade for some regen. This is a very strong start for Duracho, top of the board here. These extra kills mean a lot for Weaver in this early game in terms of a snowball carry. This is probably the best one in the meta. They're straight back onto Zai bottom, and it should be a pickup here with that Flicker taking him out.
It's great reads from Game Gladiators. In fact, they get the kill on the top lane as well. Seeing the Skywrath Mage TP mid, they knew it was perfectly fine to be able to dive a Centaur like they're doing, and now they're just trickling in one by one. Boxy underneath the towers being assaulted, and they can't really do much about it. He's going to try and hide, healing salve a little bit just to stay alive long enough for the Centaur to get here, but it's too late. Zai cannot punish Duracho.
Too bad.
The creep wave went past that tier 1, so Zai lost the flag bearer creep. He lost XP on that double salve down the drain. A huge amount of economic damage done bottom. I mean, it doesn't reflect in the CS, but Duracho just took 1,000 gold lead over Zai on this bottom lane at 5 minutes here. This is an explosive start for an explosive carry in this patch. And we also saw Ace use the skeletons well top, right? That's at level 3 Wraith King timing. They found the opening there as well. So Gaming once more showing their prowess in the first 10 minutes here. One of the strongest laning teams in the world for a reason. This is the time to make use of it.
Shit.
Right? They did not want to play these long games at TI. They did not want to play the 70-minute Midas Farm Fest. They wanted to use their strengths as a team, propel themselves to a podium finish. So far in this game 3, it's looking solid.
Power runes well controlled by Gaming Gladiators, it looks like. Top lane.
That's a big rune.
Double damage. Quinn trying to pounce, misses out thanks to the face shift, but does manage to nail him with the remnant and a dead
Quinn,
shot from across the
you die,
screen.
Quinn.
Shows up for Tofu to get the last hit, but if they can get Quinn in return, Quinn knows he can't get away, so he'll accept his fate.
I mean, he's probably happy to get the kill on Nisha, shut Nisha down. That's a big swing in XP for him that is unfavorable towards Nisha, but you know he would have liked that double damage rune. I mean,
Late game GG menang sih.
Really good rune abuser, so that's what they're really fighting for here.
Got the silence onto Duracho.
I don't know.
The burst damage isn't going to be quite enough. He gets off Sakuchi, almost killing
Soalnya
Zai in the
kayak
process, but he respects
Weaver sama Void Spirit tuh nggak bakal seneng di Dream Coil sih late game udah. Late game. Soalnya BKB pun nggak bisa, ada talentnya dia. BKB nggak ngaruh buat ngelepas. Dan nanti dia bikin Aga yang tiap dia coil ada hit satu-satuannya. Oh my god, Nisha nggak main banget anjir.
Speaking of that Terror Blade, close to the Weaver in net worth, hasn't gotten the same number of kills that Duracho's been able to be a part of, but has done well in the CS, and one of the only heroes that really isn't being pressured in the lanes right now, though I'm sure Gaming Gladiators will change that narrative at some point.
Man, Quinn just keeps on.
Cuman kalau WK-nya udah agak, wah pusing juga.
Wants to continue to push the wave in so he can contest these power runes. This is what Void Spear can do in this matchup. You just spam the pulse. Very hard for Nisha to win these trades over the long term. Even the raindrop just getting broken down here as Quinn hunting this next wave into the power rune. Tofu lingering around as well. I mean, this is one Liquid want to contest for sure. They're going to break both supports.
They know this time is going to be coming, trying to pull him back into the calling, and it was enough. Beautifully executed by Gaming Gladiators. Just as Insania and Boxing were making the rotation through the river, it could not have been better executed. It could not have been
makanya, tadi aku nggak ngeh. Ternyata WK offline. No. That was shield through
both supports rotating to watch their mid die and not get the rune. This early game shaping up to be very favorable for Gaming. By the way, the whole time that happened, Ace just took your top tier 1.
Ini jelek banget sih buat
So that tower's also gone.
Liquid.
Which will push Mickey farther into this jungle, open up the rotation to mid if Ace really wants it, which would not surprise me as I feel like he's going to play this Wraith King like another lone druid. Go Radiance and hit the objectives.
Yep. And I wonder if he's going to go for that Aghanim Scepter that we've seen a lot from this offlane Wraith King. That'll be pretty interesting considering how reliant Liquid is on burst, right? Their first 4 heroes we see in this game are all magic damage burst. They want to be able to get the numbers advantage. That Aghanim Scepter could ruin that entire concept. Coil underneath tower. Calling hits him a second time with the dead shot, pushing him back in. Tofu is playing this Muerta beautifully.
Showing the strength of it too. This is just not a spell you can dodge. And Nisha is struggling in this mid lane, getting outnumbered constantly, not winning the rune battles. Quinn
Nisha 3 game ini kenapa ya?
Oh, didn't get the silence off in time. He got off the Shikuchi as a result. And now they're going to turn. Quinn's going to show up with the Astral Steps and catch Zai. Going for more now. Durachu offering the high five as he picks up the courier instead of going for the supports.
Liquid supports getting routed on the map right now. They don't have the level to fight back. They're missing the ults on these bursts. On this burst duo that really needs them to follow up on the Centaur Stomp. Without that, you're just getting outpaced by the Furion and the Muerta here, which have the XP advantage, have the gold advantage, and are just playing around Quinn. Mid tower gone as well off that Ace backstab that I feel was inevitable. This is shaping up to be a very one-sided early game. It's going to come down to if Liquid can bring the game back. You know, that 10 to 20 minute period can be very strong for them. They get the ults up, they find some quick bursts on the Weaver. A lot of squishy heroes on Gaming side. So you build up these streaks, you give away a couple pickoffs. Suddenly, Mickey, he's going to be in a decent position.
Zai taking so much damage. The Vanguard plus the Chainmail, and it's still not enough to protect him here. Tofu does get popped.
Coba coilnya kena Queen tadi. Coba tadi coilnya kena Queen. Oh, shit.
Beautifully with the Wrath of Nature coming in. That high level of Celery is finally going to be able to pay off. Even if they don't collect the kill on Zai, just maintaining control of this area could be big for Gaming Gladiators.
This is also ancient control for Mickey later as Liquid, we're thinking about stacking up the triangle. I mean, this is the recovery farm for Nisha. You invade this early, take the fight. It's an insane amount of space for Ace, who's just gobbling up the map right now, but you're also just not getting punished for it. Haste Rune, again, the power of control.
Ratingnya free farm.
Really make or breaking these early fights.
Gak ada yang bisa punish 2 core.
Taking a significant lead here as Liquid yet to strike back so far. You've seen momentum shift drastically in these games, however, so I would not put it past them.
Gak ada yang nge-punish 2 core-nya Gaming.
Your supports are not going to set up these big core kills. It's got to be around Nisha or Zai setting it up and bringing in the firepower afterwards. But you are still looking for level 6 on Boxy here. That's a big component. Need this Mystic Flare.
Stampede barely gets him out. Boy, that Solar Crest combined with the Weaver burst damage was pretty tough to deal with. The coil, but the orb doesn't land. So they're going to miss a bit of damage here, but it looks like they can run down Tofu all the same. He gets off the calling, gets off a little bit damage before he falls. 12-minute power room. Can Liquid claim one for themselves finally?
Silence-nya ngeselin juga ya. Soalnya udah aku perhatiin po, sejak update tim yang sekarang yang punya banyak core dan bisa nahan sampai late game cenderung menang. Iya sih. Makanya sekarang supportnya benar-benar meta saya dulu ya, Foriski ya. Yang hampir no core, hampir no support itu lah ya. Meta-meta dulu saya yang sering dikata-katain.
His health is gone in an instant. Zai is going to be bailed out by Insania, though. These are the kind of plays that Liquid is going to look to be able to save a hero and perhaps push back against Gaming Gladiators. Got to make sure Gladiators, got to make sure they do not overextend themselves. Again,
they're just farming everything, though. It's more ancient stacks going their way. It's completely taken Liquid side of the map. And the biggest ticking time bomb here is Ace, man. I mean, I haven't been watching him, but he's somehow more farmed than last game. This is going to be a faster Radiance. 13.5 minutes here.
Iya anjir 13 menit cok Radi.
He finishes it on the courier.
Brr, what the hell?
It's going to be crazy good timing. A pickup, they have to get this. They committed so many heroes for it. They do manage to bring down Dyrachyo. Almost got Celery as well. Zai just barely outside of that range.
That's that coil into Mystic Flare that they were waiting for. Mystic Flare delayed on Boxy, but the second he gets it, puts it to use. And this is a combo they can continue to use.
WK-nya 13 menit udah Radi sih susah aja.
Against it until they have, you know, maybe second item round.
Gimana ini anjir? Udah 13 udah Radi cok. What the hell?
Silence from Sky their puck. You have the damage follow up. So now it's just getting to Zai's beak, getting to Zai's blink, and Mickey Scotty take a fight around those items. Keep finding the pickoffs with the puck off cooldown.
Udah 13 Radi cok. Sulit buat Liquid iya cok. Ini 13 Radi cok. What the hell? Bye bye Mickey.
See if they can burst them down. They've got plenty of silences and stuns to make sure there's no chance at a sunder. And thanks to the skeletons, they can get some good damage on tier 2. Meanwhile, Dyrachyo dodged a gank attempt. So they were both gunning for the enemy carry, but it's Gaming Gladiators.
Kecuali kalau Liquid mainnya agresif. Mau agresif gimana? WK punya Renker, punya Radi. Dengan mereka mau ngebunuh WK aja, udah kena Radi damage berapa cok?
Continuing to be obnoxious for him. This game continues, and another quick pause.
It's a dangerous moment too. You can see Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, they are ramping up, right? This is a cross-map smoke.
Yeah, they're moving. They're trying to cut across, see if they can catch Nisha, anybody in the triangle, and if they succeed, Ace will have gone from a 13-minute blink dagger to a 13-minute radiance to like a 15-minute blink dagger. He's very close.
This is a deadly fight right now if you give it up.
Anjir kalau menit 15 udah blink juga sih gila sih.
And every time you give up a couple of these kills, it makes it harder for him to come into the fight and have impact because he can reflect this Wraith King back against Gaming, right? The Terrorblade can do some work, particularly if he can get a Sunder off in a fight if he's not debilitated by the Calling Silence here. Those are the things that have to line up here, which is why you need Zai and Nisha to create the initiation or at least take the brunt of the go. The Echo finished for the Void Spear here as
that is going to be a little bit troublesome. Breaks the smoke move and goes for the pick up on Tofu. It's not going to affect Insania, who tried to jump forward and finish him off. It's going to be running into the silence. They trade out supports though. Zai trying to find a target somewhere in this, only stomping up Celery, but Celery doesn't care. He's
no,
Mickey. In fact, he turns around. Mickey is going to be stalled up. They do manage to bring down the Wraith King the first time. While the Skywrath
gara-gara ada jungle ya.
To Dyrachyo's aggression. Mickey now trying to get out, but too many heroes are there.
GG. Meta udah pecah pula.
Morta continually causing Liquid problems in these fights. It's so hard to engage into this calling plus the Deadshot reflecting heroes into it. And of course, Skeletons up for Ace that entire time did a serious amount of damage here. 3,100
WK bro.
Just burning everybody
WK
down.
is the problem.
For a cleanup on
menit 15 udah blink dagger.
If that coil hits
anjir ini GPM apaan cok? Udah dagger sama Radi menit 15. WK offline 100% anjir iya cok. Networknya iya anjir. GPM-nya berapa cok?
Yeah, he's got Decrepify, so he's going to be okay for a small window of time. The silence is lasting on Dyrachyo.
Oh no.
That was a close call, but he does it, and because maybe he lives here, still hit by the coil, a little bit more damage is all they need. The Shukuchi lasts so long, though. He's going to get another round off. They are going to follow this orb, but it's not going to be enough. Nisha's not going to catch him. He gets away, Zai dies on the other side of the map, and they still got that kill onto Insania. Gaming Gladiators are getting everything on this map and getting punished.
GG, udah buyar ini. Kayaknya Nisha underperform ya hari ini. Iya cok. Makanya aku tadi kan bilang, ini 3 game kenapa cok Nisha anjir. Lemah banget lane-nya. Laning phase-nya jelek banget ya 3 game ini.
the fact that he's taken so many Ancients on the side of Dyrachyo while holding that safe lane tower for this entire game. I mean, we haven't seen a tower go down. Liquid has not been able to get enough ground off of a losing laning phase.
Game, bro. Imagine menit 17 udah kalah 10k network, bro. Menit 17 loh. Menit 17 anjir. What can you do, my friend? What can you do?
Where's he supposed to go, right? Still
What can you do, sir?
That will be the comeback opportunity here for Liquid as they have found themselves down 10k at 17 minutes.
Menit 17 loh. Bukan menit 27 ya. Menit 17 loh.
Just like that last game where we saw the killing power of the Pugna plus Kunkka
Mati ini Senta.
This combo has been equally
Ditembak.
deadly. They're going to try and put it to work on Zai once again, slowing down his
Miss tembakannya.
shot does not land. Can Quinn finish the job? He's going to jump in, but he immediately gets
Oh, Quinn.
Oh, he's got just a little bit left. Oh, he gets away to simulate on out, and they cannot finish the job. Even Insanity on the other side. Quinn doubles back, sees the support trying to get the kill.
Oh,
He dances away freely, and now
that's
Insania
bad.
has got himself killed as well.
2,000 HP on a mid backline jumper. I mean, that is the Echo Ogre Club build paying off for Quinn here, and also just the delay and the timings, right? Imagine you get that connection 4 or 5 minutes ago. He's dead for sure.
Yep. Imagine you had a few more levels on the Centaur, right? He's only got 2 levels of double edge. The burst damage just wasn't there.
Zai's game is just, it's been decimated here. And we are feeling it as Liquid are also feeling it. Trying to rally around these tower defense, and I mean, this is coming down to mid game, right?
Oh, massive but the coil wasn't in time. Managed to get the blink backwards.
What the
They're gonna have to just
fuck,
hope they get
Misha?
Celery, but even that Gaming Gladiators are showing
You
their
play
will.
so
Trying to
bad this
fight.
game.
Zai's gonna die again before he gets his blink dagger. The initiation missing, and pieces of it will continue to be missing as they lose yet another fight on the side of Liquid. Now they are getting desperate. Nisha cutting waves like this.
Ah, man. Nisha, my boy. What happened to you?
It might just seal the deal in terms of you bursting the Weaver here. All these heroes just look so damn tanky.
Yeah.
You got a Mystic Flare, and it has to connect. It has to connect big here. And soon for Liquid, or you're just looking at another early high ground, because Gaming have not been afraid to push the tempo very fast and go high ground early, especially building up the auras here. You're going to have a pipe from Celery. Gabe says, well,
Iya, tuh 97% emang udah pasti win ini.
3% chance. That's what it gives you, Liquid.
Let me just say, though, I feel like I've won some games where I had worse odds than that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get the BKB out of Dyrachyo. Again, the 3rd time he's picked up the BKB, and the first charge is used defensively, but I'm sure this one feels a lot better.
kan late game early aja udah kalah gini, iya cok.
7 deaths in 20 minutes. That has to be one of the highest death counts I've ever seen Zai have in his illustrious career.
This is a rough one for sure, and it's not going to be a pretty way back, right? You're just going to have to do it dirty and blink.
Iya, 20 menit udah BKB ready bling loh. Oh, punya tim main WK menit 20 baru ready loh.
So he's still looking for that blink. He will eventually get it. It will be a glorious day when it happens.
I don't know, he's been hard stuck on that 2K net worth for a while.
He can sell some items here, it's okay.
That's true, that's true.
He has it guaranteed.
Well, he can't sell the Quelling Blade. Got to keep that at all times. That Furion is going to be super annoying for him. But you're right, 50 gold away. It'll happen as long as he doesn't die. He could literally just sit in his base and
Anjir WK ya.
Farming some pine cones in the corner right now. Untouched. Blink Dagger is bought here for Zai. He will finally get to it in this game. And now you have to do something with it. But that's step 1.
Anjir kebanting banget ya. Offline yang ini double network, bro. Offline yang sebelah.
They've got a second life on Ace at all times. His reincarnation. Dyrachyo has his BKB. So yeah, you've got the initiation, but can you actually burst anybody before they get off their magic meter?
Oh, main Aceh dia.
That's the nightmare for Liquid. If Ace just starts to fight, you have to punch through him twice. It's going to make sure that Dyrachyo gets his BKB off and Quinn gets a guaranteed jump. That's what Gaming are looking for. And Ag's done for Quinn. This is extremely fast on top of the Echo here. This is where the Void Spirit puck matchup becomes almost
Void Spiritnya perlu bikin manta sih.
Double pulse that's silencing him.
Kan buat damage juga.
BKB also done for Ace.
Oh, berarti kamu masih main Dota gak, Rizky?
Immune for 9 seconds, but we did get the Scotty on Nick A, and this is one of the big comeback mechanisms for Liquid. If you can get a good fight with a reflection on Ace with Scotty just kiting out these heroes.
Seller cuts him off, but 10 HP, he does die in the
Oh,
end. Meanwhile, mid lane, they actually are fighting
Quinn.
this one out. Quinn, once again, survives on just a little bit of damage. He actually went for that kill.
Oh no, Quinn.
The block, the shield is just enough to get Celery out of it, but Mickey, he's going to be in trouble. As soon as Zai dies, they're going to turn all their attention over to this guy. He gets it just on the tip. Quinn survives and gets Mickey.
Udah pensi sejak Februari lalu po. Rank apa? Rank apa tuh? Sempat nyoba. Nah, aku awalnya juga bingung cok ini cok. Kayak main. Pokoknya kalau yang udah lama nggak main, itu apa namanya? Ini sekali coba kesini langsung pusing sih. Sumpah ini berubah banget. Aku sampai sekarang masih banyak yang belum tahu perubahannya cok. Boy Liquid, iya Will. Tim yang Anda hit malah menang Will. Gimana nih Will? Anjir, WK too strong my friend. Ancient kalau nggak salah 4K-an pokoknya. Iya di Ancient itu. Soalnya biasa kan 1 bintang itu 160 mmR kurang lebih. Nah, sedangkan aku sekarang di 3575. Berarti 320-an kan. Ancient 2 kurang lebih. Emang anjing gue. Tadi ketemu 2 kali. Anjir, ini bayangin net worth WK 0 aja mereka masih unggul net worth, cok. Gitu. Si Kaimin. Kalau net worth WK 0 ya. Tuh. Mereka unggul 19k gold anjir. WK dibuang pun masih untung net worth aja.
Yeah, I mean they already get it down to half, so yeah, as well. You are going high ground. They're going to try and burst him, take away that age as quick as possible. Not enough. Zai dies for pretty much nothing because Dyrachyo just shrugs off that damage with the time lapse. And the glyph will only stall Gaming Gladiators for so long. Liquid, they are desperate straits now. A little bit of heal put on to Mickey, but you don't have to worry about the heroes.
Mickey mainnya jelek banget cok 3 game ini. Rollmu apa Rizky?
These reflections are what hurt. If Mickey keep getting these off, this is what will actually deal the damage in the fight. That's why
that radius back around. Instant silence under the coil. Is there enough damage? So once again, he's held in place, but he's too tanky. Mickey can't quite commit. Not with Gaming Gladiators. The rest of heroes surging forward. They got that one kill.
Pos berapa biasa kamu main?
To hold this lane of barracks, and Gaming Gladiators will respect it.
Support.
Just refill the resources here. No time lapse on Dyrachyo.
Offline ya. Tapi pas di zaman-zaman yang kamu udah mulai pensi itu kan itu offline lagi bersinar juga kan. Sekarang offline itu another carry. Sekarang ya. Offline is another carry, my friend. Udah nggak kayak offline dulu gitu. Malah kadang carry mesti ngalah dulu gitu cok sama offline buat farming biar si offline itu bisa playmaker nantinya. Aku suka jadi Sylvie carry. Offline is another new carry bro. Kadang carry-nya mesti ngalah dulu ya, supaya biar si offline-nya biar bisa play game, bisa bikin sebuah space gitu buat carry-nya farm aja. Jadi playmaker-nya nanti dia.
In a meta where the high ground has thwarted so many teams, Gaming just stroll into a double lane here. No defense, no contest, as that meta is still 50 seconds off cooldown here.
I think the worst part, it doesn't feel like Liquid is getting an item. It's not like, oh, we gave up 2 lanes to Barracks, but now we have this. This will help us win everything. Nisha gets caught up by that one. Phase shift, he's able to blink away. The clawing's going to be a problem, but he does manage to blink, but straight into the arms of Dyrachyo. Easily takes up that kill and looks for more. Zini's going to be cleaned out. That's a dieback for him. Zai dies right next to the fountain. Game and Gladiators are way too strong for Liquid right now.
Ayo mana jijinya diketik ayo.
Megas in the bottom lane. Again, there is really nothing rolling in for Liquid. Mickey is desperately trying to farm up with DKB, but he's one whole component away.
Ace right back
almost one-shotting Boxy. Barely even needed Quinn's help.
Misha jelek banget hari ini mainnya.
Seconds on the cooldown for Mickey.
Misha my boy, what happened to you?
Make something happen.
Kayaknya Misha mainnya pakai tangan kanan deh.
Where's the team? They're all dead. I mean, meta.
Kayaknya Misha mainnya pakai tangan kanan deh hari ini deh.
Anybody help out Mickey? No chance at Asunder, and GG is called. Gaming Gladiators will do it for the 22nd time this season. They will bring down Team Liquid.
Kayaknya hari ini Misha mainnya pakai tangan kanan.
And they will prove it on the biggest stage that Dota 2 has to offer.
That is a very frustrating defeat for Liquid. I mean, this has been their nemesis the whole season long, and most of it's been in the grand finals. Here you're in the lower bracket elimination match. That game two, the game one especially, where those high grounds went wrong for both teams, right? Either of those games can come back to haunt you depending on if you win or lose this series. And as Liquid drop down here, it's one of those series where you go back, you play that game a bunch of times, how many versions of it do you win, right? And I mean, a hell of a season from both teams here. They will meet each other yet again. So much respect between these two.
For one final time at this year's TI, we're going to say goodbye to Team Liquid, one of the most consistent teams, but never able to find that championship, and sadly it'll slip through their fingers this year. Gaming Gladiators, though, holding strong in that lower bracket. I mean, we set up the stage early on. Riyadh, we talked about how this team was always going through the upper bracket, always taking the easy road to be able to get to the finals, but then they got knocked down at Riyadh. They get knocked down
Nisha,
at TI. They
boy.
prove that they're also a lower
What
bracket
happened
run
to
team
you?
as they do it against their nemesis in Team Liquid.
I mean, resilience, it's a hell of a quality to have, right? And it shows itself here. It's showing across the course of the year. The team has a lot of fans. They also have a lot of haters. It's a mixed bag across the board, but damn,
A lot of haters, ya. Salah satunya William ya.
one of the scariest teams in the world.
Absolutely love to be able to watch more Gaming Gladiators game, and we're going to do it here at TI as we head back to the panel for some more series to come.
A 2-1 nail-biter series. Gaming Gladiators now a top 4 team here at TI 12. That does mean, unfortunately,
Ini 5 orang yang nonton siapa aja nih? Absen dong.
Team.
I mean, Gaming Gladiators, absolute championship worthy team. Like just like throughout the whole season, like amazing performance. Like shout out to them. It's very sad to be a Liquid fan today. I like every Liquid fan needs a beer right now. In fact, I need a beer right now. So Liquid is out. So is Matu gonna be out? So.
That's it, Matu's done.
Yeah, fuck this shit.
Oh, he's actually just... All right, bye, Matu. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your analysis. Oh, yeah, that's it. He was done. He was done. Once the support for Liquid was over. Effie, you're going to have to fill in all the blanks now.
I mean, Matu
by the way, he
actually
actually
Well, all right. That was just really convincing by Gaming in that game 3. I mean, their draft came together in a way that none of us saw. I think that when they're owning, they stomp their lanes really well. They abused the tempo that came out of the Nature's Prophet push and the Skeleton push, and it looked like there was no space for Liquid to come back in this game, honestly. But also what I want to shout out the most is that last pick Void Spirit. And this hero has fallen out of meta. Not many players would have picked Void Spirit in that situation, but Quinn had the read on it. He played insanely well versus this puck, and he made it happen.
Owie, because we don't have Matu here anymore to build up the hype for Liquid, even though they do bow out of that TI run at 5th, 6th. There's still a lot of praise to be sung for them. Maybe not so much in Game 3, but at least throughout this series.
No, I think they played their hearts out this series.
Terlalu ngantuk habis ini siapa? Bad Boom lawan Azure.
Especially for a team like Liquid that has come so close so many times, it's hard to like be able to reset and be happy with what happened. But I think there's nothing to be ashamed of with their season.
What was the hardest thing about their lineup to execute? The hardest thing for their draft to be able to come online?
Honestly, I felt like
ini kamar lebih panas daripada di luar, iyalah.
Doing a bit better. I think this game, a lot of the reason for Gaming's victory was how well Salu and Durasio played the safe lane. As soon as Zaya and Boxy got shut down, I think the game looked really hard for Liquid to have some tempo in.
Yeah, also the thing about Skyrath Mage is if he's not winning lanes and if he's not comboing with his stun hero throughout the game, he doesn't have impact. He's not a big team fight support like Phoenix can be or an Undying can be, where they can just find a fight, do a supernova, tombstone, turn it around. Skyrath does not do that. He's very dependent on how well his cores are doing to set up for him.
Look, Matu might have left. He's going to go and console the broken hearts of all Liquid fans and the Liquid players and team over there. But Rezo, we still have a full panel. You're joining us yet again. You're here this morning.
Hello.
But did you enjoy that 3-game series between Liquid and Gaming Gladiators?
Well, the third game was amazing. I didn't think that it would be the way that it went, because purely on the draft, I didn't really expect this domination from the gamings, and I really thought that Liquid draft was way better. But Zai, he had such a poor performance in this last game because he couldn't really,
Bukan Zai doang
really
sih.
get his timing.
Pada mention Zai terus, tapi mereka nggak lihat Nisha
It
ya.
was their tempo. For Liquid,
Bad
it was
game.
the guy who needed to have a
Bad
good game
game,
in order
Nisha,
for
my
them to
boy.
make moves and to have a go into the mid game, have a solid game.
It was a really tough loss for Liquid, but Gaming Gladiators, they were able to bounce back. They lost that game 1 and they were able to come back at game 2 and 3. They won this series.
Nisha dari game 1 jelek banget. Iya makanya itu yang aku mention Cok dari awal Cok. 3 game jelek banget.
Why are you laughing?
Because during the draft, last game, I want to throw up, and my team is asking what we should draft, and I'm just looking at my keyboard. I'm feeling bad myself. I'm not responding, and just doing like this. Pick Weaver, pick Weaver.
You thought you were gonna throw up? Why?
Because I got sick yesterday, and I feel really bad myself. But we won, and I'm happy.
Okay, well, fantastic. Sorry, this guy's just sitting here laughing. I'm with Doraccio.
Doraccio.
Oh, no, hell of a series you guys played. That was a wild one. Again, Team
Nanti
Liquid,
mereka main lagi sih.
Game 3, the same thing, and you're here once more. Whew, you thought you were gonna make it through with this one once more?
Versus Liquid, you mean? Yeah. To be honest, I didn't think about the game at all before the start. I have no stress because I'm just feeling bad myself. I want to survive. I tell my boys if I'm gonna die, see what I have to play. So I'm not I'm pretty confident before the games, and I thought we're gonna win, but I didn't have stress like yesterday.
I see. Now, a lot of the teams these days, they're really counting on their off-laners. They're counting on a lot of people to make momentum. But for this team in particular, you seem to drive a lot of it. If the Weaver's doing good, they're doing good. If the Razor is doing good, we can get there. Does it feel like that on your team? Does it feel like you have a lot of pressure?
No, I don't think I feel any pressure. I'm just doing my job. I'm just enjoying the game. I'm doing what I want, and I don't care if I'm gonna die or what's gonna happen. So I'm just doing to get fun from the game.
Well, it is a hell of a lot of fun watching you. Absolutely. Well,
Itu dia main pakai
congratulations.
tangan kanan Cok, kayaknya Nisha Cok.
Another grand finals once more. You got some more work to do, though. What are you guys gonna do now to get ready for the next one?
Choke some medicine, sleep. Before the next game.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give it up one more time for this demon who had complete gremlin mode in that series.
Iya, masih ada main lagi nanti.
Feeling gremlin yourself? Yeah. All right. Can we see the gremlin thing? I watched the stream.
No. I have to chill.
Okay, go chillin'. Thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure seeing you. Thank you. We'll throw it back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Slag.
Terus lo, saatnya off stream. Kita bakal end sampai sini aja. Kita bakal sebut nama. Ada William, ada Poriski, ada Palen, ada Takoya, ada apa lagi? Ada siapa lagi tadi? Cok, ada siapa lagi tadi? Ada si AI Jet. Ya, pokoknya udah ketutup lah. Oh, nggak tahu siapa aja tadi. Tadi ada siapa aja? Oh, tadi sempat ada Niwa dan lain-lain. Oke, Po, thank you juga ya udah mampir ya, Poriski ya. Oke, hebat ya udah mampir dan juga menemani livestream kali ini. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye.